going on, stream? Waiting for this debate coming up. I figured I'd play maybe some tunes for you. So this is going to be a very interesting debate. It's me versus two people. I've never heard of a two-on-one debate before, but I suppose now is a better time to start this than any. So if you're staying tuned right now, stay tuned till then too, as well too, as I get everything set up. How have you guys been doing in the chat? Hopefully everybody's had a good week so far. There will be some brutalization in this debate. I look forward to it. It's going to be very exciting and a really good time for all, as Mr. Word tries to press me. Manar, poor Manar. he's going to have a rough night ahead of him. Because here's the thing, though. I will say this. Let me go ahead and check my chats real quick, because I know you guys are probably saying some things in the... Okay, Connor says, who's actually opposing this position? Well, I'll tell you who, Connor. It would be a Muslim and a guy who is in alignment with this Muslim that's debating me. So it's me versus two guys. Now, here's the thing, though. In the movie 300... you had, who do we have? We had a bunch of people that had to fight the Spartans. Now they had to funnel into this crack, this mountainous crack, this crevice. Let's call it that. And then they had to like diminish their numbers to actually fight the Spartans. They couldn't come at them as a group. They had to funnel in one by one. The same thing applies in this debate. Now you can say it's a 2v1, Martae's outnumbered, but here's where the crux lies for them. One only can be talking at the same time. Both of them can attack at the same time. Otherwise, you can't hear the other person. So Manar needs to shut the fuck up so that way Mr. Work has to talk and vice versa. Now, what's going to work against their favor, I don't care if they're listening right now, because I could say this right now. Manar tends to spurg. Now, Mr. Work, if you're listening right now, I would be very frustrated if he spurgs and starts messing up your side of the equation. You're going to have to be on babysitting duty tonight on your end. That's where it's fair. That's where it's fair, and you guys are going to have to bring your best against me. Hopefully, you guys have a decent debate. Let me make sure that my audio is decent. Mic check 1, 2. Can you guys hear me? Hopefully you guys can hear me well. Just want to make sure I'm loud and clear. Got my Orthodox cross on. Good. Okay, let me cross myself. Because we have to make sure that the Muslim onslaught, which isn't a Muslim onslaught that's coming, is capable of not spurging tonight. And Mr. Work is going to keep him in check. I've never seen a 1v2 debate before. Have you guys ever seen that before? Just want to ask the chat, have you guys ever seen a 1 versus 2 person debate before? This is going to be interesting. Probably not, I'm guessing. Okay, hold on real quick. His word said, sounds good. Nature of man says, terminate. Yes, for sure. Loud and clear. Moving over to YouTube for now. Yes, the Pew Place. I like your name. Sounds very 2A friendly. I love that. So that's good stuff. Okay, moving forward, let me go ahead and do some last minute adjustments. You guys know I have like the intro videos and things like that. I like to entertain you guys. AI is a masterful tool. I like using it. We're going to get started. And you know what's funny? I happen to be a 2A supporter myself. It's a badge I've had for a long time. I long since left that. I'm moving into another field of diesel mechanics, not doing that anymore, but they are debating against a former law enforcement officer of like 13 years, 10 to 13 years. Some of that I don't count. I'll explain why, but I'll do this on another podcast. So we just had a debate with Pisco and Irrelevant, who's true to his namesake. To me, I feel like me and Jake Varr did a number on them, and they got done up pretty well, like meaning like they didn't really bring an argument to justify why we shouldn't have shot. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Alex Preddy shouldn't have shot. I think a lot of this was self-defense in both cases, and I could demonstrate why. We're going to move on to this in the debate. I have an opening statement, which is not going to be too lengthy. I'm pretty sure that their opening statement is going to be, 14 minutes long because it's two of them. And then my opening statement's going to be 7 minutes long because it's just me. I don't mind because all I'm going to need is 7 minutes. I have a video I'm going to play and then we're going to get started. Okay, cool. Vic said, here's the link and we'll get started. I'm going to play the intro video because I know you guys like the intro stuff. I'm going to play the video as we get into this. Hey, what's up, Scott? Good to see you, man. Thank you for supporting your local ex-law enforcement officer / Orthodox Christian over here. I will be fighting and battling 2 people versus just me, right? It should be the case of a Christian being outnumbered by Muslims and stuff. You know what's going to happen? We're going to have to dose volt this shit. That's what's going to happen. We're going to have to be like Vlad the Impaler against the Ottoman invasion. That's what's going to happen. So may Christ reign supreme in this instance, and may Muslim in the idea of Islamic terrorism fall, because let's face it, Manar is going to represent Muslim as an ideology, and he's going to keep making this a religious debate. That's not going to fly here. That's what's going to happen. This Muslim ideology must fall, and he's going to try to bring it into this foray and try to attack Christianity. The debate is ICE shootings are justified, not Christianity. We already know that's an old trick he uses. Mr. Work's going to have to try to curtail and babysit Manar at the same time. So it's me versus 2 people. Very interesting dynamic for this debate. I'm going to pull up this link real quick so I can join Cool Vic's chat. He's probably already online. So we're gonna bring this up. I'll play a video right now until I can bring that up. Hey, what's up, Onmi, man? Good to see you, man. I'll play this video until we bring up I'll share the video so that we can get on board, and I'll link up to Cool Vic's channel so we can begin the debate. Okay, hopefully that bought some time. We're going to share the screen real quick. Let's go ahead and join their stream right now. Give me 1 second. You know, I got to share the screen. Hopefully you guys like that animation. It's true to form. The donkey was pulling the card, and of course we got to yell, mush, as the donkey pulls the card. All right, here we go. Dual screen Martae. It's the only way it's going to be even if there's 2 of me, but you know what? Let's make it truly even as I battle both of these people. Their combined IQs maybe make 80. So that way it's a fair fight. That's why it's a 1v2.
But yeah, he sorry. I was watching him after he got kicked out of Speakeasy stream, and he was seething. He was mad. WR332, thank you very much for another $2. Oh, wait. Duh. I reread that. My bad. I thought I got a notification. Hey, Vic, did you see Jake Rattlesnake expose some of Brian Shapiro's DMs to Rachel Wilson? That dude is way worse than I thought he was. Yeah, I saw that. It's crazy. Remember, and he was getting all upset at Andrew, like, how dare you call these women bitches? But look how he talks. These hypocritical libs, am I right? Where are you at? Hey, Martae, good to see ya.
Good to see you, Vic. How's it going, man?
Pretty good, man. Just getting everyone ready. I don't have access to Manar or Mr. Workademics. Were you able to send them the link?
I'll send Manar I've been conversing with Manar up until this point. It's been pretty. I've had to babysit and handhold until then. What you can do, well, you know what, this might be risky. I don't have, you know what, I do have Mr. Work's email. I'm going to have to send him the link real quick. Give me 1 second as I get all this stuff ready real quick. Hold on,
yeah, no worries.
Second. Yeah, I was telling Manar, I said, hey, it's at 6 o'clock. He was like, when is it? 6 o'clock, Manar. He said, well, I was wondering if it's at 6 o'clock. Manar, I just said 6 o'clock. Do you need me to give you the answers during the debate too? Something like that. So I'm just like, okay, I've got my work cut out for me. You know what? As a moderator, you're going to have to be on top of your A game and babysitting duties tonight. I'm just saying, maybe not for me, maybe not for him. I'm just generally speaking right now. I'm going to send him the link right now.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, I'm going to need my second cup of coffee for the day to keep up. I'm going to have to keep up with the energy that I'm pretty sure I'm going to be feeling tonight. You know, going to be a lot of energy brought to tonight's debate.
Oh man, this is crazy. I want to ask a question to you, Vic, real quick. Have you ever heard of a 1v2 debate before?
No, I don't think I have. Not officially anyway, no.
Well, you're going to have that tonight. Let me go down to Manar's channel real quick. I know it's here somewhere. Where the hell are you at, Manar? Give me 2 seconds as I cycle through this real quick. I'm going to have to directly send it on my phone real quick.
Yeah, no worries. In the meantime, I'm going to read this super chat. Thank you very much, Postal Joe, for the $5. You say that now about not covering Sarah Cope, but you'll be like Pacino in Godfather 3. Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back in. It might, you never know, but it would have to be a doozy of a Cope in order for me to cover it. Like, it would have to be like, holy shit. Like, how could I not cover it? That's the only way I would. But if it's just like, oh, she said something stupid, you know, it's like, well, that's Sarah, you know, then I'm not gonna really cover it. It would have to be a pretty big deal. But thank you very much, Joe, for the $5. Yeah, it's a 2v1 handicap debate. Yeah. First ever handicap match now. Debates. I was thinking, I was like, how is that even going to work? I mean, are they both going to have their own opening statements? Oh, yep. Manar's here.
Well, here's the thing, y'all. I'll tell you this right now. So this is what's going to happen. Let me eliminate these screens real quick. So Manar may be here. I sent Mr. Work the link via email. He should have this. So here's the way it's going to work. I don't give a shit if Manar hears this or not. You remember the movie 300?
Oh yeah.
So remember that how they had to funnel in through the crevice and they couldn't attack all at once?
Yeah.
And that was like strategically planned. The same ideal works here. And I'll even lay it out like this. I'll be real quick because we're buying time till Mr. Work gets here. So Manar can't spurg it. Manar, you can't really spurg out during this debate and talk over your partner because that would be rude. So it's going to have to force you guys to talk one at a time. Otherwise, the audience can't hear your argument. So you guys are going to have to work in tandem together in order to thwart just measly old me. That's what's going to have to happen. Just like the ideal for the Spartans having to fight, the same must apply here. Otherwise, you guys will overstep each other and you guys are going to be in your own way. Sound fair, right?
Yeah, man. I'm so not interested in this debate. I'm not going to even take off my robe. I came here, didn't even need to prepare. You're going to get humiliated. Q. I hope to God you farm the donations well because you have zero value for the community. I've never seen you donate a single dollar to any human being ever. I hope to God you farm all the donations and you enjoy them because you actually are not content. Nobody wants to donate to you. They'll only donate to the debaters and you suck that value out. Hope you enjoy it because if me and Martae are not here,
Manar?
Yeah, it sounds like he looks very stoic right now. You see that right now? Now this is the Manar that we wish could happen to have on streams.
Oh, okay,
Manar, I want the new you. I don't want this old Manar. I want Manar 2.0. Where'd he go? Bro.
My bad. My internet is bad right now. Can you hear me?
Oh, my bad. I thought you were being civilized for a moment. Okay. All right. Back to being Muslim again. All right. I'm going to wait for Mr. Workademics. I did send him the email. He should be on the panel in no time soon, hopefully, if he's watching.
All right. Well, yeah. Well, welcome, Manar. It's great to have you here today. Looking forward to this debate. It should be a doozy. Everybody, while we're waiting for Mr. Workademics, I want to remind you guys that if you want, we're going to be having a Q&A section at the end. So any questions that you have for any of these gentlemen tonight, send them in through Super Chat. Also, a new rule tonight. Only questions or like rebuttals will be read during the Q&A. If you're just sending in a super chat to personally attack anybody up on here, it won't be read during the Q&A. So only questions or actual rebuttals to anything that any of these guys say tonight. So just to try to keep it as professional as possible. And let's see, anything else? No,
Also,
I think that's about it.
Mr. Work, if you're paying attention to this and you're seeing this happen, you're supposed to join this panel. And if you're asking how, I sent you a link to your email. So if you click that StreamYard link, you should be able to get up. And then what Cool Vic will do is he'll allow you on the panel. And then we
don't come, Workademics. Leave me 1v1 with this guy. Don't come.
Manar is pulling a Kamala Harris right now. Pulling a Kamala Harris.
I really don't get this. Why we gotta do a 1v2? I don't understand this.
Well, there was a reason why I wanted this, because here's the reason.
Amazing debater.
Hold on real quick. There's lore to this debate, and Vic can attest to this. He was present and privy to this whole thing that happened. So I'll even refresh Vic's memory. Not that it needs refreshing, but so the audience can know. There was a panel where you, me, and Mr. Work were debating about this whole shooting, and it was between you, me, and Mr. Work. Remember when that happened?
Yeah, and me and Mr. Work,
I'd like to finish that exchange with a formal moderated debate.
I can present the argument.
Right, you're gonna be given the chance to present this, as will I.
Workademics is in the chat. Workademics, I believe Martae emailed you the link.
Yeah, it's in the email, Mr. Workademics.
Workademics, have an internet issue or something, brother. I've got this. Don't worry, brother.
I don't think you were having internet issues. I think you were being courteous and having extreme.
I hope he has internet issues. I want him to have internet issues. I don't want him to come up. I want this to be, because then you're gonna say, "Oh, I was getting dogpiled 1v2."
Wait, hold on, Manar.
Why can't Q help you? Why is he a moderator? We don't need a moderator. What is he gonna help us? Does he? Are you even? Do you even have a video of the footage? Q? Are you gonna?
I got a
help
video of the
anything?
footage.
Or you're just here to take the money from us? What are you here for, Q? How about you help your fucking teammate here?
He's not my teammate. He's a moderator. So here's the thing, though,
on
Manar.
The same team together, huh?
Manar, so you think Mike Tyson back in the day should have never had a referee when he got in the ring fighting opponents?
So let me get this straight. This moderator doesn't even have an unbiased clip to showcase to us. And
You're
he's supposed to be our
you don't
moderator.
know if he does or
He's an unbiased moderator.
You're just assuming that he never got a chance to even express if he does or not.
Is he going to help us in our arguments, or he's just going to let you spurg out and he's not going to take control of anything? What's the use of this moderator?
You're making for the claims before this debate even starts, Manar. Calm down.
Asking, what is he going to be here for? Does he have a video? Is he going to help us in anything? Is he going to
Manar, enjoy a slice of BLT and relax real quick, brother. Eat some bacon real quick. Relax.
So crazy. Why don't we do a 2v2? Let him have some. Maybe he'll.
No, we need a moderator. He's a moderator. It's both of you. You know what? You have no excuse why you shouldn't beat me tonight, because there's two of you now.
I want to be a twat. I'm done with you fucking pieces of shit. The fuck? I want to be a twat. I am a twat. Why should I give you guys free value? What did you bring value in my life for?
Yeah, don't call yourself a twat.
What value did you bring in my life? What value did you help me with, Martae? What did you help me with? What did you help me with in your life, in my life?
What are you talking about?
Martae, what did you help me in my life in ever? What did I ever ask you for help in anything?
This is not tangential or related to anything we're talking about.
Shit. I don't owe nobody shit. Nobody owes me shit. I do whatever I want to fucking say, and I'm going to be a twat today. I'm not going to let you guys get away with this. So let's do a 2v2. Wait, Manar, if you want to do a 1v1, I'll be here and look cute, I guess.
This is crazy. All right, Vic, I'll let you take control. It's up to you, man.
All right. Okay, guys, so let's get this show on the road. So the prompt tonight is: the ICE shootings are justified. Martae will be on the affirmative. Manar and Mr. Workademics. By the way, Mr. Work, good to see you today. I didn't get a chance to say hi to you. Welcome.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. So it's going to be Manar.
Can you hear me?
Workademics. Yeah, I could hear you. Can you hear us, Mr. Work?
There's a delay, but you're good.
Okay. All right. So Manar and Mr. Work are going to be on the negative. So we will start off. Mr. Work and Manar, do you guys both have opening statements? Manar? Mr. Work? Yes or no? Just give a nod.
Yeah.
If you
Sure.
Okay. What about you, Mr. Work? Do you have an opening statement?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right. So you guys will each have 7-minute opening statements.
I do have an opening statement.
Okay. So you guys will each get 7-minute opening statements. Martae, since he is on the affirmative, he will go first. So let me get this timer all started. Alrighty. Martae, I will begin the timer whenever you're ready.
I have a video that I want to present. It should be it should be sent to you right now. There you go.
Go. What the fuck is wrong with you? The fuck, people? The fuck is wrong with you? Honestly. What the fuck did you just do? What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh my god! Oh my god!
The New York Times and liberals have argued the vehicle did not aim at him. In fact, the officer stepped in front of the vehicle, and they've asked, why did he step in front of the vehicle? However, people on the right have argued the vehicle reverses and lines up with him. Actually, I think it's fair to say both are occurring. The DHS officer is standing to the front right side of the vehicle, and he takes a step to his left as the vehicle reverses. The pan of the camera makes both look a bit more exaggerated, but from the new angle we've seen from CNN, he's not in front of the vehicle, but he is taking a step to his right as the vehicle is reversing and turning to its right, creating this lineup. Now, here's where I see the most important part. As we move forward, we can see, watch the wheels tilted to the left, not to the right. And you can then see the wheel spin out. See the wheel spinning out? Yes. That is acceleration into the officer. However, due to what appears to be ice on the ground, I can only assume, it spins and doesn't gain traction. There's two assumptions. Due to ice being on the ground, it spun out and she released the accelerator, or the ECS system, the electronic stability control, stops the wheel from spinning the moment it spins out. So this is something we've had for 20 plus years. After the wheel, which is aimed at him, spins out, which means he heard the engine go boom, he then pulls his gun. The vehicle right now, you can see the wheel is beginning to tilt, is still going forward.
Yes.
He then points the gun at her and steps to his right.
He still hasn't turned.
And now she's turning. Right? This is the point. The gun is aimed at her. The vehicle begins its turn. Now, the important thing is you can see the officer's leg right here. Watch his feet slide. His feet slide, okay? He's not taking a step. He's sliding backwards. That's because the vehicle is pressing on him. The vehicle has made contact with his body. He is now being pushed back. And once that happens, he fires the first shot.
Get a car! Put your hands up! Put your hands up! Don't move! Don't move! Stay where you're at. Stay where you're at. Get up! Get up! Yeah. Hold on. Suspect been shot.
This is why we shoot. This is why we shoot, to stop the threat, because things like this will happen.
Damn. This is crazy.
This looked familiar, right? You guys have seen something like this before recently? Maybe Renee Good?
See, at what point, according to these liberals, do you shoot?
Oh, officer went in the air. Airtime.
Crazy.
Probably broken a couple ribs. Probably could have killed him.
Oh, she was just trying to get out of the way. She was just trying to leave. Should have shot.
All right, Vic, let's begin. I got like 2 minutes left. So the officer was recording Renee Good's vehicle specifically to build evidence for a potential 18 USC 111 charge, assaulting, resisting, opposing, impeding, intimidating, or interfering with a federal officer. The statute has been dusted off and used a lot more lately because there's been a surge in people, a lot of them U.S. citizens, obstructing federal agents from doing their job, right? So AUSAs are picky about which cases they prosecute and don't like going to trial. So they make sure that the case is airtight before they sign off on a criminal complaint or convene a grand jury for indictment. For 18 USC 111 cases, they almost always want the law enforcement officer to record the whole interaction positively to identify the persons and issue a clear verbal warning on camera before moving to arrest and charge. That's the standard playbook to lock in probable cause to make the case airtight. However, this Supreme Court ruling does, the court explained, as in other Fourth Amendment contexts, the reasonableness inquiry in excessive force case is an objective one. The question is whether the officer's actions are objectively reasonable in light of the facts and circumstances confronting them, without regard to their underlying intent or motivation. The court also cautioned the reasonableness of a particular use of force must be judged from the perspective of a reasonable officer on the scene, rather than with the 2020 vision of hindsight, which is the video that we just saw. The court further explained the reasonableness of a particular use of force must be judged from the perspective of a reasonable officer on the scene, and in calculus must embody an allowance for the fact that the police officers are often forced to make split-second decisions about the amount of force necessary in particular situations. I'm proceeding to go ahead with this, and I'll body both of you on this, and I'd love to see the arguments on why that use of force or Preddy's use of force wasn't justified, which I can articulate through this whole case, and I'd love to hear the argument. I'm waiting to get into this.
All right. Thank you very much, Martae, for your opening statement. So which one of you two want to go first, Work or Manar?
Up to Manar.
Well, let's just go. How about Mr. Work? We'll let you go first.
Go ahead, Work.
Okay, sounds good. So I'm sorry, I'm just getting back from the grocery store. Okay, so timer, you can start the timer. I just want to say this is kind of impromptu, so I don't have the clips like Martae to show. However, those clips are not even needed here. I think what we're talking about is the justification that this shooting was justified, and Alex Preddy, Martae, in another debate conceded that the shooting was in the wrong, but the cops were basically still allowed to because they were working with the knowledge they had on hand. However, Alex Preddy did not pose a threat when he was disarmed to be deleted. So with that being said, I just want to say, when it comes to Martae's, when it comes to Martae's clip here of the lady, and Martae says we shoot to eliminate the threat. That's what Martae said. The problem is, once the cop was cleared from the front of her vehicle, the vehicle no longer posed a threat to the lady. So the threat was eliminated at that time. However, the shooting still occurred. So on top of that, Martae, there's actual footage that shows the guy's 2 feet to the side of the vehicle. He's not in front of the vehicle. There's no threat with the vehicle. But assuming Martae's logic, that, oh, this is why it's justified to shoot to eliminate the threat, because they could run you over. Assuming that's Martae's logic here, then you have to say, well, why didn't he shoot her earlier? As soon as she reversed the car, she's a threat right there. Why wait for her to even move towards him? Just execute her right there in the street. You see, this is the absurdity that it gets into when you take Martae's perspective, is that if the cops are in fear for their life, they have to end somebody. It's understood with the position that they're in that they put their life at risk. If they don't want to put their life at risk, go be a stock clerk. Go be somebody who stocks shelves or something. You see, but the problem is there's an inherent risk associated to being a police officer or a law enforcement officer. So the fact that their life is at risk is not a justification in itself. The vehicle, once he cleared the front of her vehicle, she was no longer a threat to him. Alex Purdy, Martae already conceded that, he was disarmed, so he should not have got deleted. And it's funny, he didn't talk about that one. He just talked about the lady. So I'm still interested to see what his perspective is on that. How much time do I got left, Vic?
You got like about 4 minutes and 10 seconds.
Man, that's a long time, man. So with that, look, I want to say, Manar easily destroyed Martae in the last debate. Everybody saw it. It was clear victory. This debate, Martae is also getting destroyed. But let's talk about the 30 for 30 agenda, right? So Martae didn't want to talk about this last time because he was running from the 30 for 30 agenda. When I see these ICE events, I know basically it's an attempt by the government to normalize the deletion of its citizens. That's all this is. The government wants free say to be able to execute somebody for whatever reason, and it's justified. The 30 for 30 agenda is the narrative that women should occupy 30% of law enforcement by the year 2030. What's the problem with that? Women inherently are not as physically strong as men. So if a woman cop is stopping a man, and the mere fact that he's arguing with it, there's some level of justification now where she could say, I'm in fear for my life. He's outsized me. If he turns aggressive towards me, then he can easily outstrength me and use my firearm against me. But agendas like the 30 for 30 and what we're seeing with these ICE shootings are basically the government reining in and normalizing the execution of its citizens. And that's the whole agenda here that they're trying to push. With that, I'll concede my rest of my time.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Work, for your opening statement. Manar, whenever you're ready, you may begin.
Yes, thank you so much for allowing me to be here, Kuel for hosting this debate, and Martae for accepting a 1v2. I guess he's so confident because of his past experience that he thinks this is going to be an easy debate, that he wanted to deal with two people at once. No problem, but this is actually amazing. Thank God that Martae accepted this debate. This is showcasing the bad apple theory. There are no bad apples. They are all disgusting, humiliated, and they all think the same way. This guy is a retired law enforcement officer who is right now justifying the murder of a woman by an authoritarian federal enforcement arm that came into their homes, came into their cities, came into their streets, that are not from there. They are not the police force. They are not state issued. They're not even military. Imagine a military armed military force came into your homes, and IFBB Pro Martae is saying it's good. I like it. All the American civilians need to shut up and enjoy the show. Let them do whatever they want in your streets. You're not even allowed to videotape them. And if you're exercising your American rights of holding a gun that you registered, that is on your property, but you're in the vicinity of these federal officers, you have the right to be murdered and executed on the streets of America, in your own city, in your own streets, no matter what American you think you are. Thank you, IFBB Martae, for exposing the disgusting mentality of all the law enforcement officers, proving that it's not bad apples. You are all should be eradicated and lashes or execution to all of you. Absolutely disgusting. His argument for why it's justified to murder Renee was another video of where it seems to be showcasing a reasonable justification of imminent danger, that all the cops in the video are pulling their guns and shooting at the singular target. How is this equivalent to the situation we have with Renee Good? How many officers pulled their weapons at Renee Good? Do you know? Does Martae know? The singular officer that shot is the same officer that pulled the gun, and the only officer that pulled the gun at the situation, even though there was another officer being threatened by the vehicle, he did not seem to believe there was reasonable imminent danger on his life to pull a gun. It was only the person that stopped moving. By the way, we're going to discuss this imminent danger. Give me a second. Next, Alex Preddy. How many people pulled the gun on that? How many police officers pulled the gun to showcase a reasonable suspicion of imminent danger at the time from this person? Not a single one, except the officer that was there, that was the last person to arrive at the scene, that only had 5 seconds to assess the situation. The officers that were there before him were trying to subdue and believe there was so much no imminent danger, there's no reasonable belief of imminent danger, that one of them, and here's the case in point, imminent, they believed that he had ample time to disarm Alex Preddy. How can you argue that there was imminent danger at the same, that is reasonable belief for an officer, but the other officers in the area did not pull any weapons, and not a single one of them shot? And the officers went ahead and disarmed, showcasing that there was zero evidence of imminent danger from the other officers that were there beforehand. Absolutely disgusting. Let's go back to Renee. The only justification he has is that this person had a belief that he was going to die right now, and she was driving right into him. Do you know, according to U.S. policy, U.S. Department of Justice policy of use of deadly force 1-16.100, only time you're allowed to shoot a moving vehicle is if there's no other opportunities for you to do anything else, and if there's no other weapons. Renee Good, we knew there was zero other threats from her inside the vehicle, absolutely zero. The only threat was the vehicle itself, and we all know it. And it's so clear that she was trying to escape that she backed up the vehicle. If she had the threat in mind to murder the officer, she wouldn't have backed up. Why are you backing up? You're wasting ample time. The officer's right in front of you, and you're
Manar's behaving right now. That's what's
Manar. I think he froze. I paused his time whenever he unfreezes.
It's too epic for the conversation.
Yeah. You froze for a little bit, Manar. Whenever you're ready, I'll restart the timer.
Hey, I don't know what happened with my camera. Give me 1 second. Let me see. Can you hear me though? You can hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Let me back. Yeah. So there's reasonable suspicion of imminent danger from a woman sitting in her car telling you, hey, get out of my streets. These are my streets. This is my city. You're a federal military arm that I'm going to keep an eye on you. And an IFBB pro, the law enforcement guy who knows the law, who's a previous Homeland investigator, says, yes, the guy was justified to murder your mother who was sitting in the street picking up her daughters. Yes, he was justified. Why? Because he feared for his life. This fucking grown-ass 40-year-old steroided up man is the fear of his life, because instead of getting out of the way, which is actually according to the policy in 1-16.0, because it says here, law enforcement and correctional officers of the Department of Justice may use deadly force only when necessary. That is when the officer has reasonable belief that the subject of such force poses an imminent danger of death or serious physical injury. But he cannot shoot a moving vehicle because, according to Section 2 of this law, the vehicle you cannot shoot a moving vehicle if the person. The only time you can shoot is if a person, the vehicle, is threatening the officer with deadly force by means other than the vehicle, or the vehicle is operated in a manner that threatens the cause of life or serious injury, physical injury to the officer or others, and no other objectively reasonable means of defense appear to exist, which also include moving out of the path of the vehicle. The cop had ample time while she's backing up to move out of the path of the vehicle, which is why not a single other officer believed that there was imminent threat except him. And he had ample time to do so, and he stopped moving in order to pull his gun. In the IFBB Pro video, he showcased that the guy stopped moving so he can pull his gun, so he can showcase that he had an imminent belief of danger. But according to his own policy, he actually had the he was forced to actually get out of the way because he had ample time to do so. That for Nicole, good. Alex Pretty, you have no justification. You have nothing to lie about. To be justified, they're not equivalent. Where all the officers believe there is reasonable
10 minutes,
suspicion of
10
imminent
seconds.
danger. Give me 10 seconds. Where all the officers believe there is imminent danger of threats, that all of them pulled their weapons and all of them aimed them at the same suspect and all of them fired. These situations, no other officer believed the reasonable suspicion of imminent threat except the shooting officers. And actually, what they showcased these officers is a very big lack of training. Like the second officer of the Alex Pretty emptied his weapon, not understanding the power of a singular
Manar.
shot. Showcasing he's not trained at all, zero training. And this guy says he's justified. Thank you for showcasing how disgusting you are. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Manar, for that opening statement. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the 1 hour back and forth, I just want to remind you that we will be holding a Q&A portion after the closing statements. So any questions or rebuttals or arguments that you have for any of these gentlemen, that's where they will be read. And if they are just going to be ad hom attacks or just personal insults, I will not be reading them during the Q&A portion. I'll reread them after the debate is fully over. So let me reset the timer.
Wait, cool, Vic, I have a question. Are we doing the open section now, the open panel questions? Because the debate's over. Martae already lost.
What?
Yeah.
What is he talking about?
All right.
Good.
Wait, is this your first debate, Mr. Work, or what?
Yeah, it is actually. It's my first formal one.
You're using what precedents to make that decision since you're not the moderator? Because the poll hasn't came out yet.
Solid, valid
here we go,
arguments.
Mr. Poll, bro. Mr. Poll. It's not a scientific poll, bro.
Okay. All right. All right, we will be holding a scientific poll after the debate. So, but gentlemen, let's get ready. We are about to begin the 1 hour debate. And by the way, if it gets too wild, I will do like a 2-minute back and forth if it gets too uncontrollable. But hopefully, you guys are able to control yourselves. So, gentlemen, I'll begin this. So let's start.
God forbid we let Kuel do any work here, guys. Stop it. Don't worry about that, Kuel. We will not let you do any work.
So I need to address both of your opening statements. I actually took notes real quick. Just let me get 1 minute real quick just to get this out, and then I'll happily respond to both of your rebuttals. So to address Mr. Work, the vehicle wasn't a threat after she hit the officer. That's what I'm saying. The vehicle wasn't a threat till afterwards, right? We would say that, right? That's your argument. No, the vehicle was a threat before. Matter of fact, this is post hoc justification. You're adding on, not pre-planning, which we saw on the footage. He basically was hit first, right? When she headed his direction. The reason why he was cleared from the vehicle. Hold on real quick. Hold on. The reason why he was cleared from the vehicle was because he was hit. The 30 for 30 has zero bearing on this case. You bring this up. Bringing up also another debate is irrelevant because we're having this debate, which is a separate one altogether.
I think it was a good point to bring up.
Now to
I think it's a good point to
Manar's,
bring up to showcase that there might be a systemic.
hold on. I know, I understand that real quick. But now to address Manar, yes, they aren't state issue. They're federal issue. Also,
can I just address what you said and then you address Manar?
Hold on, real quick. One at a time, real quick, because I have to do two at once.
Also,
Manar, you didn't address the argument by telling me there are no bad apples, which is something I've never said. Only one officer has to pull a weapon because his perception was directional to the momentum of the vehicle's trajectory. The officer had no other choice but to pull his gun.
Thank you. So no other officer believes there's reasonable suspicion of imminent danger. Thank you. Hey, by the way, this is working for me. Keep the energy, okay?
The one officer believes that. So
you just conceded that.
So
you just conceded no other officer would have the reasonable suspicion to pull his weapon. That's what you just conceded. Because they were not in imminent danger. That's literally what you just conceded.
According to his perception,
Martae, you're muted.
It doesn't make a difference. He's not saying anything anyway. Muted or not muted, he's not saying.
Okay,
Yeah,
hold
work.
on.
I'll
All
let
right,
you have
So
it.
there you
the
go.
officer had no other choice but to pull the gun. What was he supposed to do? Stop the car with his superpowers, or he's supposed to get hit by the 3,000-pound weapon? The officer made a split
Get out of the way.
decision.
That's his. That's in his policy. He's
No,
supposed
it's
to
not
get out
against
of the way.
policy. If anybody knows
It's
policy,
literally
it's
his
me.
policy. He had ample time to get out of the
No,
way.
3
That was the
seconds is
first
not
thing he
ample
needs to do.
time. 3 seconds is not ample time. Matter of fact, and I
Backing
can
up the
demonstrate.
vehicle, you can see
Hold
the
on,
vehicle's backing
Manar.
up. You have ample time to get out of it.
Manar, the reason why I'm about to demonstrate why he didn't have ample time, he actually suffered internal bleeding according to these reports, which I can show, which
He
proves the
left
car
the
acted
scene
as
of
a
the
weapon.
crime. I don't know what happened to him. He could have went and punched himself in
Internal
the head. I don't
bleeding,
know
which
what
means he didn't have any
Did
time.
he fall? Did he
Hold
fall?
on.
he had bruising.
If
He
he
had
was
bruising.
striked and he had internal bleeding, how much time does that show he had? None, right? Before he got
But
hit?
the guy went and started walking to the vehicle, showcasing there was zero damage on him. He left the scene and then came back with bruising. I don't know what he did when he left.
No,
the
you
scene.
can leave the scene with internal bleeding and then
He left
have
the
reports
scene. He left the
afterwards.
scene with the internal bleeding, and
Yeah.
then came back
Oh,
later.
hold on. Internal bleeding is just a bruise. You know that, right? A bruise is just damaged capillary.
Wait, hold on.
internal
If
bleeding.
officer
That's all.
assault is somebody spitting on me, would that still be assault?
Yeah,
but
if-
I'm not arguing.
Right.
I'm arguing
Okay.
that
So if he
even-
got hit, it's irregardless of not how
I know,
bad the
but-
damages
Can
were.
I just say
If he
something?
can
I'm
show
saying
that he was
the
hurt and
bruising-
assaulted by this car, right?
Wait,
I'm, showing,
I just wanna say-
I'm telling you from the video you showed us, there doesn't showcase that the bruising is from the actual car
His
because he
feet
didn't
were
get
moving.
hit, he didn't
So,
fall,
Tim Pool.
he didn't back up, he started walking immediately. There was zero damage on
No,
him.
hold
He
on,
left
hold
the
on.
scene
We all saw the
afterwards, and
footage.
then all of a sudden he has this damage.
So Tim
And
Pool
he
had
can't walk
actually.
anymore.
Tim Pool was narrating the video of the officer's feet sliding because the car had hit
Tim
him
Pool's
and
the
pushed
number
him.
one propagandist. He said that Charlie Kirk, he got
No.
100%.
This was on the
proof that
video.
Charlie Kirk was alive the moment that he.
I can have
knew he
Vic
was dead.
replay the video if you want of the officer being
believe
pushed by the
anything Tim Pool
vehicle.
says.
Bro, you just appealed to Tim Pool. Tim Pool also said the wheels were spinning in a
No.
fucking
Anything
I'm
Tim Pool
appealing
says.
to the video
The
that
wheels were
Tim Pool
spinning
was
out on the
commenting
steel
on.
frame, bro.
So Tim Pool was
Bro, how
commenting
can
on the video. I'm
Bro,
appealing to the
hold on,
video
bro.
that we all saw
Bro,
of the officer
Martae,
being
answer
pushed.
this question for me. Martae, answer this. How do you determine the wheels are spinning out if it's a still frame? How do you determine?
That was a video, not a still frame. It was
Literally,
an actual video, not a still frame.
You
Was the
know what? He
video a
had to
still
stop
frame
the
or a
video
video?
because it would have showed Nicole Good stopping her vehicle, literally braking before she touched the officer because the officer stopped in her way. She thought he was going to keep moving.
Okay, I have a question
What
for
a
both of you.
loser.
I have a question
That's
for
why he
both of you.
stopped the video.
Hold on, I didn't get this. Martae, you got this.
Hold
I
on,
didn't get
no,
this.
I answered your question. Allow a good faith spirited back and forth. Now I have a question and I'll answer yours real quick. So when we saw the officer's feet sliding, well, hold on. When we saw the officer's feet sliding, what compelling force was pushing him?
Okay, yes, the car. Martae,
Oh,
now
shit, he
here's
got
the
hit. Okay, he was hit.
Yeah,
Okay,
Martae,
answer
stop
your question.
Martae. Wait, let me address your initial because when you said you were going to address me and Manar, you gave two defenses or whatever, and I didn't actually get to address what you said.
Go ahead.
So you kind of conceded the whole debate here already because you said the threat was eliminated after he got hit with the car. But here's the thing, and you know this, right? Because yes, you did. You didn't say that. Let's run it back.
What I'm saying.
Let's run the transcript
Let
back.
me clear this up. I'll tell you actually what I said. So this
Well,
is
no,
what
no,
I
did
actually
you say
said.
that or did you not say that? Did you say that or did you not say that?
What? No,
I don't
yours was the inverse. You said that he shouldn't have eliminated the threat because she was already past him. But the reason why she was past him is because the vehicle pushed him and hit him out of the way. That's why you can say that. But
Okay,
after
perfect.
hitting, after the officer got assaulted,
Okay.
of course she's no longer a threat because she was already the threat that caused him internal bleeding anyway.
Okay, yeah. So Martae, here's the problem. So
Okay,
you
There
acknowledge.
we go.
You acknowledge. Yeah, here's the problem, Martae. Here's why you lost the debate. You acknowledge that he was hit and the shooting occurred after he was hit,
No,
after he was already out of
the shooting was before he got hit because if you look at the trajectory, it's through the front window, not the side.
No, it's through the side of the front. It's through
No,
the side of the
no,
front.
it's not. There is no such
on the
thing as a
very
side
edge
of the
of the
front. There's
It's on
the
the very
front and
edge
then
of
there's
the
the
front.
side windows.
Martae, I've seen the video where people actually plant and circle his feet, and you can see where the first shot is made because the actual glass explodes, right? And you can see the shattering of the glass. His feet are to the side of the vehicle when the first shot is fired. That's a fact, bro.
Hold on. Where did the bullet enter the vehicle?
So it's on the
Wait,
windshield.
wait,
to the
so
very
what are you
side
saying?
of
Wait,
the
which windshield was hit?
The front
The
windshield, bro. To
front.
the very
Okay, the
corner.
front,
To the
not the
corner.
side. The front. Okay, go
To the
ahead.
corner.
Let me hear the
To
rest.
the corner of it. Yeah, because you know his arm was outstretched,
In
right?
the
It's not
front
like
windshield, right? It's in the front, right?
yeah, to the
Okay,
almost
thank
almost to the driver's side. There's only maybe a
He's
few
aiming at the
inches of
driver. You're going to aim at the driver. It's going to hit the driver's side.
I just want to finish this and I'll pass it to Manar. But here's the problem, Martae. You said, yeah, the threat was already done because she already hit the officer with the vehicle. But with the use of force continuum, once the threat is gone, he has to de-escalate his level of force. He can't fire because he got hit with the vehicle. He's like, well, you already hit me, so now I'm gonna, shoot you. Just as if somebody was shooting at an officer and the person drops the gun, the officer is supposed to de-escalate the level of force. He can't just continue to fire and say, well, he shot at me, so I can keep shooting at it.
That's not how
you lost.
That's not how fight for life happen. I've been in a fight for life previous times in law enforcement, and when things happen, you're not going to say we're only going to shoot once or twice and then de-escalate. There's no de-escalation because she's behind the wheel and she's still grabbing and the vehicle still has momentum. That means the threat hasn't been established to be ended. So, and then I not only said not to destroy the person, I didn't say that it's not the threat.
Contradicting what you said. So there was still a threat, is what you're saying.
No, we always have to act as if the person is still a threat. That's why when you see officers shoot people, there will be like 6 or 7 shots because you never know in the split-second decision, people could still reach for their sidearm. People could still roll a vehicle into a wall. We want to eliminate the control of the vehicle from the passenger, whether or not it's to do this. It's to stop the threat always.
Well, Martae, so I just want to point out the contradiction. First, you said, yeah, the threat was gone because after the cop got hit. Now you're saying she still posed a threat. But here's the thing. If that's the case, and if you're talking about eliminating the threat, Manar pointed out the fact that she looked behind her when she was reversing, and that shows a level of clairvoyancy in operating the vehicle. Once the cop disabled her, the vehicle was uncontrollable and it took off in an unpredictable, uncontrolled path. So the cop actually created a threat. Should the cop therefore have been eliminated before he was able to create
also,
that?
In the Alex Preddy case, he shot into
Let's
the
deal with
officer.
one at a time. Can we do one at a time? Because we're still on Renee. Good.
I'm just saying there's a point there. You have to answer for both.
No, the next point. That's this point. Let's stay on one point at a time. I'll address that. So when she looked behind her, we can't assume the mind of her where she was going. So here's the thing that contradicts everything since you say I have a contradiction. Now you have a paradox.
What does that have to do with?
Let me address this.
I'm just saying that it shows the level of operation of the vehicle. I didn't say
no. I'm talking about the level of operation of the suspect that was detained. Here's the thing that we're overlooking. You're negating the fact that she was detained the whole time. She was told not to operate the vehicle, not to go anywhere. She was resisting of arrest basically by not going out of the vehicle, actually refusing to cooperate with law enforcement at the time. They had actually conferred back and forth and said, hey, I need you to get out of the vehicle. She wouldn't get out of the vehicle. I need you to stop the ignition. She wouldn't do this. She was refusing direct orders the whole time. So when she did back up, did anybody give her permission to leave the scene or to refuse direct orders?
So she's fleeing the scene. You don't have a right to shoot a fleeing.
Hold on. No. Hold on. Mr. Work, can you address this question?
No, Manar's right. Manar's right, but this is a redirection though, because the point of me.
The question: was she refusing direct orders?
I will answer that. I just want the audience to see Martae is pulling a redirection here. Yeah. I pointed out the fact that she looked behind her to show that she was in control of the vehicle and showing a level of operation of the vehicle that is better than if the vehicle was uncontrolled.
Hold on real quick. There's a level of operation if I aim a gun at you, showing if I turn my head and I'm holding a gun at somebody and they're aimed at the field of direction of the bullet, the trajectory, I can still show a trajectory of showing I'm in control of this gun and still kill you at the same time. That doesn't refute the whole argument. She's in control of the 3,000-pound weapon during the whole vehicle. So what? What does that mean?
The problem is you're not thinking about it logically, Martae. So she turns around and looks behind her.
Please.
Well, so here's the thing. If she turns around and looks behind her, she's looking for any possible obstructions that she may hit by accident, right? So she's being a careful driver.
You're assuming that.
Yes.
You don't know that.
Why else would she look behind her?
Because she doesn't. Hold on. The reason why is because if we're going to hit an officer, we want to make sure we don't fuck up our vehicle, right? How do you know that's not the case? You're making an assumptive claim, knowing her mind. Absent any of this, we don't know that. That's an assumption.
She's a woman that has a full-time job. We don't believe she like you, where you watch movies. No. She's a terrorist.
You're saying she has a full-time job?
She has kids. She's going to take care of business.
No, she drove all the way from Missouri to Michigan to do this, to obstruct justice. What are you talking about?
She has the right to protest as an American. You don't sit there.
No, hold on. You have a right to protest. Hold on, Manar, let me address this. You have a right to protest, but these aren't protesters. They are obstructionists. Can we agree on that?
No,
Martae,
they're protesting. This
They
is
are
their right.
obstructionists. That's what they
What
are.
do
She
you
was
mean
obstructing.
by that? So January 6th was obstruction or protest? What was it?
January 6th is a whole nother thing. Can we stick to this topic? Right now, she was
I
obstructing.
just don't understand. It's the same exact scenario. They did obstruction there. Why are these not obstructionists, but these are rioters? And
That's a whole different case. Can we stick to this?
I'm showcasing that you're a hypocrite.
Hold on, Martae, if you
I
don't want
never
to answer
argued
his
Jan 6
question,
in this debate. What are you talking about? Can we stick to this?
Different debate.
he's using an analogy. Manar's using an analogy to prove a point. You tried using one
That's
too, where you're like,
that's
well,
a false
hold a gun,
equivalent.
and then somebody looks at you sideways.
That's a
Like,
false
you know-
equivalent.
Yes, it's you trying to say that the Americans had the right to protest and obstruction, and here you're saying
No,
the
hold
Americans
on, hold
don't
on.
have a right to protest and obstruction.
This is the reason why it's a
That's
false
what you're
equivalent. I
saying.
can demonstrate why it's a false equivalent. Where the Jan 6 protesters being given direct orders at the time and not to
Yes,
move.
to leave. Yes, do not go into the Capitol. Yes, they're telling you get out. The
No,
officers
no,
block
hold
the
on, hold on.
door.
Were they not being in the
Yes.
process of a fact-finding arrest or investigation?
Every single one that went into the Capitol went into jail.
No, they
literally
weren't in the
looked at-
process of being under a fact-finding investigation at the time. They were actually refusing direct orders at the time, but it's a whole different
Why did
scenario.
you go to jail for obstruction of governmental official or work and orders?
That proves my case. That proves the case that they were obstructing.
Exactly.
It-
So
that
now
proves my
so
case,
now when
Manar.
when you claimed that January 6ers were actually protesters, not obstructionists, you were wrong. They were
I never said that they're protesters.
They were maniacal rioters.
I never said
that
they're
destroyed
protesters.
and obstructed in official federal business. Yes, that's how you destroyed yourself.
Manar, did I call them protesters?
No, yes,
No,
you
no,
didn't defend,
no,
you
I
didn't
didn't
defend
call
January 6th.
protesters.
You did not defend the January 6 rioters.
I don't
as
have to in this
as
debate.
doing their American rights, having their American right to do so.
That's actually destroying your whole argument when you're comparing the two. That's actually a false equivalent. The reason why is because she was a singular person refusing direct orders under command of, I would say, HSI at the time, telling them to cooperate with them. She wouldn't cooperate at the time. We had actually more resources on scene. Where as far as January 6th, we had a numerous amount of people who were just disobeying orders at the same time. They're two different distinct circumstances. One was charged, which proves my case of saying what happens when you obstruct justice. Bad things can happen. Did a person die on that day too because they refused direct orders and were trying to charge a police officer?
Yes.
Then how come you guys are arguing why she shouldn't have been shot?
Yes,
because it's
we are
justified?
we are claiming they had the right to do so. Now you're saying we don't have the
Right,
right
they
to
have
do
the
so.
right to do
Now
so.
you're
So
saying
how
they
is
don't
that
have the
any
right to
different
do
from
so.
mine?
If
You're making my
if
case
a
for
police
me.
officer believes that Nicole Good does not have the right to protest, then she has no right to protest, according to you. Now she's an obstructionist that deserves to be murdered because she's resisting arrest. That's according to you, or she's putting the lives of the officers in
Manar, when did I say that she doesn't have the right to protest?
That's why I made the analogy.
Manar, when did I say she doesn't have the right to protest? Because you're putting words in my
she's
mouth.
an obstructionist. You said she's an obstructionist. What
That's
does that
different.
mean? That means whenever she showed up from Minnesota, wherever she came from,
Right.
she didn't come to protest and do her American rights. She came to destroy federal work orders.
Correct.
That's
Is a
what you're saying.
protester the same as an obstructionist?
So that means every January 6er, according to your arguments, an obstructionist that was actually deserving of death at that time because he was creating imminent danger and obstructing.
Manar, is a protester the same as an obstructionist?
They're not mutually exclusive.
Right, they're not mutually two different things, right?
You can see that if you want to argue from this.
Thank you for
position,
making my
have to
argument,
concede
Mr.
that
Work.
as well.
So they're two distinctly different things, right?
Martae, you're taking us down a rabbit hole, bro. You're taking us down a rabbit hole,
That's
Martae.
because
the thing
semantics matter, and we have to talk about the particulars of this case before we move forward.
Martae, okay, so let's rewind back here. The fact that she looked behind her, right?
That doesn't
not
mean anything. She doesn't want to hit her car in anything in the back.
Even if she doesn't want, yeah, okay, so exactly, that's my point. She's practicing safe driving, right? She's being observant, making sure there's nothing behind her.
So the reason why most Americans, we carry insurance, right? If you carry insurance, you don't want to fuck up your vehicle, right? But hitting a person, you're going to think probably isn't going to do much damage. So if she's refusing orders and she's already not complying by putting her hands in, not on the ignition switch or anything like that, she's already disobeying orders. Why would I then believe that she doesn't want to preserve anything but her car at the time?
So here's the thing, Martae. I would say,
Can you answer the question before we move forward? Can you answer the question, please, in good faith?
Because you didn't see a gun, you didn't see any imminent danger, you didn't see a threat except
A
the
car is a
vehicle.
3,000-pound weapon. Can you answer the question?
Yeah, the vehicle is the only danger.
Hold on, Manar. Let Work answer.
Yeah, ask the question again.
Okay, so The car's a 3,000-pound weapon. There was imminent danger, according to the officer. He suffered internal bleeding, which means that the car was used as a weapon. We can see examples of this being weaponized. The officer was hit and pushed on the video. We saw his feet sliding. How was the car not an imminent threat at the time, according to him?
That's a whole different question than what you just asked me, bro.
Cool.
So
Can you answer that though, anyways?
Well, like, how obscene is that, bro? You just asked me a completely different question. I was trying to,
yeah, well, I'm allowed to adjust and formulate my questions because now I'm dealing with you. Can you answer the question though?
Okay, bro. But I was trying to piece together what you were saying before. So, can you a brief question, bro? Can you make it kind of summarize it for me? And go ahead, I'll answer it, bro.
Okay, at the time, the officer had believed that this was a threat, and it was demonstrated that the fact that the vehicle hit him, which proves that it was a 3,000-pound weapon, and him suffering internal injuries, he was hit nonetheless. You had already conceded the fact that if I spit on an officer, which doesn't cause any physical damage, I can then charge somebody with assault for doing that. There was evidence that he was hit and suffered injuries from this, proving that the car was weaponized against him. How did he not perceive this as a threat at the time if we could demonstrate that the car did cause injury to him?
So, okay, I can answer that question. But first, I want everybody to observe something here, right? So when Martae adds these additional facts that are, we don't even know to be true, internal bleeding, a bruise is technically internal bleeding. But you see how he basically tries to frame it in a way to make you think that this guy suffered a severe injury. But Martae just wants to know if the vehicle was ever a threat to the police officer. Yeah, at one point it was. Now here's the question though. Here's the question, because Martae also conceded initially that the vehicle is no longer a threat after the police officer got hit. That's what Martae said previously.
Yeah.
Well, she got shot after the police officer got hit because his legs were no longer in the front of the vehicle. And I've seen the still frames of where people circled his feet, and it was to the side of the vehicle when the first shot got fired. So here's the question that Martae doesn't want to answer. When it comes to the use of force continuum, as soon as the cop is no longer in the front of her vehicle, the vehicle no longer poses a threat. The cop's supposed to de-escalate his use of force. He no longer has the means to go lethal. On top of that, him going lethal pose a threat to the community because now the vehicle's uncontrolled. We saw earlier the lady looked behind her to make sure she wasn't going to hit anything with the vehicle. She was demonstrating a level of driving or operating the vehicle in a safe manner. Once she's disabled, the vehicle is going wherever it's going to go. But here's something else, actually, because you know what? I said I was going to ask Martae a question.
One point at a time because you're going on to your second point.
I take it back. I'm not asking you a question here, Martae. I'm just going to throw these statements here. Okay, so
can we do one point at a time, though, seriously, because you're going to go on different. You're going to interject different points.
Okay, brother, I agree. We could do 1 point at a time, but then you can't.
Let me tingle with this real quick. So when you say
that, can you promise me that, Martae?
What's that?
We can do 1 point at a. I'm okay doing 1 point at a time, but let's not change it to different points. Can we do that?
But hold on, there's a lot of nuance and context in these debates sometimes that can happen. You can correct me if I move on to something hopefully indirect of what we're talking about. But right now, I'm going to stay on topic. So when you say that the vehicle is still a threat, we've previously seen 2 demonstrations, and this is the reason why I purposely included this in video, of cars, once the driver is shot, where one driver was still alive and they were still in control of the vehicle, they happened to hit another vehicle. The other one, they still hit another vehicle. What happened in the Renee shooting was she hit another vehicle. In none of these circumstances was the car a threat. Matter of fact, the car actually de-escalates after the driver is shot and the threat is stopped. So, and this is in all 100% of these cases in law enforcement, we are trained to, if the vehicle's headed your direction, to shoot the person. Here's the thing though,
that's false.
Hold on real quick. In the line of duty, if we're taught to not shoot the person, what are we going to do? Be a speed bump and say, shit, you know what? I'll be Steve Rogers and take the bullet so that way nobody else gets hurt because at least I'll slow the vehicle down. Nobody trains officers to do this. That's superhero Marvel movie shit. That none of that functions in reality when we look at the certification and us having to requalify as officers. That never happens. We shoot the threat and we try to save lives by disengaging the driver from the wheel. The best way to do that is to eliminate and stop the operator of the vehicle, regardless.
But it's false though. Police trainings actually don't tell people to shoot the driver. They tell you to get out the way first. And if you can't get out the way,
That's not true.
Yes,
If the
it is.
vehicle's
Yes,
coming
yes,
at you and
yes,
it's an imminent threat,
yes.
we stop the driver.
No, according to the
No,
Justice
we
Manual
have-
1-16.200.
No,
you
actually, that's
you
wrong. I
cannot
can
use deadly
debunk that.
force on a vehicle that is the only thing that is the imminent danger. If the vehicle is the only imminent danger and a violent object, and you have ample time to get out of the way, you cannot justifiably shoot.
Okay, great, Manar. Stay right there. Did the officer have ample time if he got hit and had internal bleeding?
Yes, he stopped moving to pull his gun. Yes, in your own video.
Hold
Play
on.
it again. Play your own video again, please.
So hold on real quick.
Let's say bruising, because he didn't have internal
Right,
bleeding.
he didn't have time because he got hit. How much time do you have if you get
So
hit?
he had time to pull the gun, but he didn't have time to get out of the way.
So during the video,
argument?
she revved the vehicle in back of her, then he pulled the gun out
He went
because he knew the vehicle was
backwards.
in motion. Hold on real quick.
It takes like 3 seconds for the vehicle to accelerate. For him. He
There,
had
no,
ample
hold
time
on.
to
He
get out of the way.
pulled the gun.
He stopped moving in order for him to stay in the vehicle's way to showcase that it's still a danger for him. And no other officer believed there was reasonable threat. That no other officer pulled the gun, and even the officer.
No other
that
officer was
at
in
the
danger.
handle- Can I finish?
Go ahead.
The officer that was holding onto the handle didn't even believe he was ample imminent danger to pull because he knew that she was fleeing. She was trying to run away, but the officer stood in front of the vehicle, kept walking out, then the last second stopped moving in order to stay in her line, and then knew he was safe enough to pull the gun and shoot her. There's absolutely ample time for him to get out of the way.
Okay, I have a
No
question.
other officer believed there was imminent threat of danger, and they knew that the vehicle was the only danger. They knew she was trying to get away. Every officer did. No other officer pulled their weapon.
I have a
This
question.
guy
Then.
stood in front of her and waited for her after she backed up, and he had ample time to get out of the way. This was against the policy of the use of force.
I have a question. Not only is it not against the policy, but let's say in a hypothetical where he had died from these injuries of getting hit. Hold on, I let you talk, Manar.
It's in the book.
Manar, I let you talk. Manar, I probably know the policy 10 times better than you, but let me talk real quick and respond to this.
He didn't stop to pull his gun. I'm just asking.
Manar.
Did he not stop to pull his gun? I'm just asking.
I'm just going to be quiet until you're finished, Manar.
Okay, I just answered this question, then you can do whatever you want. Did he stop moving in order to pull the gun before he was shot?
That's two questions you're asking. Can I address the first one before we get to the second one?
No, address this going backwards. Just like a card game, you go backwards with the effects that were applied. So, like I said, I applied this effect later.
Hold on, Manar. No, I'm going to address the first thing first. So when you say
moving,
Manar, let's have some decorum here.
To this. So he's going to obfuscate before he answers to this.
No, this is your first question. I have to address
answer whatever question you think you want to answer. Whatever. I'm asking you the question I want you to answer. I don't know what you're going to answer.
So with the Uno reverse, bro. You gotta go.
No, Manar. Let me address this real quick. So in another scenario, in another dimension, let's say the officer had died from these internal injuries that he had succumbed to.
What the fuck is this?
What
are you talking about?
Manar.
What are you talking about? Yeah,
Manar.
in another scenario, Kyul has a six-pack.
All right, Manar.
In
Manar,
another
hold on.
universe, Kyul is actually funny. Yeah, I don't know what you wanted me to say.
Do you need some bacon right now, Manar? Let's continue. Anyways, a nice BLT will shut you the fuck up.
So what does that mean is going to happen? Never.
Manar, let me continue. Can I at least ask a question? All right, let me entertain this real quick. So in another situation, if the officer died from his injuries, would you then be saying he didn't have enough time if these injuries had killed him instead of maimed him?
Go on your Star Trek voyage, man. Go ahead.
There's a definition of maim, right? And you didn't use the word correctly, bro.
Hold on. Can you answer the question even though I'm using this word incorrectly according to you? Can you still answer the question?
Ooh, decapitate. Ooh.
Yeah, you didn't get maimed, bro.
Oh, internal bleeding. Let's just use internal bleeding because that was the specificity of the words that were used. Because let's say it wasn't just internal bleeding that he suffered and he died from these injuries. Would you then say he didn't have enough time to get out of the way?
Martae, you said semantics were important, bro. If you're going to use maimed and the officer wasn't maimed.
Okay, don't we switch it? Internal bleeding. That's the distinct language that they use.
He had ample time, not because he's bruised. I'm saying he had ample time because he stopped moving to pull his gun when he had 2 extra seconds to keep going.
So hold on. You're saying you have 2 seconds.
You cannot shoot a fleeing vehicle, and if the vehicle is the only violent
it's not
thing,
fleeing,
you
it's
have to get out
approaching.
of its way. You can't just shoot into
the
it.
The vehicle's not fleeing, it's approaching. Can we change the semantics are important? The vehicle is approaching, not fleeing him.
Do you have any evidence that she was approaching him out of threatful? What? Show me your evidence.
We don't need to. We don't need to because
so you have no evidence.
in his
my
direction.
evidence showcases she was running.
Yeah,
idea
no,
is Showcase
Manar
is
Towards
fleeing.
him, yes. The trajectory of the
No,
wheels
no,
were
no,
pointed
no.
toward him.
So what? She's fleeing.
So what?
Bro.
The wheels were pointed toward him.
He
So
had
what? That's
to get out of the
crazy.
vehicle. If the vehicle's the only damage, he's not a felon. He cannot shoot into her to stop her fleeing. He can't.
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
Manar-
That goes against what you were saying. Officers can't shoot to stop the person operating a vehicle that's headed towards them. Yes, that's an imminent threat, right?
Because he had enough time to get out of the way, and it was
Yeah,
the only
but
If he,
damage.
wait, hold
It
on.
was the
If he
only
had enough
violent
time
thing.
to get out of the way, how come he was still hit and suffered internal bleeding?
Because he stopped moving. I keep.
What?
I keep
Wait,
At this
play
point,
your
the whole
video.
time,
Play
he
your
was
video.
injured.
Play your video. Play your video.
Hold on,
He's
hold
not
on,
Can
gonna
you
hold on.
play a video? Can you do anything, Q? Can you play the video?
I can play.
Yeah,
Can you
no,
play the
no,
video?
no,
I want to
yeah.
showcase how in the no, not Alex Preddy, Nicole, where the
Yeah.
last second he stopped moving to pull the gun, and then his legs went off from the floor. Go and look at that. So he had
Well,
ample
like-
time to keep moving.
Can Martae restate his statement
bring it
because
back.
he lost the debate? Can you restate what you just said? If he didn't get hit, what did you
Here.
say, Martae?
Slowly play.
All right, do you guys want to watch? Okay.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
vehicle
Well, they're
did not
talking
aim at him. In fact, the officer stepped in front of the vehicle, and they've asked, why did he step in front of the vehicle? However, people on the right have argued the vehicle reverses and lines up with him. Actually, I think it's fair to say both are occurring. The DHS officer is standing to the front right side of the vehicle, and he takes a step to his left
Where's the
as the
imminent
vehicle
danger? Where's the
reverses. The pair of the
imminence?
camera makes both look a bit more exaggerated. But from the new angle we've seen from CNN, he's not in front of the vehicle, but he is taking a step to his right as the vehicle is reversing and turning to its right, creating this lineup. Now, here's where I see the most important part. As we move forward, we can see, watch the wheels tilted to the left, not to the right. And you can then see the wheel spin out. See the wheel spinning out?
Yes.
That is acceleration into the officer. However,
Or that's her
due to what
pushing
appears to be
harder to
ice on the
back up.
ground, I can only assume it spins and doesn't gain traction. There's two assumptions. Due to ice being on the ground, it spun out and she released the accelerator, or the ECS system, the electronic stability control, stops the wheel from spinning the moment it spins out. So this is something we've had for 20
Why
plus
is this guy
years.
stop moving? Why
After
is
the
he
wheel,
stop
which is
moving?
aimed at him, spins out, which means
Look,
he
he's
heard the
totally
engine
stop
go
moving.
boom. He then pulls his gun. The vehicle right now, you can see the wheel is beginning to tilt, is still going forward.
She's
Yes.
fleeing.
He
It's
then
clear
points
she's
the gun
fleeing.
at her and steps to his right.
She still hasn't turned.
And now she's turning. Right? This is the point. The gun is aimed at her.
Stop.
The
We don't
vehicle
want to see
begins.
it all. Okay, we just want to showcase that he stopped moving. He stops moving
No.
to pull his gun.
People,
and
hold on. Can we,
showcase to her that he's got the gun in front of her face, and then he moves again afterwards.
yeah, people freeze
stop?
oftentimes when they're in a life or death situation. Now, I want to combat something that Mr. Work had said before.
Where's
He
the
said,
imminent danger if he can just cut one more step
He
out
got
of the way?
hit.
That means he put himself in the imminent danger on purpose because he has a power trip. He wanted to shoot the gun.
Wait,
That's
what?
literally what I'm seeing.
Wait,
That's
Martae.
it.
Hold on.
you
Hold on,
can't
can I-
demonstrate that an officer's having a power trip. You need to be able
Yes,
to
he
establish
started
motive.
calling her a bitch. Start calling her names.
Motive is the hardest thing to prove, and you can't prove that. Matter of fact,
Yes,
Mr.
yes,
Work,
I
can I
have the
address you on
motive.
something right now that you said? So
He
when you
ran
said
away
that she
from
looked,
the scene. He knew he did something wrong.
hold on. One
Wait,
thing at
I'm
a time. She looked behind her, right? So I'll ask you a question, Mr. Worker, real quick. Do people use blinkers in high-speed chases running from police?
Okay, here's the thing.
Hey,
Vic, can you put that?
Can you answer that? Do people use blinkers in high-speed chases?
I just want to make a point after. Vic, can you put that still frame back up? Because I
You're
wanted
not
to
going to answer the question. You're not
I
going
will
to.
not. I will.
All right. Well, answer the question first, and then I'll put it up on stage.
Okay, so do people use their blinkers in high-speed chase? It's possible that they do, yeah.
No, we've seen evidence. They do this all the time. Matter of fact, in the OJ case, when he was being
Now, the
chased
important
by
thing
somebody,
is,
and he thought that a law enforcement was an imminent threat, he still uses blinkers, still looked behind him, and did all these things in lieu of possibly hitting pedestrians too. So that is a null and void point that you just made. Let's continue.
But Marta, you know, for reckless driving, reckless driving is written in a way to where you have to use kind of a totality of different evidences to point out the fact that the driver
like
is
the
wrong.
other vehicles.
Yeah, like
have to-
refusing direct orders, showing up, and obstructing
Well, here-
justice. Yes, of course.
Here's what I'm saying, Marta. So if somebody's in a high-speed chase and they're using their blinker, you couldn't charge them with reckless driving because they are taking into account.
No, wait,
you know,
that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about reckless driving. I'm saying when they're panicking around officers, they still know how to operate a vehicle really well, just like they do in normal life when they're not operating
Okay.
under duress, right?
Here's the thing, Martae, because you say you have law enforcement
Can
experience.
you answer that though, real quick, before we move forward? Because you're acting like I never asked you a question.
I answer your questions, and you never answer my questions. So what are
No,
you doing
I'll
here,
answer
bro?
that. But when people are under duress, they're still going to operate a vehicle under safe measures that they normally do, anyways, right? It's almost reflected like a reflex, right?
Yeah, that can happen. I agree.
Okay, great. Let's move forward.
So yes, let's move forward. I have two questions. The first one, kind of just recapping this current discussion. You acknowledge that speed in itself doesn't constitute reckless driving, right?
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So in this picture here, you can see his hand, and that's the hand he has the gun in, right?
We can't see the other officer in front because he's blocked by the officer at the side.
No, but you can see the officer's hand, the one with the gun. You see how he's
not yet. We can't see that because he's being blocked by the other party.
No, I can see it. You can clearly see his hand right there.
He's being
talking about this right here?
blocked by the other person.
Yeah, his hand's right there. It's right in front of the face of the other guy.
Yeah, his hand's like, if you look at the guy. Yeah, but you see how his hand is still in quote unquote in front of the vehicle, but the officer is not in front of the vehicle. You see how his hand is visible?
When she reversed you see where the wheels are pointed toward the officer, he then drew his gun because he didn't know the trajectory of where the vehicle's going because the wheels are aimed at him, right? The wheels are aimed in his direction, right?
I'm talking about this frame. I'm talking about the still frame.
Yes, this still frame. Are the wheels aimed at the officer?
Here, has the shot been fired yet?
No, are the wheels aimed at the officer though?
I can't tell, but here's something I could
tell that his hand is out with the gun, but you can't tell where the wheels are aimed.
The wheels, well, because the guy's leg and it's kind of black, so they're kind of merging in.
The wheels are pointed towards the officer. The officer's in this fatal funnel.
Well, no, the officer's to the side of the vehicle.
No, that's the officer blocking the officer in front of the vehicle.
No, because Martae, you can kind of see the one guy's leg to the left. It's kind of shadowing. The guy in front of him is kind of shadowing the leg, but you can kind of make out.
He's still in frame of the front of the vehicle, still, even if his body's partially in front.
Martae, look, here's my point. The guy is to the side of the vehicle. You can clearly see his hand is pointed at the driver, but he's not in front of the vehicle. His hand is pointing to the side, right? So he's pointing forward, but he's from the side of the vehicle. That's why if you actually look at the picture of the hole in the windshield, he's at the very edge of the windshield because he's not actually in front of the vehicle.
He's trying to get out of the way. There's 3 seconds that you have to act. We have to make a split-second decision. We're not going to be carried by 6 and judged by 1.
He stayed in front of the vehicle to showcase that there was a little bit of imminent danger, but stayed far enough to know that.
Oh yes, you're right. He stayed in front of the vehicle, right? Shooting the vehicle wheels towards him. Yes,
it's so clear. He had ample time to get out of the vehicle's way. He stayed there in order to shoot to justify.
No, you actually failed this because if he had ample time, he wouldn't have got hit.
Then why did he stop moving?
If he had ample time, he wouldn't have gotten hit.
That's not true. Martae, that's not true.
Wait, are you saying he intentionally wanted to get hit? Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
he just wanted to get
hit? That's what I'm saying. He put himself in a corner.
Wait, hold on. Now we're saying this. Manar, you're...
Yeah, because he knew she was fleeing. He didn't want to go after her because there's a fat fuck who wants to go eat some donuts.
Manar, are you actually saying he wanted to get hit?
Yes, he wanted to showcase.
What? Wait, hold on, this is crazy. So I want to put myself in the line of life or death situation. For what reason?
Yeah. That way you can justify the shooting. And here's how we can prove this, Martae. Was this the first? Martae, was this the first time you got?
This is important. Allow me to justify it. Exactly.
This is wild.
Allow me to do this. Allow me to do this, guys. Allow me to make the justification. Allow me to explain why this is important. It's important to showcase that this person had zero imminent danger at him except of the vehicle. He knew that the vehicle was trying to escape. He stood there in front of the vehicle, knowing that according to the U.S. Department of Justice's policy 1-16.200, Section 2, he had the only way for him to reasonably believe that he had imminent danger is if the vehicle, there was another weapon in the vehicle, or...
Oh, damn.
Yes, I love it. Manar's internet is not pulling the donkey at the moment, so let's continue. So the vehicle was an imminent threat. It was a 3,000-pound weapon.
I don't know why I'm getting disconnected. I don't know. I haven't finished my point. I haven't finished my point.
You're using Iranian internet. Let's go to the US and use their
Hold on,
news.
guys. Let Manar finish his point.
Go ahead.
I'm using the U.S. Department of Justice Use of Policy Justice Manual 1-16.200 Section 2, which is claiming that you cannot shoot at a vehicle if it's the only thing that's threatening. There has to be another threatening thing, or if you don't have ample time to get out of the way. So he had ample time in the video to get out of the way. The only way he can argue there was no ample time is because he was hit. But because we see that he stopped moving, we can tell that the reason he was hit wasn't because he didn't have ample time, was because he wanted to justify his shooting, which was unjustifiable because no other police officer believed there was.
Wait, hold on. This is a fallacious argument that you're making right now. You then contradict yourself. You said he had ample time to move out of the way, and then you then say he didn't have ample time, which is why he was hit. And then you say the reason why he wanted to get hit is to justify shooting. Can you demonstrate that he wanted to get hit or kill himself?
The best way for me to demonstrate intent is through the actions. The actions were that he had ample time to get out of the way. He saw her backing up. He refused to get out of the way at the last second. Instead,
you just said he didn't have time.
Pull out his gun.
Yes, you just said he didn't have time. That's why he got hit.
I said that he had enough time to go out of the way. Let me finish. He had enough time to get out of the way.
Go ahead.
And he stopped himself at the last second to pull the gun in order to put himself in imminent danger because there was no other justification for the shooting other than that.
Wait, hold on. Your argument.
If he can just walk away, he's not going to be able to shoot her.
Manar.
So he had to stay in there, and he looked like he had a power trip because I could see in the video he stopped moving. And instead put the weapon in front of the girls, which made her react and kind of freak out. I guess that's why the skid marks happened. But it's so clear that the guy had ample time to get out of the way. He refused to. And I can read his intentions through his actions.
Hold on. You can read his motive through his actions. That's fallacious.
Yes.
That's not a demonstration of. Hold on, Manar. Manar, can I finish? Because I let you go on. So what you're saying is you're implying a motive and implying his intent just by him putting himself in a life or death situation does not show that he wanted to die to justify killing somebody else. That's nonsensical. You haven't demonstrated that or proved his motive yet. That doesn't make any sense.
I can prove the motive. I can prove it.
That he wanted to die.
If he didn't shoot. Can you prove that he was going to die if he didn't shoot?
That's what you're saying. You're saying he's somehow in your mind, you're assuming his mind state, saying that he wanted to die to take out another life.
He knew she was fleeing. He knew she wasn't coming after him, so he didn't want to come after her.
Can you demonstrate that he knew this? Can you demonstrate that, he knew
because
this?
he shot her while she was fleeing, while she was backing up. She was doing zero damage to him.
That doesn't demonstrate what was going on in his mind, Manar.
Martae, you're moving the goalpost, buddy. You're moving. Now you're saying that
what Manar is doing. I'm following his goalpost. What he's moving, his arm. He's saying that he knows the intent of the person. He can't demonstrate that.
Bro, Manar stands on your head, bro. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, bro?
All right, tell him he stands on his head isn't demonstrating he's doing that. Can you do that for him because he's not helping out his own argument?
I can do that. So here's the problem, Martae. You're changing the goalposts and you're saying that can we prove that he wanted to die? No, obviously we can't prove that.
That's what Manar's saying. Manar's saying he wanted to die. That's your partner's argument.
No, Manar's not saying that.
That's what he's saying. He wanted to. I literally asked myself, so he wanted to die. Manar said yes.
Yes,
Manar agreed to that. He did say yes. So yes, he is agreeing to that.
Bro, I clearly understand what Manar's saying. Manar's saying that the guy.
I clarified for Manar. I said, Manar, you're saying he wanted to kill himself, and Manar said yes. So that contradicts anything you're saying right now.
In a life or death situation, he wanted to make a dangerous situation.
So he wanted to kill himself, basically. And I asked him, I worded it this way.
Himself in imminent danger. He wanted to justify shooting.
I worded it this way, and Manar actually agreed with this. So no, that's untrue.
Okay, you just clarified.
I didn't say he wanted to die.
Oh, right? He wanted to die. You hear that? Manar said that.
He just said he didn't say that.
You did say that, Manar.
No.
I'm saying he wanted to put himself in the line of danger because that's the only justification he has.
Okay, we'll even do that. He wanted to put himself in danger.
Let me finish. If he stepped one more foothold into the right, he would have not have been had the justification because it would have been clear that she's fleeing. So instead of moving, he put himself in the line of the car, which was already dodging him.
So in 2 seconds,
she breaks.
So in 2 seconds, do you think 2 seconds is enough time to get out of the way in a speeding vehicle?
Well, that's a good question.
2 feet away. Whoa, 2 seconds is enough time.
Martae, Hold
In
on.
the
Can I say
video, she
something
was
more?
backing up the whole time when he got to the part of the video
Yes,
where he
she's
shot her.
backing up and she turned the wheels toward him
So
in his
he
direction.
shot her.
Yes.
He shot her before she even started moving forward. Almost like she couldn't even get to stop moving forward when he shot her. So what do you mean that
No,
there was,
he prepared
no
to shoot.
time of getting away?
He
She
prepared
hadn't even
to.
moved forward yet. Almost.
He prepared to fire his firearm as soon as she backed up because he didn't know where she was going.
While she's
And
backing up,
as soon as the wheels turned toward his direction, he was put in a fatal funnel situation. Yeah. Would you believe that panic fire happens when people have a split-second decision to make? That's what he did. So when you say that the vehicle couldn't
out of the vehicle's way,
hold on.
You're not supposed to.
Hold on. When you say that the vehicle didn't pose a threat,
hold on, guys.
Bro. You know you're not even using the fatal funnel correctly. There was no obstruction.
That is correctly. I'm using that correctly because metaphorically speaking, when you put yourself in the direction of a bullet or the direction of an oncoming weapon towards you, there's a situation where you have space. We're talking about positioning when I talk about the fatal funnel. Was he not in the position to move out of the way or not?
Bro, but you just said fatal funnel. There's no obstruction to his right. You can argue that he can't clear his left.
He didn't have obstruction toward his right. He didn't have enough time to move. Therefore, he got hit. That demonstrates the fact that the vehicle's a weapon.
If he didn't have enough time to move, and that was one of his concerns, how come he was walking in the whole engagement? He never see him run.
Okay, we've already demonstrated that if you spit on an officer, it's still assault, right? If the vehicle taps him, is that assault?
So you're acknowledging that the guy never makes an attempt to run out the way.
Hold on. No. The vehicle pushed him out of the way. What does that imply?
Martae, when he tries to clear the front of the vehicle to get to the other side, does he run?
He tried to clear the vehicle. Hold on. Stick with that. You just said it. He made an attempt to clear the vehicle, right?
Yeah, that's why he's moving over to his partner.
So he did try. That contradicts Manar's point of saying he didn't want to do this and put himself in harm's way. You guys just contradicted yourself.
No, it's not a contradiction because him attempting to clear to the side his partner's at puts him in the way of the vehicle.
Hold on. Manar's saying that he purposely put himself in danger. That's not an attempt to clear himself. He just contradicted you.
But Martae
puts himself in danger by stopping.
This is wild. I need both of you guys to get your story straight because it contradicts itself. Manar at one point is saying that he put himself in harm's way on purpose to kill the threat, but then you're saying that he attempted to move out of the way, out of harm's way.
Well, let me explain without you yelling.
Hold on. Which one is it? Did he move out of the way, attempt to move out of the way, or attempt to put himself in the way to justify the killing?
Well, yeah,
bro, that's what we're talking about.
Because Manar's saying one whole different thing, and you're saying the other, something that contradicts him.
Okay, well, let me explain and see if Academics disagrees with me. Okay, what we are saying is that the officer had justification to understand that the threat only came from the vehicle. There was zero apparent danger from anywhere else from Nicole's side, and because of that, he had certain laws applied upon him because of the justice manual is enforcing certain use of deadly force laws. Because she's inside the moving vehicle, the vehicle is the only danger. So as long as he can get out of the path of the vehicle, there cannot be a justified reasonable belief of imminent danger anymore because there's zero proof of any other weapons and the danger is the vehicle only. Now, there is another part of the use of deadly force 1-16.200 that's explaining you cannot shoot into a fleeing non-felon. I don't know what that distinction is. I don't know if you can shoot into felons, but if there's no felony and the person is fleeing, he can evade it, and you don't have the justification to shoot.
No, that's a mischaracterization of the law.
Let me finish, please. Let me finish. Okay, if I'm wrong in anything, write it down and explain it to me.
I'll explain it to you.
What showcases in the video that no other officer believed that there's any reasonable suspicion of imminent danger. Even the one that was hanging on the door and being pulled by the car backwards and forwards, that guy never pulled his gun to try to stop Nicole Good, which if she was using the vehicle as a weapon, he's the one that's right in front of her. He has the easiest shot to her. So that person doesn't believe that he can stop the vehicle by shooting her. He recognizes there's no other weapons in hand, and he recognizes that she's fleeing. The only other cop that believed that there's a reasonable imminent danger is the one that's standing in front. For him to continue to have that belief, like Work was trying to argue about de-escalation, he needs to keep that imminent danger escalated. He cannot stop the escalation of the imminent danger, or he showcases that he was supposed to de-escalate. What happened was he started to get out of the way of the vehicle, which is, according to the procedure, the right thing to do. You cannot shoot into the vehicle that's coming at you if you have ample time to get out of the way. The only time you can shoot at the vehicle is if there's that doesn't have any other apparent weapons, is if you do not have ample time to get out of the way, which is why I'm arguing he stopped moving to complete the justification for his shooting. Other than that, there was zero justification.
How long are you going to go, Manar?
You literally have no argument, Martae. According to the use of deadly force 1-16.200.
No, I can
you have
refute
zero
this easily.
argument. If he stepped one more movement to the right, you would have had zero argument. Your only argument is that he completed and continued to believe that there was imminent danger.
How long are we going to go here?
He did that on purpose because he stopped moving on purpose. There was nothing stopping him from movement, nothing obstructing his movement except his demonic intent of murdering this bitch. That he called a bitch in his own words after he.
You're still gish galloping. Can I talk now?
Now, does work disagree with me on anything?
Here we go. Can I go? Can I respond to what you're saying instead of
that's it? IFBB Pro. I don't know what you've been trying to showcase.
Oh, there's two fallacies that you made right now. So
argue against my points.
Okay, can I respond without you over talking? Because I let you go.
Minutes. I'm not gonna say a word.
Okay, so you're wrong on two accounts. When you talk about that section code that you brought up, we don't need to assume that there's other weapons in the car when the car is a weapon. We've seen in two previous videos that I've shown that the officers fired into the car. We don't need to know that there's the reason why that statute exists is because if you're moving a vehicle into somebody's trajectory, we don't need to know that you have a RPG in the vehicle, a grenade launcher, or guns or anything like that. The car literally is the weapon. We don't need to say, hey, we need to just assume that there's a weapon in the dashboard or the glove box or anything like that before we can shoot. The question is the car a weapon in itself? Yes, we can agree on this because the officer was hit and struck with the car, suffering internal bleeding at the time. This is a report I can even bring up right now. So all of a sudden that's wrong too. So the next thing I'll bring up is Graham versus Connor.
That's not the question at hand if the vehicle was a weapon. The question is at hand is if there's no other weapons except the vehicle.
You don't need a weapon in the vehicle to shoot unless
it's heading to your way.
No,
and that's why he stopped moving because that's
you don't need a weapon in the vehicle to shoot the vehicle that is a weapon aimed at you. That's crazy.
If there was nothing, no other threats from the driver except the vehicle, you can't shoot.
So the vehicle was a threat. All there needs to be is one vehicle threat that to the officer. That's it.
Let me read the section. Let me read the section, and then you disagree with the section. Firearms may not be discharged. This is 1-16.200, section 2. Firearms may not be discharged solely to disable moving vehicles. Specifically, firearms may not be discharged at a moving vehicle unless. So you can't discharge this
unless it's fleeing, right? Fleeing,
and you can only let me finish.
Unless it's fleeing,
why you gotta talk?
Unless it's fleeing,
I will explain everything afterwards. Just write.
Was the vehicle fleeing or heading into the officer?
Okay, well let me finish. Okay, but you can't shoot a fleeing. It continues.
It wasn't fleeing. It was headed towards the officer.
Well, let me showcase that it wasn't. Let me finish. Go ahead. If he had ample time to get out of the way, according to this section, he had to get out of the way. So the only time firearms may not be discharged at a moving vehicle unless 1, a person in the vehicle is threatening the officer or another officer with deadly force by other means than the vehicle itself. So
no, that's false.
There needs to be something. Yes, yeah, that's in the use of deadly force code.
If the vehicle is a threat and the vehicle's being weaponized.
Hey, shut him up, man. Let me finish. Nobody knows what I'm talking about.
Vehicle,
number 2, that the vehicle is operated in a manner that threatens to cause death or serious physical injury to the officer or others, and no other objectively reasonable means of defense appear to exist, which includes moving out of the path of the vehicle. So if you can move out of the path of the vehicle,
he didn't have time.
It stops being an actual imminent danger to your life, and you have.
He didn't have time. He was hit. He was hit. He didn't have time, and the vehicle is a weapon. So that negates everything you just said.
Yo, Vic, can I get 2 minutes? Can I get 2? I'm appealing to the moderator here. Oh, actually,
okay.
Hold on, Manar. Huh?
Okay, go ahead, work. Go ahead.
Okay, so I just want to say, I almost combined your guys' name. I almost said, "Oh, you're back, Manar. You want to finish it, bro? You want to finish your point, bro?"
Yeah, he's drowning right now. Go ahead, Manar.
I don't know why my internet is trash, but yeah. So I mean,
you said it's trash.
You have no justification.
You're right.
According to 1-16.200,
You're right, it's trash.
1-16.200, you cannot shoot at a moving vehicle unless the vehicle had another way that it's harming you. Maybe there's a gun inside of it, or you can't get out of its way. Both of these, the officer had.
So hold on, he met 2 criteria. The 2 criteria were met. He didn't have time to get out of the vehicle because he was hit, and then the vehicle itself was causing harm to the officer because it hit him. So that negates your whole point. Next, Mr. Work, go ahead.
Yeah, so here's the thing, Martae, you keep saying that the officer didn't have time. If you actually track the officer's movement with like a vector, right, and you track his position at every point of his movement, you would see he's always moving towards the vehicle. On top of that, he never runs out the way Like,
He
he
didn't
never
have
makes
time
the
to
effort.
run.
Come on, bro. He didn't have time to run, but he had time to pull his gun out. You see how absurd that
When the
sounds?
vehicle was reversing, he pulled his gun out. He had time to defend himself. Yes.
But here's the thing, Martae. I want to
We're
address
not
the
going
point.
to run from in law enforcement. They teach you not to run from the threat. You're going to engage. Otherwise, why do we have a firearm if we're taught to run from
But you
everything?
can't shoot at somebody fleeing from you. You can't murder somebody running
hold
away
on.
from you.
Manar, you're wrong on this. Was the vehicle fleeing from him or heading his direction?
Yes, she backed up. She wasn't trying to attack him. She was
hold on.
of fleeing.
Let me describe this real quick.
Which is why the officer that was
let me
held at the
describe
handle
this.
of the car did not shoot her.
When the
He knew
vehicle
she
was
was
backing
fleeing.
up, it wasn't a threat, but he was engaging and preparing for the vehicle to be a threat. When the wheels were turned towards him, it then accelerated in his direction. Then it became a threat. Do we not agree on this?
IFBB, I don't agree that you can say that a singular
Hold on.
thinking
Can we agree
something
on
is
this?
dangerous proves.
Wait, work answered. Work did say. I believe work did say he agreed on that.
You agree?
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, the vehicle, as soon as she started going forward, was a threat. Here's the problem, Martae.
Yes.
At the beginning of this whole debate, you already acknowledged he fired when he was already out of the path of the vehicle. You said he fired after.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you said he fired. It wasn't a threat anymore because
and then he got hit.
No, Martae, you said the vehicle wasn't a threat because he got hit already. That was your wording.
The vehicle wasn't a threat to him after he was injured and hit by the vehicle.
But the shots were fired after he was already out of the path of the vehicle. And we saw that in the video. You can see his arm is to the side, his feet are to the
hold on.
side.
You just justified the shooting by saying that he was shooting before he got hit. And when he got hit, all those shots were justified. And could you believe that panic fire happens in stressful situations? Do you believe that this happened?
I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying he fired when he was already out of the path of the vehicle.
He didn't.
And you even
so
he got hit first. Wait, let me just paint a quick picture, Martae. Here's what I think is more likely. He got hit with the car, which we all see that he did get hit with the car, right? And he says he has bruises. Okay, he has bruises on his leg. Okay, and then he says, "Oh, fucking bitch" or something, right? Oh, I'm sorry, I don't. That's TOS. I'm not sure.
No, it's not TOS. We all curse when we get hit.
Fine.
If I almost die, I'm gonna probably say the same thing.
So what would you say is more probable? That he shot after, like you said, after because he got hit with the car. He's like, "Oh, this bitch just hit me!" Bang, 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 bang. Or he was like, "Oh my god, I'm in fear for my life. Let me try to cross the pan. What's the word? I can't even speak right now, bro. I'm trying to cross the plane of the vehicle to get to the other side, putting myself in danger. And then I'm so fearful that I have to fire at the lady, even though I never make an attempt to run out the way of the vehicle." Which one is more probable?
You're building a false binary saying that the only two things can happen, which is a false binary, and I can explain why. So what happened in the situation was, if you look at the line of trajectory where the bullet entered, if he was on the side of the vehicle and he was out of the way, why is the bullet entering the front windshield and not the side?
Well, we saw his hand in that video Victor showed. You can see his hand is coming from the side of the vehicle, not the front of the vehicle.
Then why is the bullet coming from entering from the front and not the side?
Yeah, so that's a good question. If you actually look at where the bullet goes through the vehicle, it's angled. So it's not. Yeah, but it's not going straight into the front. It's angled to the side of the front.
No, hold on. It goes straight through the front at the driver. It hit its target. Where else was the bullet supposed to go besides the target? Where does the person sit in reference to where the location of the windshield is? To the left, right? That's where drivers sit. Where did the bullet enter? The driver's side, hitting her directly, right?
Martae, it entered the windshield at the front of the car, but on the very side of the front of the windshield.
No, Martae, is it side? If we talk about the front, that's the driver's side.
Okay.
In the front.
Martae, let me ask you a quick question. Is it possible to shoot into the windshield without standing in front of the windshield?
That would be hard to articulate the weapon that way. It'd be tough to do that.
Is it possible? Is it possible to shoot into a windshield without being in front of the car?
It's extremely improbable. The odds are probably like 1 in a billion.
All the way up to 150 degrees. All the way up to 150
That's extremely improbable. No, the physics on that don't even make any sense.
All the way like this.
Yes,
these shots will hit it.
So when we're talking about possibility and probably, you've already agreed that the bullet went through the front of the windshield, the driver's side. So if a bullet's going to enter, hold on. If a bullet's going to hit the driver, where else would it hit the driver to justify just stopping a vehicle?
That's why the second and third bullets came through the window, because she had already turned. Like that's what.
Right. You never even answered the question when I talked about the panic fire. So back to this: when the bullet had first entered the vehicle from the trajectory of the driver's side,
by the way,
where else?
Not going to argue for that.
to stop the operation of a vehicle, where else was the bullet supposed to enter other than the driver's side hitting its target in the front windshield? Where else did it enter besides that? Because we could see that. That's physics.
Manar just told you it also entered through the driver's side window.
So no, the initial shot by the officer who was hit. We're talking about that. Let's get to that before we can move on to the next.
There's no other shots.
So now he just basically contradicted yourself. He's now saying there's no other shots.
No. I think.
Hey, hold on. Manar just contradicted you. He said there's no other shots.
Bro, this guy's retarded. He doesn't know what I'm saying.
He's saying, yeah, Martae. Martae, you cause a lot of confusion because you try to.
Manar is because he's contradicting you during this whole debate.
Roid rage or something.
Yeah, look,
calm down, bro.
We're all friends here. We're all friends, you know. Even though we're breaking kayfabe, right, for the audience, but we're all friends. Here's the thing, Martae. The officer, Manar was saying that the only one officer fired his weapon. That's the point Manar was saying. But going back to what you're saying,
that's not what he said.
That is what
you're adding in context that Manar never did. But yeah, I mean, I understand you're trying to help him out. He needs all the help he can get. But continue.
That's literally what I was trying to say.
Oh, wait, the same guy that said cars can be decapitated. Go ahead.
No.
The same guy that said guns can also be decapitated. Go ahead.
Yeah, you stopped the guy holding the gun. That's a decapitated. Like,
Manar, how can you decapitate a car? Is it like
is it really hard to understand figure of speech? Like you really can't.
There is no figure of speech that says that cars can be decapitated because cars don't really have a head.
All right, man. All right.
Well, Martae, here's your problem.
This is wild.
But here's how we can prove that the person put it. Here's how we can justify our whole scenario that we brought forth, which is the fact that this is officer-induced jeopardy. Is the fact that this is not the first time this guy got hit with a vehicle. He got hit.
Really, I had no idea.
Yeah, 6 months prior, he also got hit with a vehicle. So we know his modus operandi is to basically
murder the guy.
That doesn't prove modus operandi. It just proves habit sometimes, but it doesn't prove motive.
No, it showcases he has experience in understanding
how
much damage he can get from a vehicle.
So here's the problem with this. The thing that
when I say he picked the right position to stop at, that showcases that he had experience of getting hit from these vehicles. And he knows exactly where to reduce the damage. Yeah.
No, this is a fallacious argument.
Manar made a good point, bro.
So hold on, this destroys your whole argument right now, and I'll tell you why.
Actually did this before.
So I've been on plenty of use of force meetings.
I never finished it, bro. I never finished my argument. So how can you destroy it, bro?
I've been on plenty of use of force boards and seen plenty of use of force boards. I've been involved in this because anytime we use of force, there's always a 601 or internal investigation that happens afterwards. So when the public has an outcry saying this needs to be investigated, trust me, it's investigated heavily interdepartmentally to where our director basically is on a panel and you're like judge and jury and we're almost being felt like we're guilty, even though we're proven right. So
the guy that was just fired?
So hold on. No, he's not fired. So here's the problem with that. The reason why we have 601 investigations is to prevent liability. Hold on real quick. The reason why we have internal investigations is to prevent liabilities from creating lawsuits that jeopardize the department thousands of dollars and puts us out of funding.
Yeah, great point.
And defunds the police department.
Hold on.
I'm almost done.
Hold on, Manar.
Taking our civil rights away from us. We have to challenge them.
Martae's almost done.
I'm almost done. The reason why we have 601s in investigations internally is to eliminate liability. So if you're saying that this guy has a motive, Mr. Work saying that his modus operandi is putting himself in front of vehicles, costing the department thousands of dollars, making a liability. The department has decided that he's not, and that is not his modus operandi from doing this. He's been cleared of investigations of the past to do this in the beginning. Now, there is another internal investigation that happens. The investigation cleared him. So interdepartmentally, he's already been cleared. So the public court of opinion is the only opinion that you have right now because he's been cleared, showing that he defended his life and it's justified. How can you prove that to be wrong? Because right now I'm still waiting for justification.
All right, guys. Wait, that's not. Here we go. Wait, why is it on why is it on Manar? Okay, listen, guys. The hour is officially over. However, we spent most of it, if not all of it, on the Renee Good shooting. I'm willing to go a little bit longer if you guys want to go another half hour so you guys could get into the Alex Preddy shooting. We could do that, or we could end the debate. It's up to you guys.
Yeah, we can do another 20 minutes. It's fine. Do you guys want to do another 20? We can do.
Hold on. I don't want to get off. I don't want to get off Renee Good. Maybe we can do Alex Preddy on Manar's channel or something. But I think Renee Good
now. I'm fine with ending it now if you want to. That's fine.
Oh no, Renee Good. Hold on, I want to destroy Martae. I haven't finished the
You
Renee
haven't
Good
destroyed
situation.
it, so you're saying you want to destroy it. Thus, it hasn't been destroyed. You basically proved your.
That's a good point.
You
That's
just
a good point. I want
contradicted yourself right now again, bro. Go ahead.
I want to add to the destruction of it. I want to add to the
Oh,
destruction
you're
of
adding
it.
to the I can't wait to hear this addition of destruction. Let's go.
So here's the thing, Martae. You and I both know that if you were to ask officers how often they get involved in like actual shootings and stuff, it's somewhat of a rare occurrence. Not every officer gets involved in like a shooting. If you were to ask an officer how often they've been hit with a vehicle, that's also a rare occurrence. It's not like every officer is getting hit with a vehicle. But what are the chances that an officer gets hit with the vehicle 2 times within 6 months?
Okay, I'll address that right now. So the reason why is because during the Trump administration,
unless
can I answer this
directs
question?
his behavior, unless he directs his work.
Can
in
I
an
answer
unprofessional
Mr.
way,
Work's question first?
Go ahead.
Because you guys are just going to try to shotgun right now.
The other
Mr. Work
theory is that he is incapable or
lacks training. Manar, you said I can go ahead, and you're not letting me go ahead. So, Mr. Work, the odds are actually increased during the Trump administration during this rollout because I would say BPC wasn't enforced then, and ICE agents weren't having the support of their department beforehand. But now that we've had these localized militia of operating on Signal app groups following ICE agents around, those odds increase substantially, and we could see this through the chat logs of Signal and everything else. Matter of fact, Renee Good was following people around with her car and her vehicle, thus increasing the chances of officers getting hit substantially when she's parking in from spaces, not moving, and causing an obstruction to justice.
Irrelevant to the justification of the case at hand.
Hold on, you're interrupting. You're not going to listen to my argument unless I state this uninterrupted. The chances increase if we have protesters now that are parking their vehicles. Matter of fact, Vic just showed this on his channel of people creating stop pathways where they're checking IDs and doing all this, creating more obstructions to daily citizens than anything else. The obstructions increase substantially when they're involving more vehicles than ever in this administration.
That actually works against your case. It showcases that
I'd love to hear this.
No, let me finish. How? Holy shit! Calm down. Holy shit! It showcases that the officers were told and know that there's this particular behavior of these people trying to obstruct or trying to be in the way.
They are.
They should be vigilant of this instead of escalating and trying to attack these people and arrest them and put them in jail. They should be vigilant of this and try to work with these people instead.
They shouldn't try to arrest them and put them in jail.
Working against you. It showcases that they
shouldn't. Wait, no, you said they shouldn't arrest them and put them in jail?
Plotting for this.
Wait, hold on, Manar. You said they instead of putting them in jail and arresting them, so they shouldn't arrest them and put them in jail if they're creating obstructions?
They're American citizens. Why would you put them in jail if they're not doing a crime?
No, obstruction of an investigation or justice is a crime. You realize that, right?
There was no obstruction. You can protest.
Wait, no, hold on. She was sitting in her vehicle obstructing pathways, and also Alex Preddy was waving cars through a investigation scene during the whole time. Those are all obstructions.
So he's obstructing because he's ample ways away, standing and just making
waving vehicles through an investigation, a fact-finding investigation. Yes, that's obstruction.
So if you're standing next to an officer that's doing an investigation, and I say something, I'm obstructing him now.
If there's an active investigation and you're waving cars through, officers are not allowing this to happen. That's obstructing justice.
Hey, look, he's got him. And I say, hey, look, guys, he's got him. Look how he's holding him. Is that obstruction?
If you're waving cars through an active fact-finding investigation without officers telling, hold on.
Hey guys, come.
Manar. If you're waving cars through an active fact-finding investigation, is that helping officers?
I'm asking, is that obstruction of the arrest?
Yes.
Am I a felon?
It's obstruction of investigation, not necessarily an arrest. If an investigation, it's the same thing. It's still a crime. So answer my question because I answered yours now. Is Preddy waving cars through an active investigation helping officers?
So you're
not going to answer the question.
No, we know the state of mind of Preddy.
Can you answer the question? We don't know the state of mind of Preddy. Can you answer the question?
Anything? Can I answer any of your questions without you interrupting me?
You're not answering the question. Answer the specific question I asked.
Let me finish answering.
Go ahead.
Alex Preddy, we know why he's actually doing, and we justified his state of mind. This is his experience as an ICU nurse. One of the most difficult situations to be a nurse at. He sees he's extremely responsible of people's lives all the time. We understand his state of mind and why he thought he was responsible to help people's to come in safely and out safely and to try to, as best as possible, keep everything intact. Absolutely. We understand why he was there. We understand that he was there to help people. We understand now we can justify why he actually was doing all of this because of his career choices.
So hold on,
We can justify why the cops are the ones arresting him.
Let me answer this. So when he was there, this still doesn't answer my question. I don't care about his career. I can be a life-saving firefighter. That doesn't explain.
But I'm telling
that
you,
doesn't answer the question.
He's not obstructing. He's there to
Manar,
help people because of the just.
Can you answer the question? That doesn't answer my question. When Alex Petty was waving cars through,
there's no investigation.
I guess I can't answer the question.
He's not obstructing anything. That's why.
Manar, answer the fucking question. So hold on. When Alex Petty was there waving cars through an active fact-finding investigation, was that helping officers during the investigation?
You can whistle, you can blow, you can stand next to them. That's not obstruction.
No, that doesn't answer my question. Can you answer the specific question?
I'm not supposed to help you, you fucking federal agents. Who the fuck am I to help you?
I'm an ex-federal agent, but can you answer the question? That's not helping me. I'm trying to help you.
Why
help
am I
yourself.
helping you? What am I helping? How am I supposed to
If
help
Alex
you?
Petty is waving cars through a fact-finding investigation, is that to help the officers out?
It's to keep his community in check. This is his community.
No,
this
that doesn't answer the
okay. Federal officers
this is a
that show
yes
up
or
from
no.
out of state.
This is a yes or no
We
answer.
understand his state of mind. This is what he does in his city. This is he's gone on these drives before. His job
title is not a correlation of his state of mind. Manar,
to help his community. It's clear. This is his number one state of mind.
Manar, like I said, his job title isn't a correlation to his state of mind.
He's not worried about the federal enforcers as long as they're not hurting his civilians, his citizens, his fellow neighbors.
Mr. Word, can you answer the question because Manar can't? Is Alex Petty waving cars through an active fact-finding investigation supposed to help the officers out?
How is that enough? How is that an obstruction of justice?
Information there to make an actual determination. Because if he was
hold on. Was Alex Petty there to assist officers at the time, or was he basically a burden on officers?
Somebody down and there's an arrest.
Which one was he? Which one was he?
To be honest, I didn't look into the Alex Petty thing too much.
I did. So when he showed up, he was an obstructionist. He wasn't there to help officers at all. He actually delayed progress.
Down out of the 15, 20 feet away from the cops.
Yeah, he's waving cars through an active investigation. That's actually slowing and impeding progress.
There was no investigation. Nobody was getting arrested.
No. Do you need to arrest people to have an investigation?
You can't just say you can't just stand up straight and say there's an investigation.
Can you have an investigation without arrest, Manar?
You can't just exist and say I'm existing in my investigation. Anywhere I go, there's an investigation. You have to be investigating something.
You can. Anytime you can do this without an arrest. You can have an investigation without an arrest.
Police officer all the time are investigating anything they want.
Yeah, we can investigate anything we want to, mostly, yes.
Yeah, they can make consensual stops. But here's the thing, Martae
doesn't know the law or anything like that. But anyways, let's work ahead.
How is he obstructing any investigation? I'm not understanding this.
He's waving cars through.
All right, guys. Listen. So yeah, we're gonna go do the closing right now. Let's do the closing.
Yeah, we'll do it,
and then we'll do the Q&A. And you know what? If we get like 3 more super chats, I'll open up the panel and we could continue this discussion there. How about that, guys?
Yeah, we'll do it. I'm down for that. Let's do closing.
Super chats, guys.
All right.
Hey, cool. I'll end last. Matter of fact, I'll let them go first and be a gentleman here.
All right, let me get the clock ready.
You want me to go first?
Last since you went first. Don't we go last since you went first, Martae? We get last word.
No, I'll go last because I went first the last time. I'll switch it up.
Yeah, they go first.
Not how it works.
Yeah, I'll let you guys go first. Yeah,
you guys go first because you guys went second. So whichever one of you two want to start, I'll start the timer.
You want me to go work or?
Yeah, you can go, Manar. You got it, bro.
All right, thanks so much, Q, for allowing us to be here today. Me and work humiliated IFBB Pro Martae Aurelius. I don't know about his older accolades. The HSI, Homeland Department of Intelligence and Justice, or whatever you want to. The investigator, the ex-cop. Now we understand why these cops are freaks. They're all injecting some kind of drugs of some sort. I don't know what it is that they do in their police force career, and then afterwards you can see that the effects maintain. Oh no, sorry. This is all chicken and rice. I apologize. Anyway, so let's continue here. He's the IFBB chicken and rice guy. So here's what happened today, guys. This guy came and claimed that there was 100% justification to murder the American citizen by this federal agent that came out of the city that doesn't exist in the city. He's an out-of-state federal agent that doesn't belong to this community. He's got a job to do. He's got to go and handle business somewhere else. Americans also have jobs to do, and they decide that they're and also have rights that they can, as long as they're following the law, that they are upholded and have. And this law enforcement constitutional civil cases have not. This is not the first time that this has happened. We have a precedent of law enforcement destroying the Constitution, using unconstitutional behavior all the time. We have precedents of this. We have Supreme Court cases that went against many prominent arrests and disgusting behavior that we've seen for many cases. Case in point, very recently, the biggest one, Floyd Mayweather, or not Floyd, what's his name? Derek Chauvin, the guy that sat on George Floyd's neck and killed him. The cop believed that he was completely justified. Turns out that it was unconstitutional for him to have that knee. So this is an important thing, that you can't just have this random ex-police officer come and say, I've done investigations before, guys, I know what I'm doing. No, it doesn't matter if you're a police officer. You could be still wrong. We need to investigate this. This is against our we have a constitutional Bill of Rights. We have constitutional duties that you guys have to uphold, and we have to weigh if you guys are actually upholding these duties at the cost of our constitutional rights. And that's the number one thing that civil law lawyers work on. And so this is something that has a huge precedent. There's a business of this, that these cops use and abuse the laws and the Constitution against people. And today there's another case that we showcased me at Work Academics. This federal agency using ICE, and God forbid, the next one is going to be the anti-Semitic ASI, the ASI. The ASS investigation group. This is the federal force that will go against all anti-Semitic attacks and will absolutely stop any anti-Semitic behavior. Absolutely, next federal case, next federal law behavior is going to come. This is the next agency, guys. Anyways, so it was very important for us to discuss the actual constitutional agency that these people have and the ability for them to do what they need. That's why I went to the U.S. Department of Justice's Justice Manual. I looked into their use of deadly force manual, and I looked at their sections, and there's nothing in there that justified the shooting of Nicole Renee Good, except if that officer, and it's the only one, there's no other officer that believed their life was in reasonable imminent danger. Martae has to concede that. And that only officer that had the reasonable suspicion of his life being in imminent danger had ample time to get out of the way, which is according to the 1-16.200 use of deadly force and prohibited restraint techniques. Section 2, the firearms may not be discharged solely to disable moving vehicles. Specifically, firearms may not be discharged at a moving vehicle unless a person in the vehicle is threatening the officer or so it's in section 2. The whole actual section 2 is about firearms may not be discharged solely to disable moving vehicles, and then they give certain rulings for it. The only time you're allowed to do that is a person in the vehicle is threatening the officer or another person with deadly force by means other than the vehicle, which Nicole Renee did not have any guns or any other people on her that were threatening. And the vehicle is operated in a manner that threatens to cause death or serious physical injury to the officer or others, and no other objectively reasonable means of defense appear to exist, which also includes, what's the mean of defense? Includes moving out of the path of the vehicle, because the officer had ample time to get out of the path of the vehicle, and he's the only way the person that had the reasonable threat, showcasing that there was no imminent threat. Yeah, there's no imminent threat in Nicole Good's side. She was not threatening. Other officers understood that she was fleeing, which is why they did not pull their weapons. The only officer that tried to justify the shooting is the one that stayed ahead did not move out of the way. Even though she was backing, there was evidence of her backing. He had ample time to get out of the way, which is according to his policy he has to do. Instead, he decided to stop moving in order to pull his gun, in order to scare her or try to stop her, which was against the policy. Showcases that the federal agent is either ill-trained or he was going against the policy, which got him in that threatening position, which ended Renee's life, which is an absolute sham. And we got to attack this. We got to stop this from happening.
All right. Thank you very much, Manar. Work, whenever you're ready, I'll begin.
I haven't even gotten to Alex Preddy, but okay, whatever.
How much time is it? Is it a 5 minute?
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Okay, I'm ready. You can start it.
All right,
so I want to thank you for having me and Manar here. I think me and Manar clearly destroyed Martae and Kolvik, and it was a pleasure doing so.
I agree.
With that being said,
I didn't know.
I also want to say that this was kind of impromptu. I didn't have time to kind of gather some evidence that I would have loved to present. One was, I know this is not fair either to bring now, but one was a situation in which a cop was trying to quote unquote go fisticuffs with the person, and he says, "Oh, I'll put my belt away. We can just fight it out." And then his partner comes up, and it creates a situation in which the cop wanted to fight a civilian because the guy was disrespecting him, and did it as a civilian. But when his partner came, he was trying to tase the guy who went fisticuffs with him. His partner could have pulled his gun out and shot the guy, and it would have been justified because the cop's life is now in danger. And the cop is the one who put himself in that situation by telling the other guy to go hands on and fisticuffs with him because he wanted to brawl with him. So it's one of those things when the government says that something's justified, we should always give it a second review because we never want to put ourselves in a situation to normalize a government being able to delete its citizens. With that being said, take Martae's conclusion here, or his whole synopsis here, into consideration. Martae said, well, the threat was over after the guy already got hit with the car. This is the second time the guys got hit within 6 months. So it's one of those things, well, why does this guy keep getting hit with cars? It's not normal for police officers to get hit with cars. The reason it's happening is because he positions himself in a way to use his body as an obstacle to try to get the driver to not proceed or move forward. So he's creating an obstacle for the driver, and he's therefore creating a situation in which if the driver progresses, she's therefore now forfeiting her life because he's created a situation of lethal force to be justified. So this is something Martae is championing, and he's saying, yeah, you know, if you're in a car and the cop's in front of you, you pose a threat to the officer, he now has right to execute you. So, but think about it in a different situation. If a cop pulls you over and he's trying to write you a speeding ticket, and he walks in front of your vehicle, you are now in control of a vehicle, and the cop can say, well, you know, my life is at danger now. He's operating a vehicle and I'm in the path of the vehicle. Therefore, I can just pull out my gun and execute this person. It's one of those things where it's a very gray and dangerous area. We should always, as citizens, you know, ask more of our government when it comes to protecting us. We've seen this with the Bundy Ranch where, and I brought this up on Grids before, where basically the Bundy Ranch was a whole bunch of people on the ranch pointing rifles at federal agents. And the federal agents would have been justified in mowing down the whole ranch. But it's called, you know what it's called? It's called restraint, and it's called judgment and discretion. Because yes, they had a right to kill everybody on Bundy Ranch because they were pointing rifles at them. But they didn't because it poses an optics nightmare. It poses a Waco situation. And just because you could do something doesn't necessarily mean you should do something. And that's the problem with the officer. Putting himself in the vehicle, in front of the vehicle, did he have quote unquote legal justification to execute the driver? You can say, well, yeah, he put himself in the vehicle. The driver, as soon as she started moving, he could have executed it. And Martae already said, well, yeah, he got hit after, or the threat was over after he got hit, and he actually fired after he got hit. You can see his arm in that still frame there is coming out to the right. His feet are to the right of the, or to the, you can see it in the vehicle. He's not in the path of the vehicle. There was no justification for lethal force. However, he still carried out lethal force. Martae's use of the fatal funnel was inaccurate, and that's not how the fatal funnel is typically used. It's typically to describe doorways or entries into buildings. Saying a fatal funnel in an open area makes no sense. Martae also said the cop was maimed by the vehicle. That's also definitely that's also factually untrue. The cop was not maimed by the vehicle. Internal bleeding typically involves blood flowing into a cavity. There's no cavity in your leg for blood to collect in. So what Martae is actually referring to is bruising, which is damaged capillary beds, which technically are bleeding internally, but it's bruising. On top of that, bro, we won, bro. I don't know what else to say. Like, should I keep going, or how much time?
Damn, bro, amazing. His argument is totally different than mine. Like his actual argument completely different than mine. Wow.
I want to thank Martae for giving me my first debate and my first win at the same time. Vic, hold on, I gotta say that again because you interrupted me. I want to thank Martae for giving me my first debate and my first win at the same time. Thank you, Martae. Thank you, Vic, for that. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Martae.
All right, awesome. All right, thank you very much for your closing. So, Martae, when
nice,
you're
guys.
ready, I will begin.
Okay, I want to do this uninterrupted and unimpeded and obstructed, like I was talking about with Manar, especially if you can maybe mute him just for a second, but that's up to you. And if you can use this discretion that the officer is allowed to use, according to Mr. Work, we can talk about discretion all day long. It sets a bad precedent when officers can't make discretionary determinations upon when to use force with an imminent threat in front of them. You compare the Waco case to this. You can point a rifle at somebody and still not shoot. That's discretionary. We have to have that gray area, I would say, segue to where we can determine whether or not to use force or not. That's our own impotence to use action or inaction if we want to or not. If the officer had not shot, he still would have been justified not to shoot. If he did shoot, he would have been justified because he did get hit with the vehicle. Now, when you're talking about the word maimed, definitionally, maimed is wound or injured. So that could be a wound, right? A wound could be bruising, things like this. That is a wound. If you look at the definition of wound, this could be internal bleeding. So when you say, no, it's inaccurate, that it's not internal bleeding, that's literally what the Department of Justice came out with and said internal bleeding. So that could be a wound as well too, thus maimed. So definitionally, I'm correct on that. So, and then when Manar says things like, you can only shoot a vehicle according to the statute if it's fleeing from you. Well, the vehicle wasn't fleeing him. It was directionally, I would say, moved towards him because the wheels were then positioned towards him after it backed up. So also he's wrong in the law when we say this too. So when he says things and utters things like, well, he should have shot afterwards and shouldn't have shot afterwards and all this, like, I don't know what he's saying in this whole debate, but here's one thing I will say. When the officer was walking around, people tend to freeze up during the time and have panic fire. So when the officer was walking around the vehicle, it was to get fact-finding information, like recording the vehicle's license plate. I would say our department needs to get more information and intel. That's why they were walking around the vehicle to get more information. Now, when the vehicle did spin back in reverse and the guy froze, we happen to freeze and have a deer in headlights movement. This happens in immediate circumstances when we have imminent threats posed toward us. The vehicle was an imminent threat. So when these two are saying, well, he wasn't justified to shoot, even though he was hit, well, the fact that he was hit shows that the vehicle was a threat. Now, this could have been a worse situation. The officer could have died because I did show, and Vic actually had his jaw drop. I looked at this visually when he saw the officer fly in the other vehicle by being hit with the vehicle. He flew, and I was just like dumbstruck when I saw this too. That could have happened to the other officer if he didn't move. So when they say that he didn't have enough time, it's like, he got hit. That proves that he didn't have enough time to move out of the way, but also that justifies why he was able to have a clean shot. We didn't move on to the Alex Preddy case, which they would have been destroyed on this. Here's the problem with Mr. Work's analysis. When he does talk about this case and says that I did win this case and he got destroyed and all this, notice, chat, I want the chat to also look at this, how I'm not saying I won or lost on this, because this is a very subjective analysis that we're giving. This has already been proven that the officer was justified in his shoot by his own inter-department analysis, by them doing a fact-finding investigation on this. Otherwise, the officer would have been charged. He wasn't charged, which proves that he was justified and cleared of the shoot. So back to this, since we're doing this fact-finding thing, he's doing the same thing he's doing with this debate and saying, I'm going to use a 2020 analysis from the Waco case and everything else instead of the officer's perception on whether this was a justified shoot. We need to look at this from the officer's perception and not the video, because if this was the case, Graham versus Connor, which happened in California, wouldn't have been a thing, which disproves his analysis of this case that happened. USC 811 would not 1111 would not be a thing if this wouldn't have happened. So here's the thing, though, Mr. Work, I know this is your first debate, but wait till the poll comes out and wait till the court of public opinion comes out with this finding and all this decision before you jump to conclusions, which you did during this whole debate. I'll wait for Mr. Vic to come up with the conclusion of the poll and says what the poll voted afterwards. But already the car is proven to be a weaponization against the officer because he had internal bleeding and did get hit. So to me, that's a justification already. And we need to look at this once again through the officer's perception and not through the video's perception, because in the court case, they'll say, well, the video shows this. Well, we have to get the justification of articulation of why he had to act in the case of his imminent threat and get his verdict, which was proved interdepartmentally. The officer wasn't fired and let go or put on unpaid leave. He was cleared, which proves my whole case anyways. But even in the court of public opinion, we're going to see after this debate and find out what the poll comes up with the analysis, since you said that you won this debate. But I conclude my time.
All right. Thank you very much, Martae. Thank you guys once again for doing this tonight, and thank you for being here. It was a pretty good debate. Hopefully everyone was entertained. Thank you guys very much. So now without further ado, let's open up the Q&A. So let's begin. Let's see. All right. Postal Joe for $10. Martae proved his argument with the videos he played. Manar and Work just asserted things like intent, but no real argument based off of the facts. Thanks for the debate. Do any of you guys have anything to respond?
Yeah, I have something I want to add there. So, wait, give me 1 second. I'm sorry. So my thing is, it was kind of impromptu, so I didn't have any displays for myself. So, I am taking a handicap. I just want to throw that out there. On top of that, the polls fixed. Everybody knows Venezuela has bots that votes in these polls, so I'm not accepting of the actual outcome of the polls.
You hear that, Vic? You got bots in your chat all of a sudden. Somehow.
Apparently I do. Venezuelan bots. All right. Didn't know that.
Just to respond to Postal Joe, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, you ugly old fat donut eating, pig eating man. I presented case from the U.S. Department of Justice Manual of Use of Deadly Force, and 1-16.200, where it showcases clearly you don't have an ability to stop a fleeing vehicle by shooting her, except in certain scenarios where you believe your life is in imminent danger. Because of this, I'm saying that there's no justification for the shooting. I'm showcasing how no other officer believed there was reasonable imminent danger. No other officer had this suspicion happening in front of them. No other officer pulled their weapon. The only officer that did is an officer that War Academics was able to show. He showcases the precedent of this person putting himself in the dangerous way to try to justify these difficult situations. Maybe the guy wanted to get easy money. I don't know. Maybe the guy heard that if he gets injured, and that he's going to go on a medical leave for the rest of his life. I don't know.
Okay, can I respond real quick?
I just don't understand why you wouldn't get out of the way and believe that shooting your weapon is going to be safer than walking one more step to the right. I just don't understand how this guy is going to justify that. This doesn't make sense. If you're really scared and fearful for your life, you have ample time to get out of the way. Move. Why you got to shoot this person? If everybody believed was IFBB, because this guy is such a scared, because he's going to be scared when he's in front of me. You think he's IFBB, Martae is going to stand in front of me and he's not going to be terrified? Not going to be terrified. He might be able to justify his removing my life. Does that mean that we're going to allow it to him?
Manar.
No, he he has ample time to get out of the way of my danger. Of the danger and the threat that possess to him, he has to do that.
Hold on.
Martae, answer that. Would you try lethal force when you see Manar because you're scared of him, bro?
What would you do?
Hold on, can I answer his previous gish gallop that he said? So here's the problem with this. When Manar utters things that don't make any sense, he'll cite things and say, well, the officer didn't have time, but the fact that the officer did get hit proves that he didn't have time. Now, here's the other problem with this whole case is like...
Martae, hold on. That's false, though, because he could have had time and just stood there, right? Let's say he had like 10 seconds and he just stood there.
No,
he would have gotten hit.
Here's the problem, though, too. Is Manar's also hold on, Manar. Manar, you're also assuming the mind of the person by saying the intent when you haven't demonstrated the intent. That makes no sense at all. You realize that, right?
Presented an argument for the intent. He showcased that there's a precedent for
behavior doesn't always show intent.
The guy disappeared from the scene.
Unless he's self-deletion orientated or wants to be self-deletion, live the life of self-deletion. I don't understand this. You haven't proved that at all.
Presented a very compelling argument, showcased that this guy puts himself in danger.
So he wanted to self-delete himself for what reason? You're not still showing the intent that he wanted to cause harm to himself.
Maybe he heard that he would make a lot of money because he knew that
federal investigation. Maybe is carrying a lot of weight here. When you use the words like maybe and if, that's speculation.
I don't know.
You're not demonstrating that.
Don't know. Me and you, we agree he had ample time to get out of the way.
No, he didn't. He got hit.
That's why he's supposed to.
He got hit. He didn't have time. He got hit, bro.
Because he stopped moving. Why did he stop moving? You agree with me?
Because hold on, Manar. If we're in a life and death situation, sometimes we can have a deer in headlights moment and we freeze. That's human nature, correct?
So because he put himself in danger and
can you answer that?
Away in ample time. Now he's actually
hold on. He froze. He froze because he didn't have time. Sometimes in a life or death situation, we can have a deer in headlights moment, right?
One more step, there would not be imminent danger to justify the shoot.
Wait, hold on. So you're putting the onus of her to have the authority to make the better decision and not the officer?
You agree with me? If he stepped one more step to the right, there would.
He didn't have enough time. He got hit.
But I'm just saying, if he didn't move,
he didn't have enough time. He got hit.
Oh, so you're the only one that actually allows to ask.
Oh, and then here's the other
questions. I'm
fallacy.
asking you, what did you eat in this morning? Did you eat any breakfast?
So, chat, I want you
Can
to
you
pay
answer
attention
any
to Manar's
hypotheticals?
argument. Manar
Martae,
says
did you-
Manar
how would
says
you
that
feel
the officer he shot was the only one who felt.
No, War Academic, let's get this clear.
Hold on,
If
hold
he
on,
stepped
hold on.
one more footstep to the right, would
Hold
there
on,
be
hold
an
on.
identifiable, reasonable justification for the shooting?
Manar, you just made a fallacy right now. You said the only officer who felt.
You see, War Academics,
Hold on.
you see if he stepped one more step to the
Manar,
right,
Manar.
shooting would not be justified.
This is a fallacy. You said that the only person who felt like his life was in imminent danger pulled his gun out, but the other officers didn't pull their gun out. Why is that,
there's
Manar?
no
Why didn't
reasonable
anybody?
suspicion of
Because their
imminent
life
danger
wasn't in
then.
danger, right?
Wait, Vic.
Exactly.
It's
So you're
normal for them
showcasing
not
that
to
the
go to
only
shoot,
danger
right?
was the car, and you're showcasing. So I'm right. Everything I'm saying is right.
Oh, the
so
only person
danger is
in
the car.
imminent
No
danger
other
pulled their
officer
gun
believes
out,
there's
right?
reasonable imminent danger to their life. The only person is the one that's getting out of the way and
Which
stops all of a
proves
sudden
my
getting out.
point. He was in imminent danger. Thank you, Manar. You just proved my point.
That's why he stopped.
He was in imminent danger. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, work.
Yeah,
what do you
he
want
was
to
such imminent danger that he stopped moving and put himself because of fear, right?
Manar. I just want to say something because Martae keeps saying this, and logically this isn't true. Martae keeps saying him getting hit is proof that he didn't have time to move out the way. But logically, those two things don't follow, right? So if there's a car going down the road and you stand in the middle of the car and you don't move at all for 10 minutes and you get hit with the car, that doesn't mean that you didn't have enough time to move out the way of the car.
You're smuggling in 10 minutes. Now, you see what you're doing is disingenuous. He had 3 seconds.
He was backing.
I wasn't trying to be disingenuous.
No, that's fallacious, actually, on his face. He didn't even have enough time to move. He got hit.
I'm proving a point that him getting hit is not evidence of him not having enough time.
No, that is evidence. So if a bullet hits me, I don't have enough time to move out of the way, right?
But Martae, if our argument is that he positioned himself like that, you saying, well, he got hit is proof.
In Tim Pool's analysis of the video, both of them position themselves in the way of this. So here's the problem with that. Hold on.
That's a logical fallacy.
Not to move the vehicle was to pull forward.
All right. Okay. Hold on.
Just being a direct order, bro. Yeah.
Tim Pool is not an expert. We want to.
All right. Okay. Look, let's just move on to the next question. All right.
I didn't know Tim Pool was God. What is this Tim Pool? Is he an officer?
No, that's the video.
Than Tim Pool.
We were appealing to the video that we saw. Yeah.
You have better appeal of authority than Tim Pool. Why are you appealing to?
We're appealing to me and him are both appealing to the video, not to each other.
No, you're using Tim Pool's words, which is a propagandist.
You said Tim Pool said. That's what you said, Martae. You didn't say the video. From
Tim Pool's analysis of the video. We're both referencing the video that we were seeing.
So that's an appeal to Tim Pool, bro.
Well, that's an appeal to the video because third party were.
All right. Appeal to Tim Pool fallacy. All right. That's an appeal to Tim Pool fallacy. Let's move on. Isaac, for $10. Question for both Manar and Martae. When Officer Jonathan was in front of Good's car, had hand on her hood, prior to moving forward, did that qualify Section 2 of the U.S. Code Manar put forth? Thanks.
Yeah, so according to Section 2, the person only can stop and shoot to disable a moving vehicle only if a person in the vehicle is threatening the officer or another person with deadly force by means other than the vehicle. Or number 2, the vehicle is operated in a manner that threatens to cause death or serious injury to the officer or others, and no other objectively reasonable means
you just proved his point
appear to exist.
You just proved his point. Thank you.
Can I finish? I proved this point by making the statement.
Vic, I gotta piss. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Go get the fuck out of here, man. Let me finish a fucking word. So according to there was objectively reasonable means of defense that appears to exist, which is by getting yourself out of the vehicle. We saw the video that Martae played where the officer just stood in front of the vehicle after he saw the vehicle backing up. He had ample time to get out of the way. He stepped a couple of steps to get out of the way once he believed that he was, away from harm's danger enough to claim this fake injury. He stopped moving, pulled his gun, waited for the person to drive forward, and then shot her. There was like a whole 2 seconds before the person shot, and the officer actually was pushed by the car. Before the weapon was pulled and the officer shot. So when the officer pulled the gun, there was no danger at all. The girl was still backing up. He still had ample time. He decided to stop moving, and which is against the policy that I keep fucking reminding you guys of, which is because there's an objectively reasonable way to get out to defend yourself from the situation, because there's no other reasonable threat or violence except the card. You have to get out of the way of the card. That is the number. That is according to the policy. The officer fails to get out of the way of the car, even though he has ample time. No other officer believes there's reasonable suspicion of any imminent danger except the vehicle, which is why they don't try to stop it and shoot it.
So
showcasing that the only reason for there was a reasonable justification for the shooting is if you were standing in front of it. And I'm arguing that that guy stood in front of it against the policies and against logical conclusions of him. Why would you stand there and pull the gun if you have ample time to get out of the way? The policy says you need to get out of the way. So I'm saying the only other reason he would do that if he had the intention to harm himself or to justify the shooting. And that's how I'm reading into his mind, because he's doing something against the policy and the training that he was given.
So hold on. I'll address this real quick. Who has the authority here? Renee Good to drive off and disobey orders, or the officer telling her to stop?
She can evade.
Who's the authority in this situation? Renee Good or the officers?
She can evade arrest, and there's no. You cannot justify shooting her.
She can evade arrest. Hold on. You just said it right now. She's allowed to evade arrest.
Yes, she's allowed to evade arrest. As long as
hold on, you're setting a new precedent. So any criminal that's told to be detained is allowed to evade arrest?
No.
Wait, no. Manar said it. Manar said it. You're allowed to evade arrest, right?
Okay, let me see.
Thank you.
He's talking about the use of deadly force. No, Martae, he's talking about
Manar said this. Thank you,
Manar.
Manar.
About the evasive arrest for use of deadly force. You're not allowed to shoot somebody.
Was the onus on her to evade arrest, or was the onus on the officer to further detain her? Who has the authority here?
Who cares?
The officer
Who
has
cares?
the authority.
Who cares? Wait, hold on.
point.
So if we don't care, then
We're
officers no
talking
longer
about
have jurisdiction or
imminent
power.
danger. We're talking about imminent danger, not the authority of arrest.
No,
We're not talking about
because
that. We're talking about imminent danger.
if you have no authority, you create danger to public and officer safety. We need to be able to have authority and have a hierarchy of authority here.
This policy is not talking about arresting her.
No, hold on real quick.
Even if you are arresting, if
You
there's
just-
no other means of violence
No, hold
except
on.
the car, you cannot shoot
You
it
just
to disable the
justified
car.
her evading
You cannot
arrest.
shoot into the car.
You just
You
justified
can't
her
shoot
evading
into the
arrest.
car
That's
to
a bad
disable the
precedent.
car. You can't shoot into the car to disable.
No, hold on.
and
Let's
stop
go
it.
back to this. You just said that people can evade arrest if they're detained.
You're not allowed to shoot into the vehicle.
No,
and stop them by,
hold on. Let's
if they're
backtrack.
evading arrest, you're not allowed to do that, except
Let's
if they're
backtrack.
putting
That's a
danger
bad
to you.
precedence when you're allowing criminals to evade arrest. Is that true?
No, Martae.
Yes, you have to. You cannot shoot an evading
No,
criminal.
no,
That's
no,
against
no.
the policy of
You
use
just
of deadly
said
force.
when I asked you about this dichotomy of the officer having authority to tell her not to move when she's detained, and you're saying that she's allowed to evade arrest, you're taking away all the authority of the officer.
Yes.
That's creating more
Officers
jeopardization
may
and
use
safety to
force.
the officers.
Officers may use force only when no reasonably effective, safe,
No,
and
no,
feasible
that's not
alternative
Manar.
appears.
That's not what I'm
Manar,
talking about.
Manar, I got you. Martae, can I
asked
explain what
you
Manar
if
was
she's
saying?
allowed to evade arrest, and you said yes, she is.
Yes. Yeah, Martae. So here's what Manar was saying. When he said yes, she's allowed to evade, he means she's allowed to evade without the officer having justification to shoot her. He's talking about the.
That's not what I'm talking about. Let's say no.
I know, but that's what
Hold
he was
on.
talking about.
No,
That's what he was talking.
absent the shoot, is she allowed to evade arrest and disobey orders from an officer?
No, she's not allowed to disobey orders from an
Okay,
officer.
so if she's not allowed to disobey orders, do you think a Renee Good would still be alive if she followed orders?
But that's the thing.
Yeah, and the girl would not be
Right,
alive
okay,
if she
so
just
she would still be alive if she followed
Yes, I
orders.
agree.
Menard. You
You
guys just destroyed your whole fucking argument right there. All right,
bootlicker.
You're a trash
you
behavior.
guys
You're
are
a trash
cooked. That's it.
All right.
First of all, he says things that I
Let's move
said
on
that
to the next
I did
question.
not
You
say.
guys
I
just
don't know
got
how he
cooked, bro. That was
concludes it.
bad. That's bad.
Bro, comply or die. You literally said comply or die.
Let's move on to the next question, guys. All right.
I've never seen somebody put words into people's mouth like Martae. Holy shit! Can you calm down, Martae? I know
I'll
the
put some
roids
bacon
are
in your mouth,
raging
bro.
inside of you. Hear
All
what
right.
I'm saying, man. I'm not saying you can.
All right. Thank you.
I'm not telling people to run away from cops, and that's it.
Okay, Manar. Let's move on. You could save this energy for the open panel, but we're never going to get to the open panel if we linger on in these questions. Okay, bucket button for more because I hate myself, I guess. What? All right. Well, thank you very much, and also thank you very much, Isaac. Also, thank you very much, Isaac, for the $2. Ken for $10. It can't be murder if it was justified. Murder by definition, unjustified killing. They are just trying to frame ICE officers as power-hungry tyrants.
This is one of Martae's students. You should justify. You should murder. You can't. That means you actually are claiming that the shooting is not justified already by using the word murder. Calm down, bro. I'm just saying that she was homicided on the streets of her city by federal fucking agencies that are out of state, that came and claimed her life for what they believe was a justified, reasonable fear of their life, which is a complete load of bullshit. If anybody touches my mother like that, I'm coming after you. I don't give a fuck who you are.
Well, yeah,
I just want in the world, but let's continue.
I don't give a fuck who you
No,
are.
I
That's
got a comment.
crazy.
Cool.
We have
Well,
honor.
back
We
to the
have
topic.
honor. We're not Americans. We're not Americans. We don't cook ourselves to our daughters, boyfriends. I will murder whoever tries to fucking touch my mother. I will murder you.
Okay.
I don't care if you're
All
a
right.
federal officer.
Quick comment.
That's
Just want to add it.
Let's continue if we can.
Touch my mother like that.
Is that the arbiter of if it's justified or isn't justified would have been a jury, but since they didn't try it, then we actually don't know the.
This was tried internally. It has to pass a 601 investigation for the officer to still be cleared and be on duty.
Who is the ultimate arbiter of reasonable or justified? Who would be the ultimate arbiter?
We have an internal. We have an internal system for that, for sure.
The government wouldn't be able to be the ultimate arbiter if something's reasonable.
No, it is the arbiter, because what determines if the officer is allowed to stay on duty or not? Who determines that?
Well, so here's the thing, George Floyd. You would say George Floyd.
Answer the question. Who determines if the officer is allowed to still stay on duty or not?
Who determines that? The other officers, if they arrest them.
Not the other officers. Who determines this?
Yeah, if they're going to press charges, whatever entity would actually press charges on them.
No. Who determines this? Can you answer the question? I'll answer it for you.
Your question is who would determine if... Go ahead. Say it again for me.
So who would determine, because if you're saying that there is no arbiter, right? You're saying that there's no arbiter that is us, right? Who determines if the officer is still allowed to be employed and still be operating as an officer or agent during the time? Who determines this? Because I'll answer the question for you if you want me to.
Yeah, so that's a different question, but the answer to that question in particular would be his agency.
Right. So if the director clears him and he's cleared, does that not justify the fact that this was a good shoot because it's internally investigated by another entity separate from the agency?
No, it doesn't. Just because his agency justifies him to continue working doesn't mean the shooting was justified.
Okay, well, who besides the agency determines whether or not this officer should be employed still?
Yeah, exactly.
There isn't one.
It's only his agency. Exactly.
There isn't one.
Well, bro, his agency could know he actually murdered somebody and still continue to hire him. Like this, it doesn't mean that he didn't murder somebody.
Right, but hold on. Doesn't that still clear him and justify him if they say it's justified?
No, because Martae, I know situations
hold
which...
on. Does that still answer the question? If it's not justified, why would they continue to allow liability, thus siphoning billions of dollars through lawsuits on the agency's payroll? Why? Who would do
Martae,
that?
Why when he got hit with a car 6 months ago did they not take him off the street?
Because they determined that was justified.
So he got hit with a car again.
Thank you.
Now this guy has look. If he gets hit with a third car, I mean, at this point, we're beyond coincidences.
Yeah, but you aren't the arbiter of that. I would say the director in the panel of use of force panel would determine that, not you.
Martae, yes. Martae, I agree. The arbiter of if he's employed or not would be his agency. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the arbiter of who justifies if it's a justified killing or not.
The agency
would go to
does.
The people. That would go to the people, just like with George Floyd.
The reason why. So hold on. Who has the most knowledge and documentation of this case? Do you think the people or the agency with cameras and video and all this? The experts or the people?
So obviously the agency has the most.
The agency would still say that he had the impetus of employment still.
Manar, not Manar, man. Look, you see, you're frustrating me so much. I'm calling you Manar. Martae.
No, you don't have an answer for this. You're getting demolished here on this, on the justification for him still being employed.
Do you see how crazy it is that you're saying the agency he works for is the arbiter of deciding if he still gets to work for the agency? I acknowledge that. Yes, his agency gets to determine if he still works there. Even if he stole a candy bar and they had him on video, if they wanted to keep hiring him, yes, his agency could still...
They would determine whether or not it's justified or not. Would you, the public who's not involved and not there at the time and don't have all the evidence and prerequisite knowledge, determine whether or not he should still be employed?
No, I'm not saying that. Why are you talking about
Right.
employment?
So because he was cleared, that also helps my case to say that he was justified. They would not allow a liability to still be employed by the federal government.
That's not, but hold on, because that's even debunked. This guy got hit with a car twice. He's a liability at this point, right? Would you not say he's a liability?
Cleared and it was justified. Debunk that.
But Martin, look, there was a push previously to have cops actually get insurance, right? And the whole idea behind it is that if cops act recklessly, then an insurer wouldn't insure them, similar to car insurance, right? Like, so somebody's a bad driver and they get them into all accidents, then the insurance companies would insure them, and then that essentially take the person off the road, right?
Yeah, they would. And he would not be an officer anymore.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. So let's assume that was the case, and cops had to get insurance. This guy got hit with different cars twice within a period of 6 months. You think an insurance company would really say, "Yeah, this guy, we would keep insuring him. He's obviously in liability to this department, and his department still hires him."
So hold on, I'll give you a case scenario that happened. One time there was a suspect that reached for an officer's gun, and I went for the officer, and I was assaulted and hit in the nose by an elbow. This also happened. I got hit in the elbow 2 months after that during a different scenario where they reached for the officer's gun. Now, thankfully, we have like level 2 holsters that prevent people from pulling guns, and I got hit twice. Do you think they should have let me go or still kept me employed by the department because the situation happened?
Well, I mean, even if you get hit, that's not a justified level of lethal force, right?
No,
so somebody
the guy's using lethal force. He reached for a gun, and I stopped him from pulling the officer's gun. That's lethal force being enacted by the other person. He's attempting to use lethal force by pulling a gun.
Okay, my bad. Look, I didn't hear because you kind of said it really fast. You kind of got to talk.
Right. So in these circumstances, the officer was neglecting his duties, and he was in a fight for life while the guy was pulling the gun from the holster. He had a level 2 holster, which prevented the guy from pulling the firearm. I tried to stop them, and I had 2 bloody noses within 2 months from stopping a suspect from pulling a gun. This happened in my history twice. Do you think they should have let me go because I was in the same situation 2 months prior, back to back?
It was 2 months apart, but here's the thing. I don't think
this was a fight for life. People's lives were in danger, and I got assaulted twice. Do you think they should have let me go or fired me?
No, I don't think they should have let you go because they're not
equipped. Okay, let's move forward.
Wait. I think they should have. I think they should have done a. Let me calm down.
Wait, Manar, I just want to say something because they're not equivocal.
Because they're not go, bro.
The guy putting himself in front of the vehicle twice within 6 months is not the same as people reaching for guns, and they're the ones creating the jeopardy there. In the case of this guy,
created jeopardy to injure this officer. This officer was injured by the vehicle. It's the same thing. The weaponization of the vehicle is the same thing as weaponization by the guy attempting to shoot people. It's the same thing in my situation too. The intent is still implied there.
First of all, look, we could be bullshit. You could be bullshit for all we know, but we know this guy did get hit with the car. With
same situation. Even if, like, let's say I was bullshitting, they should have let me go in this. Let's say it's a hypothetical. This really did happen too. But let's say this was a hypothetical. Should they have let me go in even the hypothetical? You said no.
Yeah, they should have done an investigation on you to see how you're doing. Are you being professional? Are you overcompensating for something? Are you doing something wrong?
I had to write lengthy reports.
Are you not de-escalating properly? They should look into
and
investigate the body cam.
The de-escalation is the engagement to stop the threat. That's a de-escalation, is it not?
They need to see if you're doing something that's unprofessional.
Hold on.
If
I get injured,
having these things happen to you, and if you are, and it's looked like through the investigation that you are doing it, you have habits that are putting you in danger, they should stop you.
Yeah, I got hurt twice stopping somebody from pulling a gun on officers.
So this is exactly, I mean, your anecdotal evidence does not destroy the arguments that me and work.
Hold on. I wrote 2 lengthy ass reports and got on desk duty for 1 time, and I wasn't let go because this happened twice. According to Mr. Work, he says I shouldn't have been let go.
So you're showcasing that there was actual repercussions because you did it twice. So there was repercussions.
No, there weren't repercussions. The reason why I was on light duty is because I got hit and injured. I had a concussion. That's the repercussion was the injury to me. That's all the infractions I incurred during the job. That's it. Was the injury the same as the officer that got hit by the vehicle? We weren't let go in both scenarios. In both scenarios, there was a fight for life that happened. Right. Same scenario.
I fight for my life too. I fight for my life too. You're not the only one that ever. I died 13 times. What are you talking about? I died.
Oh, you're 50 Cent. You're not the only one. 50 Cent donkey now.
I've got a gun on my head. You're not the only one.
I got you beat. I've died 20 times. Okay, I got you guys all beat. All right.
Yeah,
Postal Joe. Postal Joe, $10.
Every single one of them written. One time I almost jumped into the swimming pool. I almost hit my head on the stair. It was like I touched my shoulder. I would have been donezo if I went to the left a little bit. That was my first death.
All right. Sorry to hear about all your deaths, Manar. Manar's argument to me, thank you, Postal Joe, for $10. Manar's argument to me saying he just asserts things with no proof was to assert a bunch of stuff he can't prove. Any response to that, Manar?
Yeah, I guess showcasing this, the Justice Department's manual, bringing up the sections that are actually applicable to the moving vehicle, showcasing that there's, from the evidence of the video, there's no justification. These are all assertions, I guess. These are all non-proofs that I presented. These are not real arguments. I did not actually use the Justice Manual's own policies to actually argue against Martae here and this horrible shooting. Yeah, this is all me. This is my Syrian brain.
I do want to add, though, that putting bullets in somebody to stop the threat is a form of de-escalation.
Yeah, so
that's de-escalation.
Police for president, guys.
Yeah, comply or die. Comply or die.
No, it's don't put yourself in those situations, and there's a higher likelihood of survival.
Yeah, make sure you guys follow everything IFBB Pro tells you. Other than that,
obey correct commands and directives from law enforcement and don't obstruct justice. That helps.
Why? I'm an American citizen. I have my right to live by myself without being governed by this illegal law enforcement force. Like, why can't I exist without? I mean, this is ridiculous. So you're saying even if I disassociate from everyone, as long as I don't comply with your forces, you have the justification to come into my house and murder me?
No, that's a mischaracterization.
And reasonable force. Yeah, and this is something that only you as a ex-officer would argue this. Anybody that actually believes in
no, that's a bad reframing of my position. That's a mischaracterization. Nobody's talking about entering facilities or houses to kill people.
Any religious person that does not believe in these constitutional rights are already defending.
Yeah,
any religious person that's already scared.
That's a false equivalent. You're talking about people entering houses and domains to kill people. That's a whole different. That's a false equivalent.
These arguments that you're making.
No, that's not a false equivalent. It would be a slippery slope fallacy.
No, that's a false equivalent. Not just a slippery slope. That's a false equivalent. He's talking about entering people's domains and domiciles without permission to kill people.
Well, that's what happened
I'm talking about that the law is written by a secularist federal force that we religious people have no say and no control over.
That has nothing to do with the argument and has
keep justifying for it to take our little small rights that we have.
Manar
has nothing to do with the argument, Manar.
Look, I just want the audience to know that Martae would be the guy championing the fact during COVID, if you didn't wear your mask, that the police can come and execute you if you don't comply with putting the mask back on.
Sure
this is a very bad faith mischaracterization.
Comply or die.
Sorry, you said law. You have to comply with the law. You said it in your own words, Martae. Are you now?
So if I tell somebody, hold on, and I'll even talk to Vic and his audience right now. If I tell somebody hands up, don't reach for your pocket, and they reach for their pocket and they're not complying, do you think I'm authorized to use deadly force?
Yeah, what if I don't put my mask on? You tell me to put my
mask on. No, hold on. We're not talking about COVID. We're talking about getting people under control in a arrest situation.
I'm with you.
Do you think the onus is on the person to cooperate with me?
Justification to assault me.
Hold on. If I tell somebody put your hands up, don't reach for your pocket, am I the authority here, or is the suspect in the authority in this situation?
Martae, why can't we talk about COVID, bro? Because if you're a person,
what we're talking about. When we talk about directives in obeying officer directives,
this is already a threat for you.
And if you think COVID was actually a threat to your health because a lot of people supposedly were dying.
Including the fact that I thought COVID was a threat. Nobody's even talking about COVID.
Put your mask on. You're posing a threat to me. Put your mask on or I'm going to kill you. Put your mask on. Martae says, well, you have to comply or you're going to die. You pose a threat to that cop.
That's not my belief. That's a misrepresentation of my position.
Yeah. What if the cop says that imminent danger?
Yeah, you guys are this is non-tangential to the argument.
Listen, all right, let's move on to the next one. This one is support of Manar and Mr. Work here. Okay, a positive one for you guys. Manar and Mr. Work won this debate, and Dr. Dawa would humiliate Martae and Emmett in a 2v1 debate.
It sounds like he wants to get another debate going. I mean, I welcome it if he wants to do another debate, but I'll leave this to the poll to decide, the benevolent and charitable poll that we see. Non-biased poll, by the way, too. So,
no, the poll is biased.
Oh, you're just making the assertion. Vic doesn't tell the poll how to vote.
Venezuela tells the poll how to vote.
Oh, so now they're bots. You can't demonstrate the fact that they're bots. We're just supposed to bite the bullet and believe that. Sure.
Okay, all right. We have two more, guys. Two more. Then we can open up the panel. So let's do this, guys. Okay. Bucket button for $5. It's hilarious when Manar thinks he's mocking anything other than his own logic. Also, chill. No one wants to touch Papa Manar's wife stock. Okay?
Hey, man, this is amazing. I love his name. Fuck you, button. Yes, your name is exactly what you should be doing. Go fuck yourself and sit on a button.
And Bandit for $2. Manar, but did you die? Okay, and that is it. That it concludes the Q&A, guys. So everyone, we got those super chats filled up. So thank you guys very much. So I will be putting a link into the comment section. You guys, if you guys have time to hang out, you guys don't have to stay for this portion, but you're more than welcome to hang out if you have the time.
I'll hang out.
So, all right, thank you very much, Manar.
Work Academics is doing great without me, but I'll chill for a minute.
I respect you because First Amender bails, and at least you have the courage, balls, and fortitude to stick around. I appreciate that and respect it.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. All right, Dustin. Welcome, Dustin.
Well, why would we leave if we won the debate, bro? Why would we leave? If anything, Martae should be leaving, bro, because he lost.
Yeah, well, we haven't seen the results of the poll yet. You're making an assumption.
I'm just joking.
Yeah. Actually, we do have the results of the poll. Thank you for reminding me, Martae. So who won this debate? It was Martae, Manar / work, or neither. Martae got 78%. Manar / work got 13%, and neither got 9%. That was out of 86 Venezuelan bot votes. So congratulations, Martae. You are the winner of the debate,
So,
according to the scientific poll.
What's up, Avarice?
Hey, how you doing, Martae?
Good to see you, bro.
So you're saying 78%.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Cool. How you doing, Mustard?
78% won. And how's it going, Avarice? Good to see you.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you lost again, Manar. Sorry.
Avarice, do you not have anything else to do with your life except fucking follow me?
Well, actually, no. Actually, before you, I just was done debating Maryland.
So, Maryland's so bad faith.
Yeah, that was the worst one. So actually, you know what, Manar?
I agree.
You're actually a relief. Because at least I get to debate someone that at least logically knows he likes to fuck his cousin.
So, Manar, do you declaw your cats?
Avarice, I thought you were a feminist. Are you being sexist right now?
What? I mean, you can call me whatever you want to call me. You've still conceded to fucking your cousin.
Was she bad because she was a woman?
Again, here, hold on. Let's just go back. I can do it for you again. Let's just make sure we didn't forget. All right, there's my woman. Right there. Right.
I see hair.
You're a feminist.
Yeah, you see?
You're a feminist guy. Why are you talking shit about that woman?
Again, that's my woman. We were making out in public just for you, Manar. Just so that you could concede to having sex with your cousin, right?
I mean, he seems like the type.
Here. I just want to finish our debate. All right, I want to finish our debate. What is worse?
Are we sure your wife is an actual female? I mean.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, you would be an expert, wouldn't you, Manar? Couldn't you tell us?
I physically saw a baby come out of her. So yes, I can say that's pretty female. Next perspective.
That's a bigoted historical purview, my friend. You need to evolve past.
That was just observation, right? Next thing is, Manar, can we just answer the questions so then I can leave the panel? Do you still agree that it is more disgusting for me to kiss my wife in public than for you to have sex with your cousin?
Yes, it's absolutely disgusting that you believe that you can go and sit there and make out and have sexual activity with your wife in front of children and in public.
No, just
just
kissing.
tacitly agree to fucking your cousin.
Yeah, that is a sexual act in public.
And you'd rather have sex with your cousin before doing that.
Let me ask you a question.
I think he just tacitly agreed to that.
Yeah, I did.
Is holding and fondling her breasts, is that okay?
I mean, yeah.
In public,
I guess.
in public. Yeah,
sure.
According to you. So yeah. To me, kissing is exactly the same level as fondling her breasts.
Okay, yeah, again, but do you agree that is more severe than having sex with your cousin?
No, not at all. Because as long as you're married to your cousin, you're not committing an adultery. There's no.
Okay, so
Are
as
you
long as you're married
insane,
to
this
your
freaking guy?
cousin,
You
you
can
can-
marry your cousin. Yes.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Somebody tell me why should I go?
That is crazy.
Can I just say something? Because Avarice's argument is kind of bunk here because he says
I
more
think-
disgusting. Hold on, I just want to get this point out. If we're talking about more disgusting and we're talking about quantifying that, less people would see two people banging in a room privately than people would be able to witness two people making out in public. And if people saw two people making out in public and thought that was disgusting, by that metric,
again,
you could
yes, we're
argue
going with
yes, it's more disgusting to make out in
We're-
public than what two people do in private.
yes. Again,
I mean-
we're talking about just the
Dude.
idea here, right? We're not talking about the action itself and where it is. We're talking about if you were to agree, which one would be worse, right? And I'm not even going with the fondling. I'll just concede that. But kissing my wife when I put my groceries away in the car, and then I give her a kiss for my manliness because I just loaded all the groceries into the car, and all the fucking heavy lifting and all this stuff, and I did it all, and I get my little, I did it right at the car, right? He thinks that's worse
Yeah. So
than
that's
going out and marrying
actually-
your cousin.
That's actually a straw man. That's not the debate, the argument that you asked me earlier.
That's what I originally. That was
You
the
just-
original
Manar-
statement.
No,
That's
I'll-
where I
I'll-
went.
Manar
I'll
resembles
showcase-
somebody who
showcase-
comes from
Why is he
an
talking?
uncle
Why
and
is he
a
talking?
cousin.
I can look at if you
that-
want, we can go to
I'll
the original.
showcase how this is a straw man. I'll
If you
showcase
want,
how-
we can go to the original clip when I was talking, Manar,
You
on
conceded- you
Speakeasy's
just
panel.
conceded-
Jesus,
you
dude,
just
there's some
conceded-
personal
you just
shit going on
conceded
here.
that fondling her tits is too bad for you. You're not even.
No,
you
I
wouldn't
can.
even
I said
accept
I
it.
would. No, I said I would grant it.
And
I
you
said I
just
would even
changed
grant
the
that I would do
situation.
that.
Let me just finish-
Again,
let me just finish.
I said I
Oh
would
my
grant
God.
that. That wasn't
If
the
we
original,
threw a
but I'm
knife
granting
in
that.
between the two
Okay,
of them, who do you
on
think would
top
win?
of it,
You made the
Manar,
whole
sure.
situation
Listen,
affectionate.
I
You
will.
made
I
it
will grant it. I will fondle
The
her
earlier
boobies for
situation, you were
getting
in the
those
middle of the
groceries. I'm giving her a
park
little
making out with
fondling.
your
I'm giving her a
wife.
little fondling. I'm giving her a little
All
fondling.
right, give that.
Right?
Yeah,
For
present that
those
argument.
groceries. Like, mwah, right?
Yeah, that's
Mwah,
completely
right?
immoral. That's disgusting. You
more-
can wait till you
yeah.
go upstairs before you fucking fondle on your wife. And
But so
and
you would
hide
rather
that
have
shit.
sex with your cousin?
I'm saying you cannot fuck.
Would you
fondle
rather
your
have
wife
sex
in
with your
public.
cousin than to fondle your
don't-
wife
you
in public?
cannot have adultery with anybody.
Manar, can you
Are
answer the
your
question?
mother and father the same as the uncle and aunt?
What?
Just curious, Manar.
Okay,
What?
do you agree that if you were married to your cousin, you would be okay to fuck her?
How is the Christian arguing against this? This isn't your.
If you were if you were married to your cousin, would you fuck her? Yes or no?
I'll answer this after Christians tell me. Are
Sure.
you following Leviticus law or not?
What does that have to do with anything?
I'm asking. Just answer that. That's fine.
No, that
No, I'm
doesn't
not following
answer his question
Leviticus law.
directly. Can you? I'm
So
interested.
You can't answer. So I'm supposed to answer, but you can't answer my question.
I did. I
Average
just
says-
answered
Average
it.
says you don't-
I just answered for you. I said no. I'm not following Leviticus
You're
law.
not following
Now your turn.
that. Kiel, what about you? Do you follow Leviticus law?
No, he asked you. Why are you bringing
How
Kiel
many
into this?
generations of inbreed
Kiel, do you follow
do you think
Leviticus law?
Manar
No,
is a
answer
result
his
of?
question directly. It's between you guys right now.
I answered. I
I'm
answered
gonna
you directly.
answer.
I
I'm
said
gonna
no.
answer.
I
He's
answered
not
you
even a
directly.
Christian. You're not even a Christian.
No,
What are you
no.
talking
Answer
about,
Avarice's
man?
question. He asked you a question. He answered it.
I want to showcase that the Christians have nothing to stand on if they actually follow Levitical law.
You can
So
showcase
I
how you want.
ask
Again,
you if
I'm,
you
can't
you're
follow
dealing with
answer
the,
Avarice's
you're dealing with the,
question.
you're dealing with a secular human right now. Can you please answer my
That's what I'm
question?
saying. So this secular humanist, you're a disgusting, immoral, pig-eating.
Yeah, cool. Can you answer his
abortionist.
question still?
Can you answer my question?
Why should I actually? Why should I try to argue about you and about
Manar,
morality?
what did Avarice ask you? Can you even
I
still
don't
answer
agree
the
with you
question?
in anything that you do that is moral.
If you were married to your cousin, would you fuck her?
I don't agree that anything you do is moral. I don't agree that you
again-
watching your TV is moral. I'm trying to talk to the Christians. Do they believe that it's immoral to be with your cousin? To marry
Avarice
your
is
cousin?
asking you a
Kiel,
question. Can you answer that?
Kiel, do you believe it's immoral to be with your cousin, to marry your cousin? Kiel.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's against the prophets. Martae, do you believe it's immoral? Kiel just said that the prophets are actually immoral.
Manar, can you
Martae, do
answer
you agree?
Avarice's question? If you're married to your
I will
cousin, is it okay to
answer.
fuck her?
Avarice is not a Christian. He's not even
I'm a Christian.
He's a secularist.
Hey, answer my
I
question.
want to
I'm a Christian.
showcase to you that he's
If
humiliating
you're married to your
you.
cousin, is it okay to fuck her, Manar?
I will answer anything Avarice wants to do. He's gonna keep asking me the same question. This guy.
Can you answer the
No,
same
no, no, no,
question?
no.
He's
No, I
answer-
got more questions. Answer this question.
So
we'll move
just
on
let
to.
me
I got more questions. I got more questions. I got more.
It's
No.
immoral to marry your cousin.
I got a
Do you
book.
believe it's immoral as a Christian to marry your
Hold
cousin?
on.
Martae?
I got a book of Manar questions. Hold on. I got more. Hold on.
God, this is crazy.
I'm showcasing that the
Avarice.
Christians, if they
Avarice,
say-
can I
if
ask
they
you a
say
question
it's
real quick,
immoral
like
to
before?
marry your cousin,
Yeah.
that means they're saying that the legacy of Abraham is immoral. The legacy of Ishmael.
How long
is
are you going to go,
immoral.
Manar? Hey,
the
Avarice.
legacy of Joseph is
In this
immoral. and
debate,
his
who do you
children.
think won the debate between
He's
me and
claiming
Manar
that
and
all
Mr.
of
Work?
these
Martae Relis.
After a certain
religious-
point, you just got to kind of
That's
like
all I
block
wanted to
him
ask.
out.
That's it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So now, can I get a question to my answer, or I got more questions, Manar, if you want to answer them?
Why are you trying to get reassurance, bro? That goes to show how uncertain you are.
No, because I just want to understand the positions of people on the panel and understand like where they're leaning unbiasedly, right? They have Avarice has no stake in the game. I'm just going to ask him his opinion. That's it. That doesn't mean I'm uncertain or not. You're assuming my motives. You can't
really
even
think Avarice is an unbiased source as to whether Manar won a debate? Do you really believe that?
To be fair, though, they kind of took an untenable position. How do you argue that a lady hitting a police officer with a car is in any way unjustified when that officer
I will
died?
always,
She
I always
literally hit him. Yeah,
I will always think that the car that hit the lady. So it's kind. I understand where you're coming from, Mr. Work. We want to be honest. I am biased to the situation, right? But if I'm talking about the debate itself, I mean, can I speak openly, Martae? They're both kind of spurgy. I know. I am one, right? So it comes down to who had the best argument through the spurging, right? To be honest. And that's where I'm gonna lay the line. Now, if we can go back to the actual questions, Manar, if you don't want to answer this first one that you think I'm just gonna
just asking for.
would you like me to bring up the secular one, or you're just going to say that doesn't count?
Yeah, sure. Bring up whatever you want.
Okay.
Thank you for.
Yeah.
You're not a Christian. Thank you.
I mean, I follow Christian nationalism, if that's what you mean.
No, you're not a Christian. Now you're
Again,
you're
yes.
a conservative liberal. Is that what you
No,
are?
no. Based off of a recent manifesto of Jake the Rattlesnake, I'm a secular humanist that follows Christian
So
nationality.
you're a liberal conservative. So you're a secular progressive that follows conservative values.
Do you listen? Do you listen to words coming out of people's mouth or what?
He's claiming that he's conservative, but he doesn't follow a religion. He follows progressive ethics.
You can put whatever labels you want on it. Let's just go with the rest of the questions. I'll answer your questions so I can ask more. So it's immoral. It's immoral in my book, primarily because I find it gives me personally the ick. Secondly, it has no, but that was just personally. Then secondly, it adds deformity, lower IQ. It basically doesn't make good humans, statistically speaking, of course.
It causes teeth problems. It causes all kinds of. You have a bunch of birth defects.
But now that I answered your questions here, I will go back to a new question that doesn't involve cousin fucking, since you think I can't get off the panel. All right. Can you please bring up to me, can you please tell me, why are all the Islamic nations under the poverty rate? Most, a high percentage. I would say 70.
Yeah,
what was that? 78%.
America has an incentive to destroy any nation that can create success and self-sufficiency for its people that have $1 billion GDP. If a nation can,
no, I'm talking about I'm not talking about just.
Can I finish my point? Can I answer?
Yes, go ahead. Yeah, sure.
I mean, it's irrelevant.
No, let him finish. Hold on, it's fine.
My point is, America is the Western force, police force of the modern world.
Oh, okay. So America is the world. Okay.
And they dictate a lot of the political advancements of a lot of nations. And America has a justification, has an incentive to showcase that these nations cannot be stronger than them, cannot be more powerful than them, and have an extremely low GDP. If this nation, for example, Cuba, only produces 10 to 20 billion dollars of GDP per year in comparison with America, which creates $10 trillion of GDP per year. But the people's quality of life is better than the people's quality of life in America. That's destroying the American narrative of the American dream and that success of American Western civilization. And that
Does anybody speak
incentive,
dumbass?
there's an incentive to this Western superpower to not allow any enemies, even allies, to be better or to exist fine and be self-sufficient. And which is why we see that America has been intertwined with every single political affair of every single Middle Eastern
Jesus
country that you're
Christ,
talking
bro.
about. Egypt and the Arab Revolution, Tunis, Libya, Syria, and Timber Sycamore.
You just like to hear yourself
Afghanistan,
speak.
Iraq.
This
Iraq
applies
and the
to
murder
every
of the
nation,
Lebanon
Manar.
Revolution, Iran, Lebanon and Beirut, Palestine, every single Middle East, Yemen, every Middle Eastern nation that does not follow the orders of America, there's an incentive for
Manar,
America to topple and destroy
every
them.
nation is
And we
incentivized
see
the same
that
way,
in the
Manar.
American foreign affairs and their policies, the foreign policies of America. Look what they did with Russia.
This is every nation that's ever existed in
Okay, so
mankind.
now can I? Okay, so hold on. Let me hold on. We're going back and forth. Hold on, we're going back and forth.
I just want to say something, Avarice, because here's the problem. Your line of argument would also justify why "quote unquote" more secular nations also have
he's even
higher.
laid out an argument yet.
No, because here's the thing: Europe and America are more secular as compared to South American and Mexico, more Christian countries. So you could say, well,
Correct me if I'm wrong. Have you laid out an argument, Everest?
have more wealth than Christian nations. You see how that's an issue?
I just don't think he's laid out an argument yet.
I really haven't, because it's been going in different directions. But
Yeah, just all these questions have been thrown around. They haven't even been answered yet. Like, I don't think he's laid out his argument.
He said we're really poor. That's what you argued. We're really poor.
So
Arabic nations
hold on.
are really poor and low IQ.
I got that. I want to combat a few things, and we'll go back to my original question here. So if America is supposed to keep up optics, as you put it, then why wouldn't you just agree that anything we do as American would be justified, like taking a Venezuelan president, bombing Iraq, anything that we do for a show of force would then be justified if we have the if we're supposed to hold the illusion that we are the superpower. Is that not correct?
And the blackmail rings, right? You think Jeffrey Epstein and the blackmail rings were justified too?
Manar?
What?
Wait,
well,
what?
America, the CIA, Jeffrey Epstein.
So Manar, well, I don't know about that, Epstein, but so Manar saying that it is that optically we are the superpower, so we have to uphold and put everybody down and keep them down. We need to snuff down and put down the boot, right, on everybody else. That's his argument, right? So if his argument is that America needs to maintain optics, right, to keep everybody else down, then why would he would have to agree that whatever we do as America would be justified for optics? That includes stealing
if we are the authority, then who's going to argue with us when we do it?
Yeah, exactly. So
so you're not disagreeing that you are
no, I'm asking
other
you,
nation. You're just telling me that we have the justification to do it. That's what you're saying.
No, I disagree with you full-heartedly that that's what we are. But I'm asking you, if that is what we are, Manar, if we are what you say we are, then you have exactly. Then you're saying that you have to agree that America itself, everything we do is justified. Agreed?
Manar, if you will, please.
Dustin,
okay,
let me finish it. Let me just finish this line, then you can
just
clear.
not understanding how this logic links
together.
together.
Yeah, it doesn't follow, Avarice. It doesn't follow.
How does it not follow? He literally said that all of our, like, if we have the ability, we need to keep the people down optically as Americans. We need to optically keep them down. So that means anything we do would be for optics.
Sure.
Yeah, for optics and American prestige. Yeah.
To keep people down, which means that anything we do would be optically for America's greater strength, which means if we went and took the Venezuelan president, bombed a ship, went and did bunker busters in Iran, whatever it may be that we used or done to optically put down the oppressors would have to be justified to Manar. Just to Manar in this worldview. Agreed?
No, yeah, you see, that's where it logically doesn't follow. Because Manar's saying it's done for America to maintain that kind of view that it has. And you can say, with Manar's perspective.
Well, I mean, I don't agree that he's wrong. I think he's wrong, right? So, but he's agreeing to that data, right? If he agrees, if he's saying that this is the case. Okay, hold on. I'll reword it.
America says that it justifies his
sure.
actions.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Let me
believe it's justified.
I get what you're saying. Do you believe that America thinks it's justified with everything we do?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay,
perfect.
Exactly. Okay, perfect. And if you claim us to be the superpower, here I know how to walk this one. Then thank you.
Oh man, no, you're not. You're never gonna get there. No, I know exactly what you're trying to say. It's never gonna be. You're never gonna be able to link them together. God, you have to concede avarice. America is a secular nation trying to destroy and topple other religious nations. No religious person can justify this. No religious person can argue for America. No religious person can argue for the destruction of their nation.
What are you talking about?
Use a lot of like.
If I'm a Syrian, how am I going to say that America is justified to conquer Syria? You understand?
What?
Wait, now you're pivoting. That's a big pivot.
How am I pivoting? That's what Everett's trying to say. Everett's trying to say that America is justified according to his justification.
Not what he's saying.
No.
What else are you
saying? Here, we'll just continue. So if America's at fault for all this, right? At all fault for all this, then why does it like all the Islamic nations, since they're so vast and amazing, why haven't they taken out America? Let's just start with that.
Look what we do. Look how Hezbollah tried to get together. You guys started a coalition lying about Hezbollah's name in Beirut and saying that they were
dear God.
Israel. And that they are a satanic group. That all they want to do is destroy Jews. Look what you did with Hamas. The moment Hamas stood up to stand for their rights and for their freedom of their people, you made them a terroristic group. You took away their ability to and the votes that they
this dude on Quaaludes?
Their ability to govern their own nation that they won the votes for, and you stepped on their heads. Look what you did to every single Arabic nation, and look what you've done to Syria. You took away.
You keep speaking in such generality. Could you qualify any of this? You are being so general. Look at what happened over here. Look at what happened over there. You're not saying anything. You can run and tilt windmills all day long and say absolutely nothing, bro. You're not the only one who can just blurt out a bunch of bullshit at random for no good reason with no point and make it kind of sound like it belongs in a conversation because you're fucking retarded.
Okay, when can I finish answering?
Martae, you lost.
Fucking retarded, bro.
Manar, this is like the fourth pivot you made. Like you literally
it's not a pivot. I'm saying
you are. We were talking about distinctly our relation to other nations. Now you're moving to situations.
There he goes again. I can say things that just sound like they belong.
Bro, that's the question. The question is, why are you not trying to topple America? I'm saying every time we try to, you label us as terrorists. You go and topple the whole government.
Bro, if I ask you to summarize your point in like 5 words or less. If I ask you to summarize your point, if I ask you to summarize your point in 5 words or less, what would it be? You couldn't do it, could you? You couldn't do it in 5 words or less. You don't have a point. You don't know what the hell you're even talking about, bro. You are wiping your own ass with your mouth, and your ass is jealous of the shit coming out of it, bro. I'm just telling you the way it is.
I have a question. Hold on. If you guys tried to topple America, why didn't you?
Yeah, look, I just want to say I don't think America should be toppled. I think I disagree with Manar, but I think America is going to get toppled once Jesus comes back and brings his kingdom on earth, So America is going to get toppled eventually, but I think it's crazy that people are trying to advocate for it.
Yeah, but you agree with me, you cannot be a Christian in America first, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, yeah, you can't. Yeah, because America is of this world, so you can, it's a nation of this world. And,
No, two things can be true. You can be America. You can be a Christian and support America. That's ridiculous on its face.
Well, no, because when Jesus comes back, America's not going to exist anymore. Yeah.
No,
America
hold
doesn't
on.
exist.
So you're talking about Christ coming in and just doing this whole thing about the movie about people being taken from the planet. No, we don't believe in that. That's crazy. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's not about the identity anymore.
I'm Christ before America.
You're talking about the rapture?
Christ absolutely taught to defend borders and be of your nation.
Not only that, we're talking about we're talking about the governance system of America and how it's secularist compared to.
You're talking a bunch of shit, and your ass is jealous.
If Christians want a Christian nation, Christian federal law, then they cannot be America first, which is a constitutional nation.
You can be a Christian and defend your borders. What are you talking about?
You can't. You have to destroy something. You have to destroy.
No, you don't have to destroy anything to defend borders.
Yeah.
The borders are of this world, though. So what does that matter when God's kingdom on heaven comes, Martae?
That's regardless. What you're talking about, some rapture bullshit. I don't believe in that. The rapture.
The Old Testament and the New.
Do you believe that God's kingdom will be here on earth?
So what you're talking about, something that is brand new that came out. We don't believe in that.
Yes or no? Will God's kingdom be here on earth, Martae?
That's a whole. This is a whole pivot from what we were talking about, right?
Bro, does God's kingdom exist on earth? Yes or no? Does God's kingdom exist on earth?
Why can't you answer questions, Martae? What's wrong with you?
It doesn't right now.
Yeah, that's irrelevant. That's a non sequitur. What are you talking about?
It exists on earth. Will God's kingdom exist on earth?
It doesn't right now. I mean, that's as close to an answer as you're going to get.
It doesn't right now.
So you're
in the meantime, you can be a Christian and defend your borders and defend your nation. Those two things can exist at the same time.
Why would that? You show your face.
God's kingdom.
What do you mean? What do you mean? You were just asking.
America won't exist. Why would America exist in God's kingdom? That makes no sense.
Hold on.
What do you mean?
Tell me. Hold on. Let me get this straight. You're saying that you can't defend America's borders until Christ comes back?
No, I'm saying it's irrelevant. When Christ comes back, why would America exist if we're all under the domain of God? That makes no sense.
So what are we doing in the interim then until that happens, according to you? What are we doing in the interim then?
Well, people.
I want your mushrooms, bro. Where do you get your mushrooms?
I think we should identify with
defending our borders until the day that we die, right? Physically on this plane, right?
People identify with nations, but I think we should identify with Christ before we identify with nations. Yep.
Right. Do you realize you're all over the place, Mr. Work? I just want to let you know.
What?
I don't think that they can call this guy Mr. Work. They must call him Mr. Unwork, because I guarantee nobody's paying him to do this.
I think he's to change his name to EBT.
Bro, this guy has more money than anybody here, bro.
Hey, I always had a question, Martae. Is it IBBF or IFFB?
It's the International Federation of Bodybuilding, IFBB.
Okay, so but I was confused because the International Boxing Federation is IBF, right? So I thought maybe it was the International Bodybuilding Federation. So I was confused.
It's the International Federation of Bodybuilding, IFBB. Yeah.
Listen,
over here.
Listen,
bro.
yeah, you're getting aggressive up there. Look, you're just mad because I'm here and you can't justify.
You're mad because you
lost.
You can't justify my question. They justify my question.
I'm putting a motion on the table.
Why in America? Let me get this through. Why you gotta come up?
Can we call Manar manure? Can we refer to him as manure from now
in America?
Look, I just want to ask Manar a question. Like,
John,
if America, shut the fuck up, shut up.
Dude, I love and hate John Mondragon at the same time.
I know he looks.
Shut
like
up, dude.
He needs to go put some concrete up somewhere.
Shut up. Oh. Wow.
Manure.
If America is so bad, why would you stay here? Why would you stay here?
That's a good question.
If America's so bad.
Yeah.
If America is so bad, why are you fucking here?
Are you guys ready for the answer? I am the only one that's actually justified to be here. America came and raped my country.
Whoa,
so it's my turn to.
Wait.
My time to come back to America.
Hold on. Let me get with this. Hold on. Do you think that you deserve to be here more than my native people of Alaska?
America raped my country.
You see how he avoids? You see how he avoids the Alaskans? So you think?
America
What about-
destroyed
So what about
Syria,
what about the
demolished
Aleut
Syria.
people?
So now I'm here for white girls.
Oh, you're here for white girls. Is that what it is? You're here for white girls. You're here to take
White
you're here to
girls and
take
bacon.
names.
I give
You're
up
gonna take
Bro,
white
girls
girls.
and
bro,
You're the only
the
one
white
who's
girl this
decided
guy's
to
gonna
be-
get needs a forklift to get through the door.
Listen, is your cousin's not white? You won't
I
like
know,
him.
right?
Not white.
What are you talking about? You think my
Your-
cousin looks like John?
Uh-oh.
I'm saying that your cousin's not white, so you won't like the white girls.
She's white. Like we're Syrian. We are white. We are whiter than white.
You call
girls.
yourself white.
Like,
So
what are
you
we are
okay? Well,
Syrian.
then why don't you just have
You know
sex with
anything
your
about
cousin?
Syria?
then?
We're Byzantine. The Byzantine.
Oh, that's
Empire.
what it
We
is.
are-
Can you show me
we're
a picture of your
Greeks,
cousin?
Romans.
Can I see a
Kurdish,
picture of your cousin?
Turkish. We're
Mhm.
Turkish.
Can you show me a picture of your cousin?
I have like 100 cousins. I have literally 100 cousins.
The hottest
my
one.
father has 11 brothers and sisters.
Show me the hottest
The
one.
hottest one.
You have
A
no
lot of- Bro,
shame.
you're talking about Syrian women. You're talking about Syrian
Yeah.
women. Almost every single one of them is the hottest one.
Oh, all your cousins are hot.
Every one of them has
How about
something
one you
amazing
haven't
to
slept
her.
with
It's not like
yet?
black girls.
How about one you haven't
It's not
slept
like
with
black
yet?
girls
How
that
about
die
that?
a nickel every fucking mile. You might find one nickel. Black girls. We're
Bro,
talking about
this
Syrian
dude
women.
is-
We're talking about Lebanese women. Every one
Like,
of them
still,
is a flower.
I can hear it like in his voice. He's crying out for help, this guy.
You think they're like black girls?
All my cousins are beautiful.
You think it's like
You
black girls?
I got it.
You
Guys,
think it's
I
like
just
black
wanna-
girls? Maybe one of them doesn't feel a pussy out of the 12.
I just want to say thank you for
I've
having me.
got the lovely pick of
Oh, hold on.
cousins.
All right,
The
hold on.
gorgeous of the flock.
I think
Would
I
you
think
like
Mr.
to
Work
see
wants
my,
to say
my
something.
beautiful cousins?
Shut up! You're not even a Christian. Shut the hell up! You don't have any
No, guys,
justification for
I just want to say
anything.
thank you.
Hold on, Mr.
All right.
Walker, hold on,
You're
hold on,
literally
real
the
quick.
definition
Hold on.
of the word.
All right, hold on.
You're literally the definition.
Hold on, guys. Mr.
Yeah,
Work, what do you
thank
want to
you.
say, Mr. Work?
Thank you. I just want to say thank you for having me on. It was fun. Martae and Manar and Vic, thank you. It was actually enjoyable. I just want to say also that I stunted the panel on multiple points I made, even with the whole Christian versus nation, which one should come first. Nobody wanted to answer that question because obviously I'm right on those points. So if anybody wants to get destroyed, I would love to have these kind of conversations in the future. And thank you once again, everybody. Martae.
Yeah.
Manar.
Great job working there. Anybody
Yeah,
wants
thank
to
you
come
very
and
much, Mr.
debate,
Work.
I'll moderate or he'll moderate, whatever you guys want. Anytime you want, come and debate more work
Hey,
dynamics,
so
and
can,
I'll get it
That
set
sounds
up.
horrible.
Can
I'll
you
get it set
order?
up.
Can we order your cousins like mail order bride?
Mhm.
What?
Can
I
we
imagine
order
they
your
have
cousins
only brides
like
by
mail
now.
order bride?
So if
Only-
they're
They
my
probably
cousins,
have
they don't-
only
they're not
brides.
your cousins anymore.
What? Well, I'm just saying. Like, can we just see what your cousins look like? I want to see what the stock
Bro,
is.
my cousins are gorgeous white girls, Syrian girls.
Bro,
What do you want?
Let's just see.
You're
them.
gonna
Bring them up.
end up with a
want? I'm not gonna show
Timu
you
version.
Just, I
Watch.
just want to see. I want to see what your options are.
Manar,
Don't
let's
worry
see what the inbred dating pool looks like in your family.
Yeah.
Manure.
No, this is
Yeah.
Palestine. Hey, go fuck yourself, Palestine. I thought you were Palestine News Network. Fuck you, bitch.
Palestine sucks,
Damn,
bro.
Manar.
Hey.
Holy shit, dude! This guy's got a lot of ops.
Shut the
Hey,
fuck up.
Whoa.
Hey, can we
He
just
does,
see?
bro.
I just want to see. Can we like swipe your cousins through your screen like Tinder right now? Can we just get
No, nobody. in
a
Syria
Menard
puts their
dating-
pictures.
can
Nobody
we just
in
get a
Syria-
Menard
pictures-
dating Tinder
Manure.
stock here?
They have to
nobody
be
in Syria
inbred, though,
puts their
Manar.
pictures on Facebook
Yeah.
because they were
Manure.
Yeah.
rounded up.
Yeah,
Come
they
on,
were
one of
rounded
these
up.
times
Did
you
you
guys are
round
gonna
up your
call him Manure.
cousins?
In
Did you
Iran,
round
they
up
could
your
be 9
cousins?
years old, right? Too.
No, there was a situation like what's happening in Ukraine where the draft
No,
was
6.
open. Any man,
6 years
any person of age
Okay,
would be drafted.
Okay,
A
idea.
lot of people, nobody puts their pictures up.
Well,
Now,
they can
I
be
have
9
this-
according
Manure.
to Iranian law, updated. 9 years old. right?
Manure, yes.
Manure, are you still salty about the debate? Do you remember the debate?
Man,
The one I won?
About
You're gonna be
economics.
called Manure for the rest of your life.
About economics.
hold
Do you
on.
remember that economics debate, Manure?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, how did I
Manure.
lose that debate?
The one you're still mouthing about?
How did I lose
That
it?
that cope stream you did afterwards was golden. I love
It was a
that, by the way.
fantastic cope
That
stream.
was
Yeah, you
awesome.
ran away. Remember when you
Manar,
ran
I have
from
a
the
question for you,
panel?
Manar.
No, he
when
got
you
booted.
guys
I
do
panel calling you
Manar,
Manure.
Manar, when you guys send off, you do the ancestry test thing. When it comes back, is it just a circle instead of a tree?
Next, next question.
Asking for a friend.
When Mo joined the panel the other day and he asked you a question and you avoided it, is it because he's got a fancy beard, or is it because you were scared of his question?
I don't like his beard. You're right.
Okay, I was just making sure.
Call-
Is it because
call
your
him
cousins
manure,
prefer?
baby.
Is it because your
his plaid shirt?
is it because your cousins prefer his beard
Call
over
him
your
manure.
face?
Yeah,
Is it because
I don't.
You
I
know
don't
you
think he
wanna
can
call
hold an
him
accent. He's
manure.
acting like a lumberjack. I just don't like the look.
Oh, is that okay? Is it because your cousins are more attracted to him?
What?
Is that why you're mad at Mo?
Is it
Are you
because
mad at Mo because your cousins are more attracted to Mo?
Are those
They're like,
jokes
man,
only, like
Look at the way he's
that
touching
one
his
probably
forehead,
has a
bro.
lot of goats.
That's a stress reliever right there.
Tell you what,
you just hit
I'll give
something.
I'll give you 5 goats for one cousin.
That's fair trade.
Marlon.
You're digging close to something, bro. Look at those signals.
5 goats.
Watch, he's sitting back in the
John,
seat.
come debate me on my channel, John. Let's see if you're disgusting people and your thoughts and your ideology is better than mine.
John,
Who the hell is John?
Dresser needs to stop
John.
as a sheep. Is that lingerie?
You're just sitting there minding his own business. What are you throwing shots at?
Manar, if your cousin's dressed,
I'll come debate you, dude.
You're a salamander. You're a lizard.
Okay, guys, calm down. I do have a
Wait,
couple
no, he
of questions,
challenged me to his
Manar.
debates. So yes, I would come to your debates, dude.
One last question, and I'll mute up.
Tomorrow, anytime.
I got one last question, and I'll mute up and let you go, Emmett.
Tomorrow.
Last question for
Bro,
Manar.
Aris, I don't want you to leave.
Marlon, don't open your mouth.
No, I said I'll mute up. So last
Don't
question for
leave, though.
Manar for me. Here we go. When
Manure.
you have sex with goats, do you have to put shin guards on?
Manure.
Shin guards, yes or no?
I've
When you have
never
sex with
met
goats?
somebody that had sex with a goat. Where did you see that?
Oh, just wondering.
Is that a Syrian thing?
Well, I was just wondering if you needed shin guards. That's all I was wondering.
Premonition, you were going to say something, Premonition?
I heard they have a strong back kick. I was more worried about your physical standing ability.
Shut the hell up, Marlon.
All right, that's all I'm saying.
All right. I wanted to hear what Emmett had to say. Emmett, you were going to ask a few questions.
Yeah, I want to ask a couple of questions real quick. First off, could you please tell me what is the front of the car? Like, is it possible that you know what is the front versus the back?
Sure, it's where the windshield is pointed to.
Oh, okay. And then when the windshield is pointed towards a person, is that person in front of the car or to the side of the car?
Yeah, so like War Academics was trying to point out, the windshield was never completely pointing because whenever the officer was moving, she was also backing, and there was a change of direction. They were both.
You're saying that the bullet curved.
Hold on, Dustin.
Finish?
Hold on, Dustin. Wait, let him finish.
Yeah, they were both working against each other. One officer was going to the right, and the car was backing up and going to the left. And what happened was the officer completely stopped moving when he had ample more time to move and continue, and therefore the shooting. He had ample time to go to the side of the vehicle. I guess I don't know.
Okay, so next time I'm in front of of somebody that's crossing the street, I just can just go over him because he didn't move fast enough. Is that a good idea? Like I just go to the police officer and be like, you know what? Manar doesn't have the IQ to move fast enough, and that would be like a good explanation as to why I run you over, right?
Well, the problem is that if you're driving in an ample speed, maybe the officer did not have time to get out of the vehicle or ample time. There was imminent danger. The problem is there's no imminent danger when you're backing up. You have ample time to get out of the vehicle. The vehicle is not headed towards you yet.
How much is ample time, Manar?
Yeah, that's what
over 5 seconds. Over 5 seconds. I'm assuming
he only had 3 seconds, Manar.
I only have 1 second to do something.
Why do I have the feeling he's like, this is like a football game, man? There should have been a referee there.
Yeah. Flag.
We need somebody
let me
to
ask you a question.
make a call on the play.
Illegal move.
Let me ask you a
It
question.
doesn't make sense, bro.
Wait.
You're over here like.
Hold on.
If everyone in there believed that there was a reasonable suspicion of imminent danger and harm to the officers and everyone around, why was the only officer that pulled the gun and shot was the one at the front of the vehicle? None of the other officers, there were 6 of them, none of the other officers pulled their weapon.
The other officers weren't in danger. He was.
So I'm supposed to believe there was zero reasonable imminent danger to these other officers. The only danger came from in front of the vehicle. And because he had
Wait,
ample
wait,
time
Manar.
to
What?
move away from the front of the vehicle, it was not justified shooting because he stopped
Manar,
moving.
Manar.
Okay,
I'm
shut
gonna
up.
go. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna go back to my first question. Do you know the difference between the back of the vehicle, the side of the vehicle, and the front of the vehicle?
Yeah.
All right. Premonition has something to say. Go ahead.
Like when you fuck your cousin, do you fuck her from the back or the front?
Bro.
All right. Hold on. Let Premonition
No.
get a word in.
Manar, really,
Manure.
okay. With all honesty, that woman drove from the state where she lived.
That has nothing to do with that.
No, Manar, listen to hush now.
Sure, present whatever you
Quiet,
want about the
quiet,
case, but that has nothing to do with the imminent danger.
Will you
Go ahead.
quiet up, Manure?
Manar, if
ahead.
she had been at home at her dinner table like a normal woman, especially being a Muslim, women shouldn't even be out on the streets. So if that woman had been at home,
That's true.
So now you guys are
at her
Muslims,
dinner table, would she be alive right now? If she had been at home and not
You're getting cooked by a 90-year-old base grandma.
she would be alive and feeding her old dog that had no business being there in the back seat. Don't you understand? Following your
You are
religious
so
logic,
based.
that woman should have been at home where women belong.
But do you
Why
understand
are
you're
you-
victim blaming?
That lady should have a row of Roman
You know, you're
condoms like
victim blaming. That's an argument.
You're
of
a
victim blaming.
Muslim, and your women are supposed to be home.
I know, and you're a
tending to the
Christian. And
children.
I thought you're a feminist.
I've never seen a man take it to the face from a woman,
I am the
but it
most
just happened.
feminist woman you will ever meet. I am
But yeah,
anti-feminist.
Your
And
position
she
is
should have
she
been at home
deserves the
taking care of
damage.
her house. So her death
You just keep eating them left and right.
her.
You keep eating them left and right, Manure.
You just got cooked by Premonition. That was bad.
Gil, can you mute them so I can respond, especially Dustin?
All right, go ahead. Manar.
Premonition. According to Premonition, the woman is the one that created her own danger. According to that, any human being, if we were to extrapolate her argument a little bit and her logic, any human being is risking himself at any point, and all of us are actually in danger.
She would have been thrown off a roof. She would have been thrown off a roof for her.
Let me just finish. Even though we are in the imminent danger, it's actually justified for us to be in that danger because we're supposed to be at home, according to Premonition. That's what her argument is.
The women need to be at home. In America and in your religion, the women need to be at home. The women need to go back home and shut up.
I agree with you.
Is what they need to do. And that woman would be alive. And all of these other women causing chaos all over the place.
You have to
because
understand
they've
a lot of
lost
the
their minds.
LGBTQ
It's her fault.
If
Stop
everything was
blaming
Muslim,
the victim who is
LGBTQ
the
would be
police
gone.
officer.
Actually, I have a question to kind of pivot off that for Manar. Manar, I do find it odd that you are at odds with this enforcement from law enforcement, given that Islamic nations conduct their policing in a lot of the same ways. And even Sharia law has, the Hizbah, public order enforcement. So why should you?
Don't
Why are
they
you
still
defending
cut your
this?
hand off? Don't they still cut your hand off over there?
Yeah, we don't.
What do you mean?
We punish you. There's punishments to certain crimes. Not very rare is the execution, and I don't believe that.
But
you
that wasn't
committing
execution.
your
Wouldn't this fall
civil
under
rights-
public order enforcement, the Hizbah?
No, you're not. This is just the police. Yeah, this is police work. This is
Yeah, public order enforcement. Public interest is what is it? Masalah.
The problem is
public
not that
interest
she was
and
getting
welfare.
arrested.
That's
I
all
agree with
Sharia
the
law.
arrest.
works.
I don't think she should be murdered. That's the problem.
I didn't say
She
murder,
wasn't
but
murdered.
I'm saying the situation that she found herself in. She was being a public. She was causing disorder in public, and they were
Sure,
trying to
yeah.
get her under control.
Sure, yeah.
So would that not fall under Hizbah,
Hizbah what? Hizbah what?
the Sharia law? I think I'm pronouncing it right. I don't know.
Hizbah what? Hizbah what? Hizbah of what? Hizbah is a calculation. You're saying
It's a public order of enforcement. I'm reading this off from a list of Sharia law.
So Hizbah what? the public enforcement. So the calculation for public enforcement. So you're saying because of the things she was doing,
I'm saying it maps onto Sharia law.
we add those facts to the case, and that's how we come up with the judgment. That's what hisba means. What does hisba mean?
But in going by Islamic nations, my point is, even taking into account the law that you go under, Sharia law, there are things in there that would justify them stopping her and trying to get public order established.
Yes, they can.
Okay, so you admit that
her.
they did have the right to stop her and get public order established.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with the case.
And then she did not stop.
I argue that she was.
But then she did not stop. So let's say she was in a.
If you're fleeing.
Let's hold on. Let me clarify. In an Islamic nation, if she did not stop and they were trying to detain her, what do you think would happen?
No, we don't execute.
Even if she tried running them over, you think they wouldn't
you don't
respond?
Get executed. No.
What happens if it's discovered that they're homosexual?
No, first of all,
they just go straight to the roof.
What happens? What? Yeah.
Yeah.
What happens when they discover?
I don't think an Arab man has the dishonor to shoot
What?
into a
But
woman's
what
marriage.
happens when they discover she's homosexual?
How many cops have murdered Arab?
He won't answer the question. He won't answer the question.
Tell me more.
What happens when they find out she's home?
All right, go ahead, Mo. I think Manar asked you a question.
I didn't hear the question.
Yeah, so how many Arab women are being murdered by these cops, according to you? If there's evidence that we can do whatever we want to them after arresting them,
that's not my claim.
Where's your evidence that this is?
Where did I make that claim?
A social issue that's
my claim. My claim was asking why are you critiquing this in this manner if by your own nation standards they would act
to murder this woman, which is the age of my mother. You cannot murder random people.
So age allows you to do whatever you want.
You need to be a
so
man.
Age justifies you to do whatever you want. So if I'm an old 89-year-old man, I can go rob banks.
Yeah, man. You don't get to get murdered for doing the crime.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna keep that in mind.
I got a question.
I'm gonna go to Islamic nations when I'm really old and start doing crime because I can get away with it.
I got a question.
You do not murder people for committing petty crimes.
Got it.
Well,
so hold on. Let me answer one question. I'll move on.
Islamic nations looking.
I got a question. I got a question.
Right.
If you can't commit murder, then why?
That means you deserve to be dead if you obstructed the road.
Okay, is it murder?
Do you agree with that, Mora Butler?
Is it
murder? Do you agree you should be murdered if you obstructed the road?
I just want to know. Is it murder if you throw a gay person off a roof?
Yeah, that's a crime. That's a crime of sodomy. You're creating disease. You're destroying your community.
So it's not murder then.
That's crazy.
Find out
To answer,
on this in public.
To answer your question,
how come you answered his question, not mine?
To answer your question, Manuar, just in 2024, in one country, there were 31 women that were carried executions in
what country?
Islamic. This is Iran.
In Iran,
Iran,
31.
Iran, Iran.
How many? What
Urine. 2024. So, Manure, when you're talking about the executions, does it do you know what is murder? Do you know the definition?
I don't think he does.
He may not.
Manar, do you know the definition?
He's looking it up.
I think he's looking it up. Yeah.
Also, while we're talking about executions, can you also bring up from December 2014 to May 2016 the 41 gay men that were executed by ISIS in Iraq and Syria?
They were trying to teach them to fly, right?
Yeah, were they just trying to
yeah, it was a misunderstanding.
All
They
right,
thought gay people were magic.
without bungee I'm trying to understand.
All right, real quick, guys. While Manar's looking that up, Martae said that he has to get going, so he wants to say final thoughts, Martae.
Yeah, real quick final thoughts. I do want to say thank you, Manar, for showing up to the panel and engaging in a 2v1 that I've never seen before. I wanted this to be challenging. That's why I wanted Mr. Work and Manar to debate me. That's why I did have to appeal to Avarice and just ask for an opinion on somebody on the panel. Just say, what do you think? He did say both of us were spurging, but then sided with me and said that I won the debate. Well, here's the thing, though. Everybody else had points, but I think Premonition actually dominated the whole debate tonight. If it was like just a panel debate, Premonition definitely owned tonight, so I'll give her the W for tonight, and I'll
round of
actually
applause for
concede
Base
to her
Grandma, everybody.
at a valiant point. The last thing I want to say is like, thank you, Cool Vic, for hosting the debate. Thank you, Mr. Work, for showing up, and Manar and everybody else. I appreciate Avarice. I'll see you later. Also, Copper's dad. Good to see you again too. Panelstein, I love it. Premonition, good to see you. Tomahawk, we never had a good exchange back and forth, but good to see you as well too. Dustin, everybody else, I appreciate it. You guys have a good night, and Christ is God. That's it.
Christ
It's nice to meet you, bro, and I agree with you. Amen.
Yep. Take care. I'll talk to you guys later.
Take care.
Yeah, man, that was great. I appreciate all the supporters that did show up on the channel tonight. If you guys want to see the rest of the panel, go over to Cool Vic's channel. I am starving. I got to eat some fried chicken. Actually, I'm on a leaning towards a diet now. I got to start leaning out and start putting on muscle mass to try to prepare for a Mr. Olympia again too. But I will see you guys later. I will be tuning in as far as like the rest of the thing, but I'll be tuning in, not on my own panel, but I appreciate the support. Thank you guys for voting. I do have this clock to 81% me winning, and I did freeze frame the voting, and that's what I'm going to post, just to be honest with you. I know it's like 79%. What is it? 2 degrees of like 2%. Anyways, the 81% look good. It looks good. I'm going to stick with that, even though the finalization showed 79%. But I appreciate all of you for tuning in. Once my channel gets monetized again, maybe you guys can show some support. But for now, I do have the GoFundMe, not GoFundMe. What is this? Cash App. So I do have the Cash App displayed on the bottom of the screen. You guys can go ahead and send Cash App. I appreciate that, man. I just want to say you guys just showing up in mass supporting is always good. I knew, you know what? I didn't want to underestimate Manar and Mr. Work. I do want to say that they did come to bring the proverbial smoke, and I'm always entertaining the discussion whether or not it's me versus 2 people or me versus 1, and I'll never underestimate my opponents, even though my opponents will assert that they've won absent a poll or outcome of the debate. I'll never even presume to say that I won a debate until after I see a poll. So anyways, good to see you guys. Christ is God, and I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Yes, brothers in Christ for sure. If you guys can, show a sub to Cool Vic's channel. Support him because he also supports me by having me on his panel. I appreciate all of you. And if you support Christ and Christian ethics, follow my channel and give this video a like as well too. So just go check it out. Mr. Workademic says clearly I won though. He's the only one saying this, but I'm not saying that myself. I don't know if I won or lost the debate. I'm going to appeal to a poll. And by everybody else, I'm just going to appeal to somebody else besides me. It's the same thing, Mr. Work. If I walk into a room and I say, I'm the alpha of the room, it sounds better and looks better if you get told that you're the alpha of the room instead of asserting that you are what you think you are by everybody else's perception of how they view the debate. The best way to perceive whether or not a win or loss happens, like if I'm in a bodybuilding show and I just say I won, and I'm a pro athlete, I just say I won, but I'm not appealing to the judges on the panel. Did I really win? Because if there's a poll or judges, that would mean that referees aren't needed. That would mean that the score isn't needed. We're just going to appeal to an NBA player to say that they won the game, absent this final score, absent the audience participation, absent judges. And that's the case that nobody ever won the Super Bowl, because we're not going to appeal to the final score. We're not going to appeal to refs or anything like that. We're just going to say because the player won, he won. So who is the arbiter of who wins and loses debates? We're going to have to appeal to something other than ourselves, the combatants. If you have gladiatorial arenas, are we just going to say before anybody else, or there's a death proven to show, the person's just going to say, I won before we've shown that there's a death in this gladiatorial arena? That's nonsensical. It doesn't make any sense. Therefore, if you map this onto any professional sports competition, that means that any player on the field could just say that they won without a final score, anything like that. That's your logic, which doesn't really make any sense. And you're just going to appeal to bots in the chat, which we can't demonstrate that they're bots or not. Vic was literally laughing at that, which I was too. Doesn't make any sense. Anytime I do a debate, this is your first debate, and you're saying this to somebody who is a seasoned debater. I always appeal to like a poll, the chat, or somebody else to say whether or not I provided a convincing argument, not myself. That doesn't make any sense for you to appeal to yourself whether or not you provided a convincing argument. It's usually the court of public opinion or a judge or something outside of ourselves to determine whether or not we won or not. Because if we map this onto anything else, it doesn't make any sense. Therefore, I've lost every single debate because the opponent said that they won. That means that Manar won the last debate, whether or not he should fuck his cousin. He won because he says that he won, right? You see this logic? It doesn't make any sense. We have to appeal to something outside of ourselves in any sports arena or debate. We can even call like the debate arena like a sport, the sport of logic, the sport of debate, whether or not, like, we'll even say debate is like chess, right? In order to win a chess match, does Magnus have to say that he won to determine whether or not somebody won? If we leave it to the combatant in the chess game to say that he won, why do we even need a referee? Why do we even need a final score? What's a check? We don't even need a checkmate because he can just say anytime he won. You see, this doesn't make any sense at all. You see what I'm saying? Mr. Workademic says you're wrong about getting hit with the car's proof. He didn't have time to get out of the way. We're saying that he positioned himself. So here's the thing, though. You're saying that I clearly won. So when you say you clearly won, what are we appealing to? Because you can't appeal to yourself. I can't appeal to myself either. I can't say I won because of my own biased perception. I'm the biased person. That's why we don't appeal to NBA players, football players, or anything else like that. We have to appeal to a score on the board. We have to appeal to something else. I'm a professional world-class athlete. I myself have to appeal to something else with the IFBB standards of what we appeal to, which is judges, a final score, because that's scored at the end. If I was to say that I won, that would mean I should win the Mr. Olympia because I alone say that I won. Screw the score. I won that competition that I did last time. How come I didn't win? Because everybody has to appeal to a score that's judged. What is the metric that we're judging to? By the perception of people outside of us. You can't ever say that you won. This is your first debate. This doesn't look good. I understand maybe if you're a seasoned person, I would say, well, okay, let me lean to this because at least you have an anecdote. You don't even have that. You don't even have an anecdote besides your first debate. So this doesn't make any sense. By your logic, there should be wins and losses in professional sports by an individual person on the field. Not somebody outside looking in. It should be an internalized decision by the person playing the game to decide whether or not a win or loss happen. Do you understand that we would never have pro sports? We would never have pro sports wouldn't even be here if we had to decide by that. You see what I'm saying? This rhetoric doesn't make any sense. So here's the thing though, when you say you didn't debunk my points, it's not up to me to determine whether or not I debunked your points or not. Like, that's like saying, if I show up to a bodybuilding show, you didn't outflex me, and the bodybuilder says, you didn't outflex me. Are we still appealing to the player or judges judging this, whether or not I did or didn't debunk your points? It still goes to this. You're still using the same logic that doesn't make any sense. If we use your logic and map it onto anything else like chess, like, we're going to leave it up to Magnus to determine whether or not you got checkmate or not. We're going to leave it up to him. Why do we need judges of a chess match if that's the case? We're going to leave it up to him to decide whether or not you checkmated him or not. It's him. Nobody would participate in sports if we use this logic and this metric. So Magnus is a world famous chess player. If we say Magnus is the judge and also the participant, nobody would ever play chess again because they'd say, well, Magnus, as soon as he says he won, then that's it. He's also the participant and executioner judge. This makes no sense. This would create a lopsided playing field for anybody. In order to say that you refuted or you debunked anything, we have to appeal to a judge to determine that, not you. This doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't even do that because I'm a pro athlete. I'm a current pro athlete that's still training to compete. I would never go on stage and tell the judges, hey, I know you guys have your scores, but I won anyways. I would get laughed out of the building. I compete against people that compete from Germany, Italy, and European countries in this national and even global stage league that I competed. I compete against people from the Czech Republic. If I did say in one world stage in front of everybody that traveled 19-hour flights to compete against me and said, I won. I don't care what you guys said, I won this bodybuilding show. And the judges, I know they said this guy from the Czech Republic won, but I won. I don't care about the score. How much sense does this make? I didn't beat them in the show just because I told them that. I'm going to not appeal to judges. I'm not going to appeal to scoring or anybody else's perception outside of my own. I'm not going to appeal to that. I'm just going to appeal to my own. Do you understand how unfair this sets a precedence of unfair standard of conduct and professionalism? This doesn't make any sense. So this is your first debate. I'm not schooling you here. I'm just telling you how little sense this makes. It doesn't really make any sense. That's why you don't even hear myself say in the debate. I don't say this in debates. I won. Because it's not up to me to determine whether or not I won a debate or not. There's a poll. If I'm the person who's arbiter to determine whether I won or lost, why have a moderator? Why have a poll? Right? Why have a judging? If World War debate, if it's supposed to be Anna Kasparian who determines the win? Is it Anna Kasparian or the person she competed with? Who's the arbiter? Is it one of the combatants that determines whether or not a match is won or lost, or a judge? Why do we have judges? Why do we have a leftist judge at World War debate, a centrist judge, and also a right-wing judge? Why do we have them if their votes don't count and if they can't decide? If it's Anna Kasparian determine whether or not she won and not Pearl, well, why do we need judges if Anna Kasparian is actually the judge the whole time? That doesn't make any sense. You can't map this onto anything else to make it make sense. Does it make any sense? Like if I'm in a bodybuilding show, I'm running in circles here, and I say that I outflexed all my opponents in a bodybuilding show, despite what the judges say, despite what the final scoring says, I won regardless. Why do we need judges? Why do we need a score in the end? You see how this doesn't make any sense? You see what I'm saying? So when you say it's not that serious, just take the L. Well, what am I appealing to for this L? What am I appealing to? I'm not appealing to you. You're a combatant in the arena, not a judge. I have to use something else as a metric, not your own bias. Do you think that somebody I'm competing with has a bias? They do, right? They're the one that wants to win. I want to win my side. We have to appeal to something outside of ourselves to determine whether or not a win or loss happened. So, yeah, this isn't, you're getting bodied here on this point right now. You're getting destroyed. You're appealing to Tim Pool. No, because in the end, I'm appealing to a poll and also audience participation. And I could probably appeal to a moderator. This is the finality of who won, right? We're not talking about Tim Pool or anything like that. We're talking about the poll, the perception of the audience. We're supposed to sway their decisions. I don't care about your decision. I'm not here to sway your decision. I'm here to sway the audience that's going to vote and determine who won. That's who I'm really appealing to be honest with you, with my argumentation. Avers said I won. Everybody else said I won. Those are the people outside of the debate I'm appealing to. Notice I'm not appealing to myself. That's what you're doing. You're appealing to yourself. Actually, appealing to Tim Pool's analysis is better than appealing to your own, because I'm going outside of myself to find somebody who's not involved in the debate to determine whether or not my point is right or not. It's actually better, because if I appeal to myself, this doesn't really make any sense. Then we have to eliminate judges, scores, panels. That means that makes that moot and irrelevant. So anyways, now that Mr. Wirt got debunked on all this other shit, it doesn't make any sense. Next time we have a debate, Mr. Workademics, appeal to yourself in the next debate you do. Don't appeal to the score. Don't appeal to a judge. Next time you compete in anything, don't appeal to the score. When you play football, disregard the score and just tell everybody that you won if you lost. According to the score, use your metric and see if that flies. It's not going to fly. So try to say that. Try to say that next time. Apply this and map this onto anything else outside of this and see if that works. It's not going to work. I'm telling you right now. So if I compete in World Strongman and say that I won, even though I probably got blown out the water, I'm just going to say I won. Even though the judges say that I lost, even though the scoreboards say that I lost, I'm just going to say that I won and see if that works. Do you think that's going to work for me? Probably not, right? We have to appeal to something outside of ourselves. It's bias. So anyways, I'll let you guys go. I got to grab some food. Mr. Work, you're getting bodied in this post-debate panel as well too. This, I mean, it's just me by myself because I'm using a metric outside of myself. You're not using that. You're not using judging. You're not using scoring. You're just using my own opinion and my own feeling statement. That's it. That doesn't make any sense. Nobody in any debate does this, by the way. I don't know. It is your first debate, so I'm giving you a little bit of grace, but I'm telling you, in any debate that people do, Andrew Wilson isn't going to be like, I won this debate. If they have a poll, they're going to look at the poll. That's why Mr. E, in the last debate that he did with Andrew Wilson, Mr. E said, everybody go to the channel that he's debating on, the Bloodsport channel, and vote. So that way people on even the opponent side can appeal to the poll that's voting on Andrew Wilson's debate. Nobody ever is going to be like, Andrew Wilson said he won, so he won the debate. Nobody says that. They're going to say, what did the audience say? What did the chat say? Who did the chat determine to win this debate? Even Andrew Wilson doesn't say, I won, so I won. They're going to tell people, go to his channel and vote. Why is that? Because we have to appeal to a poll. And actually, I took a screenshot of the poll when Andrew Wilson won that debate. Andrew Wilson blew the other guy out of the water. How do we know? Because there's a metric that we use appealing outside of the other debaters to determine who won or lost. That's it. Yeah, your girlfriend, you could say that, of course. I could say that my girlfriend said this too. If I had a girlfriend, I'd say, well, yeah, that still proves my point. We have to appeal to, like, let's say if I lost the football game, my girlfriend says, no, you won. Even though the score says like 50-10, my girlfriend could say, yeah, you won. Even though the score says that you lost, you're a winner in my heart, baby. Like, this is literally what this sounds like. You're a winner in my book, baby. You're always a winner with me. I know the score says 50-10 and according to them, you got blown out, but no, you won though. Like, she's also not appealing to a score, a poll, a judging criteria that came out. So by your metric, your girlfriend would still be wrong because your girlfriend would say, no, who cares about the NFL scores? Who cares about the overwhelming score on the scoreboard? Who cares about that? It's my opinion, not the judges, not the score. It's the same thing. You're creating a fallacy. Doesn't make any sense. So yeah, this doesn't make any sense. So if you say that there's polling bias, then that means every bodybuilding competition should never be judged. Every boxing competition, when it goes down to a judge scoring a decision, is biased. Then why do we have this? Why do we have judges then, if that's the case? If there's polling bias, which is a judge's decision, that means that boxing should never happen because it's unfair. Football should never happen because there's refs that judge this. By the refs coming together, there's a poll of 3 people deciding whether or not something was intentional or not and make a decision. That's bias. So football, so we're eliminating pro sports by your logic. There should never be an NFL. There should never be pro bodybuilding. There should never be anything that's judged is using some kind of poll by judge's decision. There's a poll happening. Damn. So by your metric, we should just eliminate professional sports. That means the Olympics should be banned. Professional bodybuilding should be banned because there's a poll that they're using too. Yeah. Should never. Oh, so you're saying that bodybuilding isn't held to a higher standard, even though bodybuilding has the Olympia. And you're saying that, so you're saying that professional debates don't have a higher standard. Oxford debates don't have a higher standard. So by your logic, professional debates shouldn't exist. Formal debates should never exist. We should eliminate them because there's no standard according to you. Oh shit, there's polling, which means there's a standard. Yours is like a reductio. You're making a reductio right now. But anyways, doesn't make any sense because if we take your logic and map it onto anything else, that thing should never exist. Therefore, anybody that's ever lost a football game, a bodybuilding show, anything else that's subjected to polling or judging should never exist. Because what rational reason? Why do we have judges then? If that individual participant can determine whether or not they won, not a judge, not anybody else, an individual participant in a subjective judging criteria, we should never have, by your logic, we should never have judging. We should never have polls. that means that we should eliminate these sports. That means by your logic, we should eliminate pro bodybuilding, boxing. If it comes down to a judge's decision, we should just say this boxing match never happened. Doesn't make any sense. No sense at all. Doesn't make any sense. Anyways, this logic is baffling. It's stifling. Doesn't make any sense to me. I'm out of here. I'm overreaching my time, but I will talk to you guys later. Christ is God. I'll be watching from a distance on Vic's stream. He always has great streams. Tune into him and then tune into my next debate, which is, a matter of fact, I have a debate coming up, me versus Wick on the same subject. But the prompt with me versus Vic is ICE worse under Trump's administration? I don't know why he wanted to warp this, but I said, let's have it. So that's going to happen. And also, no Muslims should occupy U.S. office. That debate's going to happen as well, too. I'll give you guys the time and date on that. That debate's going to happen. And also me versus Agent Smith on ICE is a net negative for the United States. That's going to be happening as well, too. So stay tuned. I've had an accumulation of 87, matter of fact, 87, 88, 89. I think 90 debates within a year. I've had 90 debates within a year. Only 2 of them I've lost according to polls and according to audience and according to judges. I've only lost 2. The one that I did lose, and I'll even grant this, even though the poll wasn't really kind of lopsided, I'll give it to Destiny. I think I narrowly lost this one. And the other debate that I ever lost out of 90 debates within a year was to Mo Rebuttal. I'll even give that because I'm appealing to a poll outside of myself. I'm always going to do this no matter what. And I'll always appeal to a poll. Matter of fact, there's Speakeasy's poll, Wick's poll, Cool Vic's poll, Modern Day Debates poll. All these polls I will always appeal to no matter what. And I go to liberal channels and we won that versus Peaksco. I'll go to liberal channels and appeal to their poll too. I'm firm, fair, and consistent across the board. I won't just appeal to conservative polls. I'll go to Wick's channel, which is going to be on Wick's channel, and I'll appeal to their poll too. So if I lose this debate, I'm just going to say I lost that debate on their poll. And this is a liberal panel that I won on too. So I will constantly appeal to something outside of myself, like a judge or a poll, no matter what. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. Christ is God. This was a valiant victory for me. I'll post the score later on in the thing because people always say, well, you didn't win this. Well, hold on. Let's post the numbers, and I'll always post that. Potato, good to see you in the chat, man. And Wickmoto, good to see you guys too. For sure, man. I'll tune in later and check out Cool Vic's Cope stream. This is definitely going to be a Cope stream. This Cope is magnificent and pure 100%, 1000% copium. But check me out later. I have plenty. I'm up to my ears in debates coming up, but tune in and we will definitely function off of Christian ethics moving forward. No degeneracy over here. Once again, Christ is God. I love all my supporters and even my haters because they also hate watch as well and tune in. So everybody else, I appreciate you. Thank you for your support and thank you for voting. Your participation helped me win tonight as well too, because of course I'm appealing to all of you guys, not myself. If the poll had shown like me losing, I would have said, shit, I lost. What else do I appeal to? I can't say that I won. I'm appealing to something else outside of myself. What else can we do? We have to have some standard, and there's no other better standard we can appeal to other than the jury of our peers or somebody else. Courts do this all the time. Jury of our peers implies that people outside of ourselves are making a judgment. So same thing, logic, jury of our peers. Anyways, you guys take care, and Christ is God.